Woo.
Welcome everyone to Plat Chat Valorant episode 263. The numbers just keep going up and we just keep going. We're kicking things off with Pacific today. We're returning to normalcy, and then we'll be going through two of the regions that we'll be discussing today, reaching their playoff stage. We got Paper Thin, Sliggy, Achilles. How are you, fine gentlemen?
Good.
Oh, wow. Everyone wants to just do sign language on a podcast. You love to see it. Yeah. Everyone's just giving thumbs up on a podcast. You guys have been doing this for a while. You know, I expect a little bit more from you, but I see it's going to be a tough one today.
I was trying to leave the floor open for the other two, and then we all kind of did the same thing.
I think we were all. I think it just means that we're all consummate gentlemen. We were all just trying to give each other space to speak, and then it resulted in a horrendous, awkward situation.
That's fair. I'm used to dealing with assholes on the show, but
there it goes.
TMV's not here, so we're good.
That doesn't count. I've never killed it. Oof. No,
I'm gonna look up the monetizing terms.
Oh man. Well, you know what?
Hey, Grok.
It's okay. You know what? You know what? I get a buy because today's a very special show, and it's a very special show because it's my birthday, and I can say that because three of us live on this side of the world, and it just passed midnight.
It just passed, yeah, that's right. This is the 5th.
Happy
birthday.
Thank you. I know if Sideshow was here, he'd be like, well, it's not really, is it? And then we'd be sitting here talking about that.
Do you care to tell us your age?
I'm the same age as you. Actually.
Okay, well, nice.
There you go.
I see, just a young, spry man.
Yeah,
exactly. all ahead of you. Yeah,
exactly. So now
Meanwhile,
the more
the
important,
left side of the screen is that.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Can we just?
You guys had fun with that on the broadcast. Of course, as a special present to me, everybody listening, you can actually become a member of Plat Chat, and then you can get insane benefits like members-only content, and of course, a chance to ask your favorite question to your favorite people on the internet. And this week's member question is, what agents would be meta on Counter-Strike maps?
Oh, God.
And this is asked by Ride, and this is funny because Achilles is saying this because apparently Paper Thin and Achilles hadn't read the member question yet, and I'm very curious what their honest reaction and answers would be to this. Sliggy, it sounds like you've had some thought on this already.
We've had this talk already in my chat, yeah, dude, because we were talking about Cash coming back, and I was like, man, Cash is such a good map. Yeah, I never miss an opportunity to kind of bring down the or flame the Valorant maps. So when I see a good map come in, I'm like, oh man, this map's so good. But dude, double controller on that map, double duelist. it's just like the cop out answer is just, yeah, go double duelist, neon phoenix would be right, double controller. But I think some maps would be great, and I think some maps wouldn't work. Like I don't think nuke would work.
Wouldn't you kind of just play Dust 2 like Ascent, like more or less? In my mind, like
sure.
I'm thinking like you sort of just run a Sentinel, cover B site. You just have some smokes and initiators, and you just run it that way.
I think you would have to do a Senti for long, for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
for long. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
You don't want to let them get in the pit.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not. Achilles, any thoughts?
Well, I was gonna say actually, just thinking about them getting into the pit. Like, if you just saw a bunch of people jump into pit, I just deadlock. Just net grab that into an orbital strike. Like, yep, good job. You've already buried yourselves. I don't know. I mean, I could see like cheesy stuff. Like if you're gonna play Vertigo, I could see like Jet being able to get away with some really wild stuff. Like kind of getting up and down the verticality of the map with like updraft, maybe even like blast packs and stuff. Be able to do that.
Dude, the outside the map hover around would be crazy.
Yes. Dude, you're just an AC-130 with knimes.
Yeah.
Just drifting in a circle.
Dude, Kong would feast on that map.
I can see stupid stuff like that. I'm trying to think like.
What about like the
Inferno, like what you do?
What about like Italy, where you gotta like escort, or like Office, where you gotta escort?
Oh God, we would bring in these into the conversation.
Yeah, we're not considering that as a CS map, are we? I was trying to think about, because I've always liked Cobble, and I actually had to spend so much time because I couldn't figure out if any of the Valorant agents would particularly actually shine on that map, and I couldn't really come to an answer. I mean, like you could obviously do silly things like if you were the only agent, like, you know, stuff like Teo or you know, whatever would obviously just work on almost any map. But Yeah, that was a tough one. Another one was Ancient, like Viper is just easy, I think.
Dude,
right?
that
Yeah.
Ancient with an Odin would, would
Oh
not
well,
be good,
yeah.
man. It kind of is a
Christ,
Valorant
he
map,
mentioned
honestly.
Office. Office with an Odin sounds like it would be
Yeah,
hell
that's
as
true.
well. Like, good
Yeah.
lord.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think you gotta run Viper on Inferno, right? Like you just have to.
Dude, I feel like Viper on most maps would be insane.
Yeah, Viper
That's
would be
true.
cheap on
Viper
most.
would be
yeah.
best of most.
Yeah,
But
that's
I was
true.
thinking
Yeah.
like fade raise for Inferno, like just like if you're just going to be defending a banana and you just hit like right in front of the spawn, a season aid combo as the players are trying to push out into mid
Yeah.
banana, or if you're trying to just like take you know, go up banana scale into that B site and you just like raise and like seize the back of car. Like there's a million things and setups you could do there. So
That's true.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be
So-
a pretty key duo.
Sounds like it's just the same OP agents would be OP on CS maps as well.
Who would have
That's the-
thought?
Omen
Who
wouldn't have to
would've
do
thought?
the jump off the truck like to get the balcony. Like he could just TP in the balcony.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Yeah. Well, it's a fun exercise, though. It was actually, I appreciate this question because it got me to really go back and look at like most of the CS maps. And I was like, yeah,
I haven't
actually, this
played
is kind of
since,
fun.
like, pre-CS2, so like
Yeah, it's
this
Yeah.
is really
wild.
testing my memory a little bit.
There's some good maps
Well,
out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
CS is
For
great
sure.
maps.
Hopefully we get plenty more exciting ones too, unlike Paper Thin's favorite Valorant map, Fracture.
Whoa, whoa,
You
whoa,
know,
whoa,
hopefully
whoa,
we
whoa,
get
whoa.
some more actually fun maps. But
I can't
anyway,
believe you said this.
moving on
It's
to the
it's
actual
like one of the
matches.
most fun maps to watch.
So good.
I'll watch. I mean, Split exists, so why need Fracture? You know, in terms of watching.
Porque no los dos? We have them both in the pool.
Yes.
You, like, come
Yeah.
on, man. Like,
We're
Fine.
getting everything. We're having our cake
Fine,
and eating
fine.
it too.
Okay, fine. All right, let's talk about the matches that actually happened, though. Let's start with Pacific, and we are gonna start with an absolute banger where Team Secret actually won. So, oh well, he's gone. I was gonna throw him right on the spot, but he's
Probably his cat.
gone.
no.
All right.
Yeah, it happened. This was the thing
Yes.
that occurred.
Well, shouldn't you be happy? You've been waiting for them to win.
I have been waiting for them to win. The thing that I need to see is consistency in the wins. Because Gen.G, and there's video of this. I was on the analyst desk when Gen.G played their first game of the split of the stage. And I said, if they keep playing like this, they're going to lose the secret. I didn't think that they would beat Paper X, but I did say that they could lose the secret because they looked horrendous. And they've kind of just continued on that trend, which is so upsetting to see. Like, this is the team, the organization that lifted the first trophy for the entire region, and they still have a decent amount of that core. 3 players have stuck around,
And
yet,
coaches.
and the coaching staff, thank you. And yet, it looks like a bunch of like 80-year-olds who have never touched a computer before, like trying to play a video game. Like they have no idea what they're doing. And I don't understand how it's possible that it's been this bad. And that's not to discredit Team Secret. They've been looking good. I think that even with Rimuru in, they were looking a lot, better than previous. And Zeus just is actually pretty incredible. So I think that they are absolutely on the up and up, whereas Gen.G just continue to flounder, and it's so puzzling.
Yeah, I can get on board with that. I mean, it was a great game from Zeus to kind of get a lot of confidence. A lot of my chat while like hyping him up, and then first week I was like, yeah, I mean, he looks all right, but now he's kind of actually getting like fully confident. I'm seeing him do some stuff that you would probably tell him off for, but I think it's like one of those where there's kind of limit testing, and it's like, well, let's just you play your own game, and then let's see what you can kind of get away with. But he gets away with a lot, and he frags a lot, and he makes a lot of space. I think he's like a really good addition to the team. I just think some of the individuals are like stepping up as well. Like Kelly S had a really good one. Like Kelly S, Sylvan's been like very consistent. Sylvan's probably been the best in the team, I would say. Like if you're just looking at consistency, dude, Team Secret wise, it came down to, in my opinion, who wanted it more, and we kind of spoke about this a little bit. That they might want it more because of Zeus and just trying to get that win and get that momentum and get that confidence, because you imagine they're going to stick with the 5. And yeah, look good, man. I kind of echo a lot of like how you're feeling, Achilles. It's just, man, Gen.G have a smokes issue, but they have a top 3 smokes player in their team, and I just can't get over it. I can't. It's impossible for me to see past it. Like the whole map becomes a blur because I'm just thinking like, just put him on smokes. Just put him on smokes.
I think our desk highlighted it where they showed where Karan was playing Viper versus the Sentinels and like how much better his stats were when he wasn't on Sentinel, like for Gen.G. So it just, you're absolutely right. Like the stats back up exactly what you're saying. But I think for me, like there's IGLing issues with Gen.G. They're very readable. They're very like 1-4 heavy. Like we're just gonna try to push into a side. Okay, it doesn't work. We're gonna ping pong the other way. You know, whereas Team Secret's been making improvements. Like they're like week over week. Like you can tell like they're getting better and better and better. And then like you guys are talking about, you bring in Zeus. He's good with the op too. Like that's a huge improvement. That's adding a lot to their defender side. And Sylvan, like I said this on the broadcast, I think, or something, but he looks like he's back on WGS, man. He's like clutching out crazy rounds that he has no business winning, and he's hitting these huge multi-kills and stuff. So it's like he's rejuvenated. The whole thing's looking up and up. I mean, I wouldn't want to be in Team Secret's group. Like they're a dark horse in a way now. Like they look scary.
They're the worst kind of teams when you're like, you're expected to beat them, but you kind of know that actually they're not too bad. And you're like, oh boy, these games are the worst. Like everyone's gonna shit on you if you lose this. But...
You don't want to be that one team. You don't want to be that one team.
I mean, I don't know if you have any insight on this, Chobra. I haven't really asked around, mostly because to a certain extent, like I don't want to be mean. So like I don't want to ask the team staff or the players, like,
sure.
Is Karan the one who wants to play Sentinel, or is it Solo who really thinks that he should be playing Senti? But I'm curious, like, which one it is, because I'm almost hoping that it's like a preference from Karan, and that he just kind of needs to be like just shake it a little bit, just be like, you're a controller, like remember your past, and brought back to the light. Because if it's Solo, then I'm like, have I misunderstood everything about you and your understanding of this game? Because I'm so confused. This is like
honestly,
burning down the Taj Mahal to build a fucking blockbuster. No one uses the blockbuster anymore.
Hold on. I do miss blockbusters, though. Just so we're
but it's outdated. It doesn't work. It's not relevant, man. Why have we gotten rid of something that was beautiful and then built this?
Yeah, just so we're very clear, I wasn't in vote of getting rid of the Taj Mahal for the blockbuster. I'm just, yes. But first of all, I don't know. I haven't asked around, mostly because, I mean, dude, I've got my hands full trying to make sure I'm not blaming my own team and asking questions to my own team here. But does that make it any better, though? Like, if it is, like, sure, you say the answer then would just be to shake down Karan, but if you've been trying this because he wanted it for this long, I don't know if that really makes it any better, does it?
I just want some. I just want
to know who's.
You just want to know who to be angry at.
I need some kind of catharsis from this, because right now I'm just confused and upset.
I mean, it hasn't worked, and like there's other teams at the moment who have tried stuff and then it hasn't worked, and then they're kind of switching it up. G2 is probably a good example in Americas right now. So, but dude, they've given it so long. This is not working. Let's change something. I do have like a fix in mind. That it does involve changing a player, because I do feel like Kite at the moment, obviously standing in, but I do feel like not doing great. But from VARREL, what about taking LP? Giving him the bag. Is that not a good move? So, like a really good move, then put Karan back on smokes? Does that not fix everything?
It does.
I believe I think I said the same exact thing in our
really?
talent group chat after that game. I think I texted everybody, and it's just like, right, so when is Gen.G just going to steal LP? I do have another one, but we can respond to this first.
Yeah, I'm actually not completely sold on that, because I do wonder, like, LP I think is obviously a great player, but I'm not sure how much of LP shining right now is, like, how much of it is him going rogue in the game versus him actually, like, leading well, if that makes sense, right? So I just don't know how that would fit. But obviously, I mean, we just can't know that ultimately anyway until you do trials and you're on the team and you see how the chemistry works, et cetera, et cetera. But that's where I'm a little bit hesitant. So I don't know if I'm as sold on that one. But go ahead, Seth, on the other alternative here. I know what you're going to say. But...
I mean, I did just say this before we went live, but I'll say it again. But this doesn't fix the IGL issue. So as far as which moving piece ends up getting shifted around, you know, that's kind of up in the air. But King is back on the market. He's out of military service. I think he plays, as far as the agents are concerned and the role is concerned, exactly what Gen.G needs. Because like he's a guy who can play Viper really well. He's maybe not the greatest lurker, but as far as anchoring is concerned, he's fantastic, and he also has a very extensive history of playing Senti. I think you do that, and you get Karn back on full-time controller, Omen Astra, Brimstone, etc. And I think that, boom, you now have a lot more of a cohesive team composition, because we continue to see Karn try to play this Viper, and he's not Munchkin. He's not Munchkin. They had the guy that was like the best in the world at it. They've lost him, and they can't replicate it. I think that as far as like a free agent from the Korean market is concerned, King is probably your next best thing.
Yeah.
I want to throw two things out in the IGL department. One, I think this just goes to show that Munchkin is irreplaceable in the way that he thinks about the game and leads as an IGL. And obviously he's got some fragging power behind it too, which Lakia has shown at times this stage, but overall he's not as impactful. The other thing is a name to throw out there who maybe, I don't know when his contract's up, but Jojo. We get Jojo off a Riddle Order, get him out of Tier 2 Japan, and give him a shot on the big stage, see what he's made of. Like, I think he's been, doing a decent job down there. Maybe he could step up to the plate and take over the IGL role.
Has he been playing? Oh, for IGLing, sure. I was going to say.
That's what I mean. I'm saying IGLing. Yeah.
Okay. I mean that makes a lot more sense. Because I was like, he's a Flash Initiator.
He's mostly in the, right along that same slot. I mean, it sounds like basically, I was saying this before the show started as well, but we're just also confused, right, about where to even really begin, that the only answers we can really find, obviously, from the outside are, I mean, surely a roster change is coming. And I do agree with Sliggy that you do have to shoot them a little bit of bail, because obviously Kite's, stepping in, but also, would Zinx have really solved anything? I mean, we saw that no was the answer at the beginning of the stage. So it's a bit of an anomaly. But you know what? Props to Team Secret, though. I agree that Zeus looks great. It's just I did find it amusing right at the beginning of this segment that Team Secret just somehow still manages to create disappointment for you, Seth. They give you the win, and now they've created the disappointment that is Gen.G, and now you are still sad. So that is just very unfortunate. But we can move on to perhaps I would argue, I think, a win that was at least more emotional and more meaningful to some people, I think. ZETA Division getting their first win against VARREL. Now, this was one where one of the teams had to win, so both of them definitely wanted the same as much as the other. They both were at 0 wins, and ZETA, they pull it off. I mean, Clinton, are you back? Are you back on the ZETA hope train?
No.
I mean,
wow. I mean, we are all just doomer today.
Well, I mean, again, there's encouraging signs here and there for ZETA, but they're so up and down, man. Like, Absol is so up and down. Like, he has these maps where he's just absolutely brilliant. He looks like a phenomenal Neon, and then he just doesn't show up for the next map. And Sugar Zero, when I was, oh my god, on that bind, I think there were 3 moments during that map where I absolutely just yelled at my PC, Sugar Zero, what are you doing? Like, he was just like not clearing corners, like making just bonehead mistakes. And I'm like, brother, you've been playing this game for how long? You managed to be a part of that team that made that incredible run, and you're the IGL here, you're stepping up, and you're just doing some stuff that left my head scratched. Then he picked it right back up and was pretty good, but that bind was like, oh my god, what are we doing out here? And they had won on that map, I think, earlier. Was it against DFM or I can't remember, but
it's all a blur. It is all a blur at this point, especially if it's a game that I didn't cast. But like, I mean, happy to see their win. I'm glad that the continual eternal ZETA watch party got something to truly cheer about, rather than just a smattering of moments in a series. So that was really good to see for them. I also am a little bit heartbroken for the VARREL boys, because you could tell how much they also really wanted this win. But as far as the cycle of misery is concerned, it's been going on a little bit longer for ZETA, to say the least. So I think that they were the ones that kind of needed this one in the bag.
Yeah, I think they showed some good signs. They had a lot of like nice fast rounds. I flamed Mini last week about their macro looking bad, and I think he took that personally, because I watched their fracture and I was like, okay, you guys know what you're doing. They're doing a lot of aggro pushes. We're reacting well, so that was nice to see as well. It was a good sign, but it's just, dude, you can't feel great about either of these teams right now. They're just ZETA are very inconsistent in terms of like fragging power, I would say. Sometimes they look like they can hang, sometimes they look like they're in a different tier. And then VARREL are just a little all over the place, pretty individual still, I would say.
Yeah, they're
And
they're playing.
Go on.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say that they never feel comfy with their like who they're playing, I guess. Like they're just always switching at the moment. And it's like, guys, you just gotta make up your mind in terms of what you're playing. And I guess that might be why they're looking a little inconsistent as well, because they're changing it up so much.
It's so sad because I feel like even at Ascension, like they had some crazy role swaps map to map, like not obviously mid tournament, but map to map. And so that was one of the things that was exciting about this team was that, oh, you have like multiple people that can play different roles, not just different agents from map to map and still adjust and still have this chemistry. And like you said, right now, like we just don't see any of that chemistry, right? We're not seeing good like double ups. We're not seeing good spacing. It's just all hero play after hero play after hero play. And most of them don't work out. And it is, listen, I don't want to be in a world where VARREL ends up as the actual de facto worst team of the year. You know what I mean? Like knowing the talent on this team, seeing what they could do and have done in the past, I think that would be terrible. So hopefully they can figure it out. But it did feel like there's just deep-rooted things that they need to figure out, whether
At least
it's
have a
the
tie.
meta comms.
You know, tied for the bottom with like 2 other teams.
I mean, is that the silver lining that we're really looking for here?
I just mean like
yeah,
somebody,
it's better
because if
than-
you want
yes.
VARREL to not be last place, somebody else has got to take that spot. So it's like,
Yes,
well,
yes.
to be fair, let's just have 3 3 teams. They get like 2 wins in stage 2, and their round and like map differentials are all fairly similar to each other.
Yeah, so hopefully, but well, okay, I think we can move on because it doesn't really sound like any of you really have much more. Oh, I just wanted to say, I think it was sick that the Zeta watch party was having their own huddle while the team was having a team huddle. Like that's a good sports vibe right there. Like that's a good fandom.
There's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. I don't want to spoil why. I was given some inside info, and maybe it'll show up sometime in the future. We'll see.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say.
They're conducting a ritual, and whether or not they will summon whatever entity, we will find out in a future
we're going to
broadcast.
see a JRPG come to life. Suddenly we're going to see like demons being summoned at the Zeta watch party and it turns into Persona or something.
I was just going to say, it's neat because they have, they've been running like consecutive ones, because they've been running one in Tokyo, and then for a couple of days, we were also showing the one in Sapporo that they were doing. And I know they had done one in Osaka as well. So it's neat to see them starting to kind of spread these out and be running them simultaneously rather than just be like, oh, we can only do one at a time. Like they're putting in a ton of effort and for the fans, which is kind of expected, I suppose, of Zeta at this point. Like if nothing else, their outreach with fans has always been incredible.
But you saw how much it meant to the fans. There were fans breaking down. Sugar Zero was emotional after this series. So I mean, you could see it still. Every game truly matters to them.
I mean, I will say, and I said this while I was watching, it is nice to see how much it means. I would like for a year to come where we don't have to find out how much it means at the end of a stage every year for Zeta Division. We're like, we're always at this point where it's like, well, it's just one win to round up the stage, and they get it, and everyone's emotional, and I'm happy for the fans. But surely at some point we win a couple more. But all right, so
if he's gonna cry at the end of at the end of every win that they get, I hope to see Sugar Zero cry every week. Like that's just how I feel. Like I want to see the team do well. So hopefully there'll be more of those tears.
All I'm saying is Ace's contract with Fennel is up after this year. That's all I'm saying.
Paperthin's out here trying to summon Roster Mania and the
he really is,
middle of spring, man.
Fucking Japanese player agency. Like,
what is going on here?
That's not a bad idea.
No. Listen, we're moving on to teams that are still going to be playing in Pacific. Obviously, for Pacific, now the remaining matches were all seeding matches, which I would argue were quite important, especially the 1st and 4th seed. And the first one we're going to talk about is T1. Now, they come out as the complete sweep. Sliggy, you're giving me a little chuckle here about T1.
It's just I just can't get over. I mean, I'll be the first to say it. Then I just can't get over teams picking Pearl against them. I just cannot believe that they've played 5 games, right, and 4 teams have picked Pearl against them. I think the only team that didn't was Zeta, and we can thank many for that one. But like, dude, how is this happening? Like they are the best PAL team, at least in Pacific, maybe in the world right now, just purely because of understanding. I will say something that was pretty cool is like they changed their comp. which is like interesting, and then shown that it's not just the comp, they actually just have good understanding of the map, where they're just creating passive pressure over towards B, or they're like clearing the question marks over towards B when it comes to defense. So they just look so comfy on this map, and I can't understand why everyone keeps picking it against them. You are starting 1-0 down.
Yeah,
They
you know
are
what's
the best at this map. Stop it.
The crazy part about that was when Stacks was on the desk afterwards for the extended interview, and he was like, "Well, we changed the comp because we thought our comp was bad." And it's like you're literally not only picking into who seems to be the best Pearl team, but you're also just giving them free reps in practice that they are now just building on it even further, just gapping everyone even more. And it is insane. But I mean, listen, I with full sense, I kind of give them an out because I feel like that's a team where their map pool isn't good, so they just kind of have to play what they feel good with. But it's
Sure, but you know it would be the third map.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Pick something else and spend all your time on it. If that's
the
the
whole
thing.
The whole thing was kind of weird though, because like the coach went out and played. T-Love went out and he played Buzz in the skirmish, beat him. Then they picked Team A, which like almost nobody else is doing right now in drafts. And then selected Pearl as the first thing. Though it was just like the weirdest start to the broadcast that we could have had.
A map that they might actually be picking. I didn't realize that happened. So I tuned in late because obviously it's like super early for me. So they won the skirmish and then pick Team A. So they have to ban first and then pick first.
Yep.
That's pure madness.
They really wanted the Pearl,
madness.
Sliggy. They really wanted the Pearl.
But then you could go the other way around, and then you got T1 picking bind.
Yes,
they're not gonna bind.
I mean, I'm sure you heard it. I was freaking out about both of these on the broadcast because it feels like I was saying, like since last year, T1 just has continued to go to bind, and they were picking it over and over again. And I was like, dude, like, what is this fixation with this map? Where, like, what are you doing?
Because no one else is good at it. They beat everybody else in it because no one else is good at it. Like
they were losing on it. They were getting
no, they weren't. They haven't lost on it this year. Zach, they haven't lost on it this year.
I'm talking about when they were. I'm talking about when they were incessantly picking bind last year.
Oh, last year's a different story.
Yes, and they were getting rocked. I'm saying like they just continue to have it in their heads. They're like, oh, we're a good bind team. It's like you were getting your asses beat before, and then it hasn't. Like, yeah, you've been winning on the map, but it hasn't been incredible. It hasn't been by like massive streaks. You're not 13-1ing everybody out here on this map. Like, you look fallible, and clearly you are because Full Sense absolutely destroyed you in return.
Yeah.
So there's map pool problems here, right? Like where Full Sense hasn't lost on Pearl and God only knows how long. Like they are actually pretty good on it, and whereas it's the same problem with T1 where they were beating teams on it. It's because everyone's like kind of bad at these maps in some ways, and then they just oddly are flip-flopping on it. It's a very weird situation, but I tend to agree though anyway with Sliggy that I wouldn't have done it this way. I mean, I wouldn't have played T1 on Pearl. There's got to be better options for Full Sense, even though again they've run the table on it this year. They haven't lost on it. Same thing with T1. They haven't lost on bind, so they just kind of both went to it because they're like, well, we're not losing on it, and then they
I mean, T1's is I guess a little bit more excusable because you already feel that you're the better team, right? So while yes, maybe not the best choice, but I guess maybe a little bit excusable. But I couldn't make up my mind even after this match of whether I actually feel good about T1 or not. You know what I mean? That disclaimer of it was group of, like, I think they're on an upward trend, and I actually have a lot of faith in them, which I'm always scared to do because they always disappoint me whenever I actually get my hopes up. But also just that that asterisk of, yeah, but did they play proper, really well challenged matches in this group?
The DRX, DRX theory.
Yeah, the DRX theory of like, I mean, maybe they're just getting by with firepower, but then I look and it's like, no, the defaults have gotten better, the macros gotten better. Izu's been looking absolutely monstrous for sure. It's funny, like even on that Breeze game in this match, Izu in one of the replays, like he's like, don't worry, I'll carry you guys. Like that's how confident he's feeling. So it looks good. But I think
it looks good. I think you can judge T1 by, I think T1 are in good form and they're like locked in if they're using their ults well. That is like my big thing. 'Cause normally a lot of their stuff makes sense, but like a lot of the times their ults doesn't make sense. I'm watching stacks all like 3 times a game now. I'm thinking, oh, Lee, okay, we're actually back. We're looking
Slicky,
good.
I don't know if you know this. I think I told Achilles. But so I asked Stacks that.
Oh, bro,
at
my chat
Santiago,
told me about this.
Yeah, about the press release, right? And then
Yeah.
afterwards, one of their matches before they got, not their last match, but before they got eliminated, I find Stacks at the hotel, and we're just talking, and he comes up to me and he goes, "Dude, ever since you asked me about the ults, like that's all I can think about now." Like I sat there and I'm like, should I be ulting? Like I don't know. Like should I be ulting? And so I just ripped it today. Like I don't know if I even felt good about it, but I got a kill, and I was like, good, you're learning.
Dude, you're doing the VOD review for them, man. You're like you're basically just a part-time assistant coach for them, just doing all the hard work. Be like, you guys thought about the ults in this game.
But he is ulting a lot more now.
Dude,
he is
it's
ulting a lot more.
It's good.
He's doing that. And then we started to see Meteor just starting to use some utils, starting to place those nano swarms. So
Slowly but surely.
Meteor is pissing me off.
It's
It's pissing me off,
They
man.
got like a fucking post plant on B site Pearl, and I think he had the clutch or something. It was like a moment where he was in like maybe like a 1v2 or they were in like a 2v3 or something, and then he plants the spike and then he just fucks off. Like he has 2 nanos in his back pocket, and he's just like, no, I'm gonna go down back towards club. Like I'm going B long. Like fuck this. Why would I put nades here?
It's actually non-stop. He did it like 3 rounds, and I think you did it on the cast where it was like 5th round in or something, like, or like 5th time he was on the site. You're like, thank God he's using a nano this time, because he's
like,
been
oh my
on
God, look
site
at
with
that.
holding both of them. I'd be like, dude, he's got an alarm bot and double molly. Like, use your mollies, bro. And he's just he's going for some of the maddest stuff. But I think he's doing that, and they're still looking good. And I think they have like a good read on the meta. I think Bind going out and Ascent coming in is huge for them as well, because it means they can't pick it, so that's great. Dude, I think the map was good, man. For the first time ever, I'm a T1 believer right now. That's nice. I'm ready for disappointment.
Ah, shit.
Yeah,
It's
bold.
dangerous.
Yeah, bold. Very, very bold.
I'm ready.
But like
for
I said,
disappointment.
I got all the shit after Santiago. So if you want to be the one to be the banner holder this time around, by all means,
I'm down for it, dude. It's my time.
I'll walk alongside you, but I'm not carrying that flag.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'll be right there, right behind, but I won't be carrying it either.
Yeah, if I see one bad game, I'll drop it instantly. Don't worry.
Perfect.
All right. Well, let's talk about the other side then. This one was a match to escape the lower bracket, and I'm just gonna lead it and let you guys have at it. GE take away the 3rd seed from Nongshim RedForce. Although, perhaps maybe it was always rightfully theirs. I opened the floor. I got nothing more to say.
I loved their breeze. I thought GE's breeze was phenomenal. I loved the Sage. I loved the tech they were using. Like, they wall themselves into window outside along B, and then they throw a relay bolt on it, and then because of the wall height, they can jump on top of it and hit the players that are trying to run them down. And like little things like this that they were doing that were really unorthodox and caught Nongshim completely off guard were super cool. That's the kind of stuff I want to see more of. The deadlock stuff still, I don't really think is that effective all the time. It depends, but the Sage stuff I was really impressed with, and that's something that I want to see more of on some of the other maps. But what's funny is Frost did an interview, I think it was with the Indonesian broadcast. I just happened to come across this in my Twitter timeline, that he said, they asked him about the deadlock. Like, why are you running it so much? And is it your choice? Like, is it you kind of forcing this? And he said, actually, no. Javi went back and watched a bunch of Talon stuff from last year and really liked a lot of the deadlock tech and thought it suited the meta. So Javi was the one that's really pushing for the deadlock right now. So I thought that was kind of interesting, but man, I love the Sage, the way that Javi plays it. It's so cool.
Yeah, they got some cool stuff, man. I like the the last 2 maps are so entertaining. It definitely got a little bit scrappy, but I feel like the last 2 maps are like the best 2 maps this week, man. It was so fun to watch. I kind of think the GE looked better on all 3 maps. I don't know how you guys felt about it, but that's kind of how I came away from it. It was, dude, I think GE maybe out of all the teams right now have just the lowest floor and or like maybe not the highest ceiling, because obviously there's better teams, but I do feel like I can't gauge where what level they're gonna play at, because sometimes they look really good and sometimes they just look really, really bad, man. But if they play like this, dude, they could make a big run. but it's just like week 3 and week 4 exist. So
Oh wait, no, this is the clip. This is the clip, isn't it?
No,
and this is where you
no.
lost your mind, yeah.
Okay, so to caveat this, because it was posted on Reddit and people were just like, well, you know, it's just he made a mistake and he thought that he wasn't going to stake. I'm like, that's not why I was freaking out. I was freaking out because he didn't swing with Francis to just fucking kill on him when he was defusing it in the first place. How are you not double swinging and just creating a crossfire on the one guy who's defusing the spike? How do you let him isolate into 1v1s? That was the most egregious thing for me, not the repeak on the retap. Still bad, but the fact that Ivy is not looking at him in this moment, he's just staring at the wall, Blair Witching it. It broke me. It absolutely broke me.
So I didn't even ask them about that. Like I was going to if they won, but they, well, I didn't even want to know. I was like, you know what? I don't want to know.
There was nothing that they could say
know.
that would be satisfactory.
But honestly, like watching it again now with my head a little bit clearer, it does just feel like, I don't know. It does just feel like Francis just peeked without saying anything. Like it feels like that. You know what I mean? But who knows? Like who knows? Or maybe he did and Ivy's headphones got cut, or who the hell knows? But that honestly isn't actually, I don't even think that's the worst part, because that is like, fine. Okay, a mistake happened. Like it's a bad mistake, but it's very obvious what the mistake was, right? Of like not double peeking or not playing for time. But I mean, I don't like picking Breeze and not having anything really that new prepared, you know, playing against a team that you know was going to prep and, you know, try to ante you an IGL that has beaten you, funnily enough, with a Sage at Ascension against the coach that is 4-0 against you with just pure ante and comp prep. Like, and then you pick the Breeze, fine, you're looking good on it. But then you're like, oh, our A hits aren't working. Well, I guess we picked a comp that can't do anything else, so we're just gonna say, like, I'm not seeing any mid pressure with the Cove, like, you know what I mean? It just really, I was so frustrated. And then I think the other thing, like, I was at a point where it's funny that you say that there were like fun moments in the last 2 maps, because I was just begging for GE to end it, because I was like, if Nongshim keeps getting, if we keep getting away with heroics, we're just gonna build bad habits. Like we're just out here. I think what we had like 8 clutches or something throughout this whole thing, and they had like 1 or 2, and I'm just sitting there like, no, don't do this to my boys. Don't make them think that they could just get away with this every single time. Like this is just not. It's not how I want to win. It's not how I want to see them win. I want to see them become a better team, not just scrape by to get to another international. And I was, but then you have, on the other side, you have like Crystal just walking out on Haven to take fights that he really doesn't need to, and Patman, because he was walking on water, feeling like God and taking fights that he shouldn't be as well. And it's just like, I was so done with this game, man.
But dude, all Nongshim needs to do is scrape by, because they've got so many champ points. You just have to be not mediocre, and they'll make champs. So I don't think they like.
have.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They basically have.
Everything with 10 points, 11 points from Santiago.
Yeah, because we've spoken about like potential fixes for them to like get back to their top. You would imagine that Danby has to be on the Neon, but they could just do this and sail through. But then if they keep this up, they would just get bodied at champs for sure.
Yeah,
I was giggling because Chopra introed this and said I have nothing more to say, and then basically
went off for a long time.
Read through the fucking Iliad of his like problems with his team. Just the more that you went on and on, it just became funnier and funnier to me. Just be like, he hasn't gotten through the deep-seated trauma. This is the release.
No, yeah, that's. I rest my case.
Is there 2 little quick shout outs? Patman is so good. He is unreal right now. And Ivy was the complete opposite.
Sure.
Ivy was horrible. Absolutely horrible.
I don't know if that counts as a shout out. It sounds more like a call out. I think that's the word you're looking for.
If you're negative about it.
If we're doing shout outs as well, Zavi had like a great change up. I kind of flamed him last week. I felt like it was a big step up from him. Like actually played with his team a little more as well, so that was like a good thing. Dude, the consistency that Patman is showing right now is unbelievable. How's he doing this every week? It's insane.
He said like maybe like one like
quiet
average map, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah,
everything
that's-
else
you
has
can't even
been
call it
like
bad.
above
Yeah.
average and if not, incredible.
And he's flexing. He's playing all the different
yeah.
roles.
It's insane. It really is.
Yeah, he's really
He's
just kind of
looking
leading the
good.
pack for sure. But yeah, I agree with Javi. I mean, listen, I'm personally very happy for Javi just because, like, right from the opening match against, funnily enough, Nongshim at last year's Ascension, and even before that, like, obviously those of us who follow Pacific knew about him and knew he was pretty good. But then last year at Ascension, I was like, dude, this guy has to be picked up as an IGL for Pacific, and he's doing so well. I think he's
Yeah,
growing a lot. So
He's good, man. I think he just has a lot to learn, but he's also like taking on a lot as well.
Yeah.
So he is.
Glad he
he's doing
finally
good,
got
man.
a team that, where it makes sense for them to look at him to pick him up as a player, because we haven't really had a team like that prior to global esports that would look at
Yeah.
somebody
Don't
from
do
his
this.
region to potentially bring them into the tier 1 sphere. So I think that that's great.
yes,
It's nice
yes.
to look at GE and have belief, man.
Also
Yeah, I
true. Hey,
believe.
first playoffs for the org, by the way. So big
Yeah.
congrats to them.
And dude,
Big
they
congrats.
it's possible.
Yeah, I mean they
It
got
is
the upper
possible.
bracket at least, so that's a huge boost for sure. All right, well we'll be doing pick'ems, by the way, later on, so we'll find out how we really feel about him. But
do
let's
whatever
move
I
on.
do. Just do the opposite of what I say. It's
Yeah,
how
you're
we-
on a
you
run,
have,
by the
you
way.
have been
I am.
stinking it up.
You know what? I keep telling myself it's because I'm just saving all the good shit, all the right reads
Okay.
for masters,
Mhm,
and I don't even think
mhm.
that's true anymore. I think I'm just in a rut. I am in a slump, and I don't know how to get out of it.
Oh, well, you'll find
Happens.
your way at some point. Yeah, it happens to the best of us. All right, let's go on to a very, very fast match then. I mean, this, by the way, Paper X. I'm going to open this up by saying I think this might have been the most comfortable I've ever felt watching Paper X. Like this,
Yes.
this was like just turning on some comfy TV show and sipping some hot cocoa. Like they were just, it wasn't even flashy. It almost felt like they just did their job. And then KRX just said, "Let's walk into the crosshairs."
They
And then the game
finally
was
got
over.
exposed, man. They finally got exposed. I was waiting for this. I'm happy. I'm happy with the result, to be honest, because yeah, I did feel like everyone they were playing was looking pretty weak. I do think that they looked especially weak this week, without saying weak too much. But their ult stuff was just horrendous, man. They're using ults in ecos against ecos when they're like man disadvantaged. The ults are like so bad that they're doing. They won 2 buy rounds out of this whole game, I think it was. I can watch that. It's a little bit satisfying though, I will say, because there's a lot of people in my chat just being like, "Mate, the RX are like unbelievable right now." I'm just there thinking, it's just groups, man. They're looking relatively fraudulent for sure. And yeah, man, I'm happy they got exposed. To be honest, they got a lot to work with. The fact that they play a chamber on Lotus and they're playing the exact same setups every single round on Lotus, mate, who do you think you're playing against? You like, I get that you got 4-0 and you think that everyone in your group is awful, but like, mate, come on now. Like that's insane. You can't do that with a chamber, the easiest one to anti. That was mad from me. So yeah, I don't know. I was happy watching this. Paper X look incredible. So it added to it a little bit. I don't think DRX are as bad as this game showed, but
Sure.
Yeah, I would agree.
they definitely were like the worst looking 4-0 team that I'd seen for a while.
This was really bad. But the players, but to like the weird degree where it's like they're not playing the way that they usually do at all. And I think that even if KRX played similar to how they were, like just even in the shooting in a lot of their previous games, they'd still probably lose this given how Paper X looked. But it would end up being a lot closer. Like I could see like, a 13 9s in the mix, 13 10s, that kind of stuff. Playing Paper X a little bit closer, but maybe not being able to beat them in this form. But this was a shocker. I mean, players that are normally very consistent that you can rely on, having big struggles. Mako, Hyunmin, especially in the first map, it was really only Freeing who was getting to do anything. And then as soon as we moved over to the next map, it was Freeing who was getting his ass beat. This was a really weird one. And hopefully a bit of an eye-opener for KRX. And, that's the main thing is you want them to be able to walk away from this and really dissect what went wrong where and then be able to fix it before the playoffs. Because if they don't, they probably just bow out really quickly.
Yeah, I think they would lose both games, to be honest. I do agree with what you said though, in terms of like it's a stomp, but the amount of stuff in here in the demo to fix is pretty it's like relatively easy to fix a lot of their stuff. They're just very predictable. The fact they did like same game plan, same setups for both of the maps feels crazy, but their ult stuff to make them snowball after capitalizing on winning the pistols, like it's glaringly obvious that was like a big issue in this. So to have it right there, one VOD review, that they should be able to sort it out pretty fast. And again, I don't think they're like bad issues, and the individuals are really good, but yeah, it's just can they fix it in time? It is a good lesson to have in groups instead of playoffs.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah,
It's yeah, because Bane. Well, first of all, I thought it was interesting that like DRX didn't look too bothered right after the match. Like they kind of just accepted, like, yeah, we just played like crap today, and obviously we were gonna lose if we play like that. But Bane had sent a message to his fans, and he posted it on social media as well, where he was like, yeah, I mean, listen, like it sucks, but it happened. I'm already at this stage of like what's past is past, but at the very least, if this was going to happen, like I'm glad it happened in groups, and we're feeling good about our practice and moving forward and what to work on for playoffs. So, like you said, I mean, better now than in the elimination match or something like that.
Yeah. I think for me, like the biggest takeaway from this series was that Paper X is really good, and not just like, oh, they've got crazy good shooters. Like their macro, like I was so impressed with their timings. They're taking pauses before getting their retakes going, like making sure everything's in the right place at the right time. For those big 5-on-5 retakes on Breeze, those were incredible to watch. Like the way that they're coordinating, the way that they're using their util to set up their duelists is sublime. Like I mentioned on the broadcast, I felt like I was watching 2023 2024 Paper X when Devi was playing Sky, with how good Envy was, especially on Lotus. Man, every single one of those flashes and dogs was getting value, like finding somebody to tee someone up, to get a kill, to do something big. And it was like, it just was like watching like the best I've ever seen them play, because you got the individual explosiveness that's still there, and the big game stuff that they were doing was the best I can remember since Toronto.
Yeah, and something back on the jet as well, right?
Yes.
Just getting comfy
So
with it.
comfy. Yeah.
Never change it. Never change it.
No.
Just leave it.
yeah,
Just
they're
permajet.
Interesting.
yeah they can't. I mean, they can get away with it because the individuals are so good for sure. They're one neon nerf away from being favorites for London, basically. Is how I would put it.
Yeah, I think that's how most everyone kind of feels, because there's still a lot of people, like even if you're not running double duelists, a lot of people are leaning into the neon still as your go-to. So
What about
they've already escaped that.
Have we established like what's happening with like Ascent and whatnot?
Ascent is in for playoffs.
Okay,
It-
well, there you go.
yeah.
The jet map.
Yeah. I think
But that's the one
someone
map
said
that
it
they
on
always
the
struggled
desk as
on.
well. It is also the one map they always
Ascent.
struggled on.
But do you remember
that
that
is
one? Do you remember that one game where they all played normal roles and it looked incredible?
Yeah,
The
and they, like, isn't that the one where
surely.
you were surprised that they used the drone? Like, isn't that the
Yeah,
one?
yeah. I was losing my mind because they're like droning and stuff. I'm like, holy, what's
But then
going
they
on?
tried it again and they got bodied.
They did get bodied again, yeah. So it's
Maybe
gonna
they'll
be. It'll be interesting to see what they go for.
Maybe they'll slip back into their old nonsense. They'll be like, oh well, like Harbor's kind of like meta again.
you-
Let's run the Harbor Reina stuff. Let's
Yeah,
do
we
that.
won with Reyna one time on this map. Maybe we can do it again.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, again, if that's the one map, I don't think you'd be too worried about them. But of course, we still have two more teams to talk about. So let's talk about the last match that happened, which, by the way, in my memory, there were only two maps played. Right? It was a clean 2-0. There was never a third map. Surely, there couldn't have been a third map in this game between RRQ and DFM.
There wasn't a third map where Yatsuka used his Rolling Thunder against two people who didn't get hit
Oh,
by it at all
nah,
because
that
he
was
said towards
crazy.
arcade
Wait,
instead of
wait.
towards bench.
Wait, you can't open with that because I literally didn't watch it, and I refused to go back and watch the VODs. You can't be serious.
Oh, it's not worth watching that fracture.
Oh,
They're
my
in
gosh.
they're in a he's in a 1v2, 2v2.
2v.
And-
I thought it was 2v3, right? And he's
Maybe
the,
it's a
he's the
2v3.
2. And
Either
they
way.
have no guns.
Yeah, they're running towards north side out of arcade, and then Yatsuka's on like that cubby on the like across from bench, and he sends Rolling Thunder into arcade towards like tower, like rope side.
Mm.
But all of the players are not on that side. They've already scaled like up to him because, mind you, one of the players that's alive at this point is Moniette, who's playing Neon, and Neon is fast. So he just gets out in front of the Rolling Thunder and then slides and just kills him, and then they lose the round.
Womp womp.
It was rough,
I
man.
was losing my
'cause-
mind.
So I'm right in thinking the DFM were done because they had to win 2-0, right?
Yes.
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 And then, dude, the one thing that kind of annoyed me with this is man, May was on for the kill records, and you're out. The map doesn't mean anything. You're winning pistols, but you're not letting him hunt for the ecos. Someone else is hunting for the ecos. Let my guy break the record and hunt for the ecos. Like, set him up. You got the map means nothing anymore. Really, you can't win
They had
from
no
champs
idea.
points. They just had no idea, dude. Just let him go for it. Would have been fun.
Well, we
could have had some fun with it.
We went through the RRQ room after the game, and I like Jovi was in there, and I was like, "You motherfucker!" And he's like, "What?" I was like, "Why didn't you let May get the kill record?" And he's like, "Was he close?" I was like, "Yeah, he needed like 3 kills, 4 kills."
Yeah.
And he's like, I was like, "Oh my god, dude, like, we had no idea he was cooking, but like we had no clue he was going to beat us, boss." And I'm like, "You bastards! You could have helped make history, and then still won the game. Like you could have had him set the new record in a loss."
It would have been such a good like goal for them, because obviously you're all so demoralized. You all know they're like, "Oh, we've messed up here. Like we're gonna get 4th seed." But having like that goal of being like, "Guys, let's just set him up." Like I think it would keep everyone focused, and you would have such a better chance of like trying to win. Like I think it would genuinely work, because it's just such a good focus for them to be like, you would have fun with it as well. No, but yeah, whatever.
I don't think they had any clue. I mean, I think I could tell they were pretty beat
it's
up afterwards.
It's got to be demoralizing, because they should have won the Lotus as well.
Yes,
it wasn't for Gen.G.
I mean, this to me came down to an experience difference. Like at the end of the day, like when there's a moment where I was watching the player cams, and like it was I think it was at the end of Haven, like Kaide was shaking, like grabbing his cup to like take a drink, like his hand was like doing this, like very visibly. And so you could see that, you know, this is the most pressure that a lot of these guys have faced, you know, and May steps up to the plate. Like he's a big game player. I mean, I think that's a very encouraging sign for them going forward, is that when the lights are brightest is when he's bringing his best, you know, and he knows he needs to, but the other guys behind him needed that experience. Whereas RRQ has that in spades, right? Like they've been through the grinder so many different times. Somebody said this on Reddit, and it was the funniest thing I've ever read. They're like, is RRQ paid by the round or something? It's just so good. It's like, but you know, they come out on top, you know, quite often regardless in these, you know, really close nail biter games, and they're just showing you why. And I think you were about to say something about Gen.G, and he's a big reason.
I mean, I think that is shown just every week, really, right? Is that the longer the game goes, the better chance RRQ has to win. Like as weird as that sounds, but my problem with RRQ is that we're in week 5 and we're still having these terribly slow starts. And it's like right now you're getting like this, I feel is kind of similar to DRX, where it's like you're getting away with this because the other teams aren't good enough to close it out against you. The one team that was 2-0'd you, right, in T1. So you can't possibly keep this up to either run the playoff bracket, or especially if you go to an international. Like that's just not going to cut it. And I don't know what would be causing that, to be honest. And maybe they don't know either, based on what Crazy Guy seems to have said during the interview.
Their pistol record's pretty bad right now. And I feel like they're quite a reliant team on pistols, because obviously you want to try to get Gen.G a scoped weapon as fast as possible.
Right.
So
they didn't get op online that Haven
for ages.
How long?
Yeah.
It was insane.
Yeah.
It's such a big win condition for them. So I mean, that might actually be a good sign, to be honest. That all they have to fix is like their pistols, and then they're still winning the important games.
Yeah, I mean, they're
like round 8 of Haven. He finally got an op or something like that. It was
on the first map. Yeah, I mean, but once he does,
bad, though. Yeah, that is.
Yeah,
bad.
that is bad. But once he does things like, you know, that he did on Lotus, closes games out, just takes crazy duels, crazy angles.
I have no memory of when it was, but the shot he had on May when he's trying to just double blast pack the Rebels, and he just sniped him midair. It was that like, I'm like, that's Gen.G. That's
on the head too.
Spicy.
Yeah, it was a clean shot. So obviously they have the player quality. Overall though, how do you feel about RRQ? Like DFM, obviously a damn shame, and it's just that they're not able to get over that cusp. But RRQ feeling better?
I mean, I feel somewhat similar to how I felt about them after the last series, maybe slightly better. The biggest thing for me out of this, because like Xpharaoh started off that Haven, he was looking incredible. He was the one who was doing the carrying, and if he does even like 10% less, that map never even gets to overtime, and DFM probably like very cleanly take it. So he was doing wonders for them, buying time basically for Gen.G to start waking up and, you know, finding the like 8 kills that he got by the end of the map, whatever it was. But Moniette, I was seeing a lot more consistency from him across this series. And that is something that's been severely lacking because we're in this Neon-centric meta. They're fully leaning into him only playing Neon, and it has not been looking good up until this point. This is the first series where I was like, yes, this is the Moniette that I saw when he like came off of Paper X and then, you know, first joined this team and was looking incredible. The Moniette that went against Paper X in his first series back and, you know, aced them in the pistol round. Like, I want to see more of that. So if he's going to be able to build up the consistency on his end, then I'll start feeling really good because I don't have that many worries about like Jemkin having a stinker. We saw it over the course of this. He's gonna wake up. He's going to start, you know, popping heads. But if Moniette can start being, you know, playing the way that he was consistently across the future series, then yeah, they're going to be a threat again.
I just looked through all of their games real quick to see, because again, if they could get off to a faster start, then I would be feeling a lot more confident. They've, out of this whole split, they've had one half where they've gone like 3-0 up in the half, like pistol into a bonus. Pretty much every other time they've won a pistol, they've lost the eco straight after. Dude, if they could get good starts, I actually think they might be in a good spot. I think I might have been underestimating them a little bit. Now I've looked at this because this is one of the easier things to get going, I would say, and maybe like one of those things that you could put down to being a little unlucky. Sometimes your pistol strat isn't, well, not getting eco'd, but your pistol strat like would work against some teams, but maybe not others.
Yeah.
I don't think, honestly, I think I might be a little too down on RRQ after looking at that.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, some hope.
I think they're a few small mistakes away from being right back to where they were last year, potentially winning a stage. I mean, I think, you know, there's those weird rounds where Crazy Guy just overthinks and tries to make a late last-minute rotation that just has no chance of ever working. They lost,
they have a Melons moment there.
Yeah, they lost, what, two or three rounds on time? During that series. Not ideal, but that's Crazy Guy just does that sometimes, I guess. But other than that, I think they're pretty close to being a pretty complete team. Like Seth said, if Moniette gets it together, that's a scary team, man. Pound for pound, there's a lot of firepower there and a lot of experience. And
yeah, it's a good team roster-wise.
Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy Guy keeps killing people with no info, no audio, no nothing through walls with an Odin because it's the dumbest fucking thing that they have in this game. Then yeah, they're gonna do.
You might wait to see him after that.
Can't wait to see him in Ho Chi Minh.
The second kill was from the minimap, to be fair, but the first one, yeah,
was it? Okay.
First one was messed up. Yeah, first one, I think whoever's peeking from just elbow saw on the minimap.
I see.
Yeah,
I didn't catch that. I just in the replay, I just see him like he's standing there, he's looking at the door. A player is at the switch but hasn't made a fucking peep, and he just opens up and just kills him. I'm like, okay, I hate this.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we fixed Lotus at tree. You can't stand with an Odin anymore. And it's just him instantly locking onto two people. I was like, okay, well, it's still messed up.
Hey, more teams should, honestly, in Pacific, by the way. No. I just want to call that out. Listen, you cannot like it, but if it's strong and you're in a competition, you should be using it. You should be using it.
I will, it's kind of satisfying, you know what? These days.
Steroids. I'm gonna start taking them. I'm gonna join in
weightlifting competition.
Hold on.
It's there. It's a tool that I can utilize. It'll make me stronger.
No, hold on. That's a little different, I think. But all right. Well, while we wait for Seth to bulk up, we're going to talk about our predictions for this next week then. So we got the playoffs coming up for Pacific. We just talked about the teams that have made it. We'll be doing a full pick'em as well here live. But first, let's talk about the first round of matches coming up. So I guess before we start, we got to talk about last week. Obviously, last week we had a match of the week, and we'll have to see how our little Timmies did. VARREL versus ZETA.
Oh no, Timmy.
And
I'm a Timmy.
This is a hard one.
Yeah, this is a hard one.
That was
a hard one.
That one kind of feels bad no matter what, huh? Yeah.
We gave them a hard one, yeah.
We did give them a hard one. Sometimes you got to challenge. Sometimes you got to challenge your students so that they can grow. All right, well, let's move on. Make sure to check back. I don't actually know if we're going to have a match of the week this week since there's not too many, but I guess we could.
What should be the match of the week?
It's playoffs, man. They're all the match of the week.
I think it's got to be.
True. I think it's got to be RQGE, you know?
GE, yeah, RQGE.
I was gonna say KRX Full Sense.
Oh, but
really?
RQGE's the battle of the coaches.
That's true. Jovi versus Frost. Okay, that gives it the edge. All right.
Well, make sure you sign in onto the community tab on YouTube to vote
Sith Lord versus
for your
Apprentice.
There you go. Yeah. Sith Lord Lord. Yeah, so that's going to be our match of the week, which, funnily enough, is going to be the first match. So this is match of the week. It is RRQ versus GE.
Okay.
Ooh, save.
I was ready with the salute there. I thought there was going to be
All right,
unanimous.
so for our listeners, 3 of us have voted GE, but Paperthin alone. RRQ believer, state your case.
Experience. They
All right.
grind it out and they
Moving
win.
on.
I don't know what to tell you. Like I think this just comes down to mental diff. I mean, I think that's what got them over the line versus DFM, and I think it's going to be the same thing here. I mean, outside of Patman, you're not looking at a ton of experience, and I think RRQ is just slowly getting better. I mean, yes, you could look at the DFM game and say I don't know, but when you're going up against May, who's having a generational performance, and you still come out with the win, I think you got to be feeling pretty good. And I'm starting to have this weird feeling that low key in this map pool and meta that Omega might actually be the better group overall.
Oh no! Don't start with that, man.
I'm just saying.
I mean,
I'm
it's
just
hard because of
saying.
it's hard because of the bottom 3 teams, but yeah, I
That's-
get you. I think I want to switch in this one, Kurt. I haven't done a switch for a while. Can you switch me to RRQ, dude? Because I looked at the pistol record, I'm on board with it now, dude. They've only had one good start to a half out of what would it be, like at least 12, maybe 14 halves. Right.
Yeah.
Give them give them a couple of here. I feel like they'll be all right. Give them some pistols. Make sure they don't get ecoed. Yeah, I'm actually flipping to RRQ, but I think this is a close game.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah, I do think
That's
it's
funny.
close. Oh, why?
I'd be very close.
Why is
You
that?
gonna
I-
switch as well?
Like I said, I had my hand up, ready for the salute. I went GE because I thought that this was going to be a curse. I thought
Okay.
No.
that it was going to ensure the RRQ win. So I thought everybody else was going to be going global esports. I was going to submit RRQ thinking that I was going to be the only one predicting RRQ. And then I went, oh no, like, let me just do them a favor. Let's enact the bad, the black magic here and try to swing things around.
Really?
So
Okay.
you
I mean,
switching,
are you
or-
switching? You want to switch? You want to show your true colors?
I mean, given my actual predictions, I think if we switch to graphic, RRQ will lose. So leave it GE.
Okay, sure. You've secured yourself either way. I like that.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Playing both sides. Wait. So now I'm the only one that actually believes in GE.
Yes, you're
That's
the one that
crazy.
hates RRQ here on
Yeah.
this panel.
Yeah.
Well,
You've changed, Chobra.
You really
well, listen,
have,
they
yeah.
couldn't choose 0 DFM. I think I'm in the right to be disappointed a little bit, to be very honest. But honestly, I agree that if it goes if it goes to map 3, I think RQ wins. For sure, because again, they just ramp up, right? That would mean that they had some weak starts. They'll eventually ramp up. They do have the better experience, etc.
Here's the other thing to consider.
Go
They
on.
just global, I believe, right? They just got their first ever overtime win, and they're going
Yes.
against the kings of overtime.
That's I see where you're going
yeah.
with this.
Yes, but the goal surely is to not go to overtime.
I'm sure
surely
DFM
that is not
had that
part
very
of.
same goal.
Well, I don't know if DFM really had a goal in that match, but
I got a good
yeah.
question here. If they both played at the peak of what we've seen, who do you think wins this? Like, who do you think has the highest peak of what we've seen? Not like what they could
peak?
be.
I
of
would
what
go
we've
with
seen.
I would go with GE.
Is that all
with
time
the-
or this stage? Or
Just
like
this stage.
year?
Just this stage.
Oh well,
go
this
GE.
stage then GE for sure.
GE.
Yeah,
then.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this stage GE for sure. I would say all time. I would still pick GE, but the caveat would just be Jemkin, right? Like if Jemkin pops up, and
I think
I do want to give credit to Xfero though. Like I think Xfero is probably the more consistent, like strong player that gives them enough time. But the one that like carries you over the edge in a 50-50, I think, is Jemkin,
Yeah.
obviously.
Sure. Yeah. I think the consistency worries me for GE. And then I think of just overall potential. I do think that RQ has a higher ceiling, but I've definitely seen GE play better at their peak than RQ. Dude, this game's really open, man. I got no
It
idea
is.
on this one.
It is a tough one. It is a tough one. But all I gotta say is, I mean, GE beat the Master Santiago winners. RQ lost to them, lost their chance to go to Santiago. That's all I got. All right, let's move on to the next match. All right, so the next match that we have on the schedule for this week is going to be KRX versus Full Sense, another 2nd and 3rd seed match.
Oh.
God.
I can't,
but
go,
you
I
just-
can't go for KRX.
Oh, because
I can't go for KRX. Dude, if they play like they played this week, holy, they're about to get 2-0. So
Yes.
I can't. After what I've seen, I can't go for them. I'm a KRX disbeliever. I'm gonna keep with it until I see something better.
So is this more for the listeners? Sliggy's the only one believing in full sense here, but is this purely out of your distrust in KRX, or do you also think full sense is good enough to actually win it?
I think full sense. I think full sense at the moment. At the moment, they could be good enough. I think they could be good enough to go to London. To be honest, that's like that's what I've been on board with for a little bit. So I'm still going to believe in that. But yeah, I don't think they're at their. I don't think they look great, but I don't think they look bad. Whereas I think that DRX, even though they're a 4-0 team, I do just watch them and I wonder how they won maps. So I'm just I'm just gonna stick with full sense, man. I can't get on board with KRX, dude. I'm telling you, it's shocking to me. It is shocking. I'm excited to see if they step it up.
Okay, all right. Any of the KRX believers? Then you're shaking your head.
I'm not confident in either of these teams right now. So
Yeah,
I had a really hard time picking this because I'm like laying in bed and Kurt's like sending this to me and I'm just like, oh God, I don't know. Like, because full sense mentally doesn't look that strong right now. It looks like once they had that, loss, then the wheels just come off and they can't really get it all together. Despite Cruz doing pretty well at times as the IGL, at other times I think he's getting a little readable and basic. Kind of they're starting to default to things back to stuff that was readable and basic even when Jip Boys was IGLing. And then KRX got absolutely blown out of the water and I've never been super impressed with them. They don't have as much firepower as full sense, so full sense could just diff them in that regard. I think it's just what whoever shows up mentally better that day, and I put a little bit more stock in Termi and company to get them ready. That's really what I'm like a psychologist this week. I'm literally just going on mental.
Yeah,
it's pretty much where I'm at.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
It means that they'll likely lose.
Yeah, you've really thrown a wrench into this, to be honest. But it's a new arc for you, though. Enjoy it. It's not going to last forever. Enjoy it while it lasts. Yeah. I will say I also just think that yes, they are pretty easy to read, but still the prep that they have, like against a team that they think they should be able to beat, I think will be strong enough. So that's where I'm putting kind of my faith in for KRX. But
the loss might really help them, to be honest.
Also true. Yeah,
it might have come at a perfect time because if they carried on playing like this, they were going to lose in playoffs for sure. So even though they don't get the first seed because of it, like it might be the wake up that actually scrapes them the third place. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Well. Those are the only predictions that we're going to have because those are the only set matchups. But we are going to do a quick little pick'em to see what Plat Chat thinks is going to happen and who Pacific's going to be sending to Masters London. So when the bracket comes up on screen, we should be able to...
should be easy.
Yeah, I mean, most of it I think should be pretty straightforward. So we should have, RQ and KRX based on our votes. Okay.
Paper X NT1.
Well, okay, fine.
Yep.
All right.
We don't even need to.
So 2 teams already set for Masters London. All right, no suspense there. Let's go down to the lower bracket then. So GE versus DFM.
You know where my vote's at.
GE wins that.
GE
no,
wins that,
DFM already beat him.
Yeah, but mate, anyone would have beaten them on the third, fourth week. We're in playoffs now.
Nah. DFM, they got the jitters out of the way. They're good to go. They're ready.
I'm gonna get. You know what? It was your birthday yesterday. I have an idea. Of a gift.
No.
I'm gonna get him the poster from X-Files where it says "I want to believe," but instead of a flying saucer,
Put May's face.
It's gonna be May. So I'm gonna get that drawn up for you, and you can hang it in the background.
I do have concerns about DFM. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Yatsuka does not look comfortable on Initiator at all. Like right now, again, even though it was his like most played role before he moved up to Tier 1, it's like he's just not comfortable. So I don't know. I mean, I can see them changing some things up. They've got a week to work on some stuff. So
Brain says GE, Heart says DFM. So I assume that you're both gonna say global on this.
Yes. Yep.
So global.
So GE. All right, GE it is. They move on. DFM is eliminated. The DFM's out of ECT Pacific, and then we have.
It's not like you're relishing it so much. Jeez.
Well, no, I'm just trying to put some
sad
emphasis
about
on
them
this
being
because
eliminated.
No, the upper bracket became too easy. We got to have some excitement somewhere. Full Sense versus Nongshim. Oh,
Full sense.
Full sense.
Yeah. I'm still not. Again, I'm wary of Full Sense right now. But yeah.
oh, how far my goats have fallen. All right. Well, I don't even get a
much.
vote in this one. Yeah, 3v1.
Okay, but if you did, are you trying to squeeze out of it? If you did have a vote, you
No, I mean,
actually saying
this one
Nongshim,
I
or-
would. This one I would still vote Nongshim. This one I
Okay.
would still vote Nongshim, regardless of how they're looking right now. I think that's
Sure.
a matchup where, yeah, Full Sense I don't think has enough to. It would be scrappy, and I think that then like the experience, the comfort, etc., the chemistry, etc., would shine better on. It'd be more, I guess, well spread out on Nongshim, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So that's where I would put it. All right. Well, let's go through the rest of the lower bracket, see who we got going to Ho Chi Minh and
I mean, we set the
Masters London
stage.
as well. Oh, all right. Yeah, Termi
wow.
and Frost.
Again.
Yeah, this time maybe they'll even do a little hug. You know, who knows?
They got
Maybe a
wrecked
kiss?
last time though.
last time KRX absolutely just made
Yeah, they
GE.
wrecked them.
Yeah. How do we feel?
Surely this one would be different.
Yeah, surely Frost finally gets the win.
Okay, so, vote?
They got so owned. I have to go for DRX.
I'd say KRX.
Yeah.
I'll throw a vote out for GE.
Ooh.
I feel like the rematch they'll get the win. Like just
You know what?
based on that.
I'm gonna join you on that, and we're gonna let the coin
The
decide.
coin decide.
Okay.
Yeah, this one is a coin flip game, I think.
I think so.
At this stage of a bracket, it probably
Mhm.
Sure.
will be.
Yeah.
Unless somebody looks fucking awful in the opening games, like.
All right. Oh,
Boy,
we got to get the
Thanks,
coin
man.
ready. Yeah.
What is the okay?
GE,
It's-
KRX.
yeah,
GE and KRX or DRX, whichever you want to put on there.
Oh boy.
Dude, I keep
yeah, our
calling them
first
DRX, man. It's so hard
know.
to. It's so hard to shift over.
one.
Yeah.
It's such a long-standing brand.
Yeah, it is.
We'll get used to it at some point. Ooh, there we go. All right, and the coin says.
Oh.
Oh,
nice.
GE.
Nice.
All right. Okay, Frost finally smiling. He'll be able to move on one more round.
He was not smiling. Did you see him straight after
Dude,
the win?
He looked so done with
He
it.
was
man.
pissed, man.
So
He
this
was
is
pissed.
so depending on this, if it plays out this way, he either has to rematch Jovi again, who will have just
Mhm.
beaten him, or he will have to play against Cruz for
Yes,
the first time.
It's great.
Not as a
Would-
coach, obviously, anymore. That was that kind of like the mini hype storyline is gone, but you know,
And it would
them
be for
facing
the.
off would be
It would be the game who makes it
Yeah.
London. Holy
Yeah.
shit! Please.
Yeah, I mean, this would be
Yeah.
a sick
Please.
bracket.
Oh wait, okay,
Yeah.
I got it.
It's
Okay.
got to be
Sick bracket.
RRQ.
You think RQ's moving on here over?
Well, he's
Full
gonna say
Set?
Hell
because
yeah.
RQ deny him again. Is that where you're going?
RQ deny Full Sense again. Oh my gosh!
Well,
All right.
well, not only
Oh,
deny full
RQ
sense,
denies
but
Frost
they
again.
Frost
deny
is
Frost
doomed
again.
to suffer in Pacific. That is just all it is.
Wow.
But here's the thing is there's another sick storyline on the opposite side of that where Full Sense go and then they make it to an international
Oh,
without
Without
him.
Frost.
and they beat him. Either way, he's doomed. Either way,
Russ,
he is
yeah.
doomed.
They're both sick though. Those are actually both crazy storylines.
Dude, why is this suddenly turning into some kind of like voodoo doll script writing session for Frost? Like, what are you guys doing?
Oh,
now?
Because
I
we've
thought,
got so
you were
many
gonna say
narratives
this, like,
on.
they're gonna say generally. I'm like, this is the bullshit we come up with every single time we do anything. Like it's
Yeah.
always voodoo, mumbo jumbo. Like,
All right, well, let's start with RQ Full Sense. Anybody got any strong feelings?
I'm
I have
RRQ.
no idea.
Okay,
I'll
yeah,
back
you're
full
RQ.
sense here, but I'm not like.
Okay. I
crazy
am
confident.
RQ. So Achilleos,
I'm,
do we go 3-1 or coin flip?
I'm RRQ. I think. I think
Ah.
that if they're going to drop down to lowers but win their opening game versus GE, I think that they should be able to handle a Full Sense that's going to be a little bit more rattled.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's go back to the upper bracket then. Take a little breather from the intense Frost storyline. Paper X versus T1. I'll start. I mean, I'm Paper X all the way here.
I would be against any other team, but for some freaking reason, they keep losing to Munchkin. I'm gonna go T1.
Ooh. Okay.
Munchkin just seems to, for whatever reason, have their number.
Okay.
Dude,
Achilles.
This one's
Yeah.
hard, man.
It is hard though. I feel like
Achilles,
Paper
please.
X should win, but
Really?
Please go, Achilles. Yeah, I don't know what to do.
Paper X.
Okay, so
So
is
I
it a
can-
coin or is it?
I can
yeah.
force it to a coin.
Yeah.
Someone asked me this on chat the other day, and I said T1, but I didn't feel confident after saying it. So I don't know, man.
You
Dude,
said it and you just like felt this bitter taste in your
Yeah,
mouth.
I was
You're
just like, dude,
"Ugh."
this feels so wrong. Yeah, coin it. I'll say T1.
All
Let me
right.
coin it.
Ooh boy, man, I'm so confident in Paper X in this.
Okay.
one.
Honestly,
Ooh.
I'm happy with this.
Yeah,
I am,
Paper
but
X wins.
it's it's the one matchup that I
No,
don't
it's-
It's
know.
gonna be
I'm
a
right there
cool
with-
game though. Like
Yes.
if we
It
get this
is.
game, which we probably should get
Surely.
this game.
Surely
would
it's going to be a
imagine.
cool game. An upper final. Paper X playing against a team that like they haven't played against in like a little while. Like that's going to be so good. There's no way that this ends up being a fucking blowout and they get spanked.
Oh man, yeah. Paper X, I feel like they should be all right. But also, as a reminder, that upper final will already be happening in Ho Chi Minh as well. So that would be hype to see it in front of the crowd. But okay, Paper X now winning the grand
a game
final.
like that in front of a giant crowd in a region like we've never brought Valorant to before. Like there's no way it could fail.
Oh boy. All right, lower bracket then. Who is going to London? Is it Frost? Is it Jovi? Global Esports versus RRQ.
I'll say RRQ for this.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm at RRQ.
I have GE because we had RRQ winning the first time. So surely this time
You're
GE.
a believer in the
Yeah.
reverse, yeah.
Yep, I believe.
Where they rematch and Frost just brings out all the B comps.
Yeah,
Tries
yeah,
those ones out.
exactly. Yeah.
I am also RRQ, but I'd also be fine if we flipped a coin.
All right, let's.
But
let's
otherwise,
do
it,
let's do a
I
coin
am
flip.
saying RRQ. So yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see what the coin says. The coin's
coin
wrong. I said
says
RRQ,
GE.
so it's 3-1.
No, you said
That's messed up.
That's crazy. We'll give him RQ. We'll give him
Criminal.
RQ. Fine. That is actually crazy behavior. All right. Well, overriding the coin like that. So RQ. Oh man, RQ to another Masters. One more shot. Third
One more
time's the
shot.
charm. Third time's the charm for him. All right. T1 RQ.
I'd say
We
T1.
all- Yeah,
T1.
T1. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
T1. And then rematch.
Double map ban for
double
Paper
ban.
X.
Yeah, double
Yeah,
ban.
then
that
you gotta give
pearl.
it to him. Yeah,
Surely
Yeah.
give it
You
up.
get rid of Pearl and
they
Ascent,
would.
and you're
They
probably
banned
good
it
to go.
against. They banned it against Karex. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Paper X wins. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I feel like Paper X is kind of the shoe in here overall. T1, I agree, is a very strong wild card against them, but outside of that,
Okay, can we let's play it back a second and see if this changes anything though? If we follow the coin instead of the 3-1
no,
vote
no.
instead of following democracy, how do we think the rest of this bracket shakes out?
I mean, G would lose.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, G would
Yeah.
still lose here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So it,
Wait,
it
I
doesn't
just
really
want
change.
for the people who are just like L take, you gotta go with the coin. There you go, we did.
Oh,
It would look like that.
Okay,
That's
fine.
what it would look like.
All right. Well, there you go. That's our pick'em. Of course, you should try to do your own as well and join in the fun and let us know what you think. Let us know where you think we went wrong in that very, very dramatic Frost bracket. I mean, that would be cool to see a whole Frost narrative, though, throughout the entire lower bracket. it'd be a very, very fun time. But that's going to be it for Pacific for this week. Thank you so much, Achilles and Paper Thin. I'm sure we'll be seeing you guys on the official broadcast later this week as well. Also, you guys are starting on Thursday this week, yeah? The
That
matches?
is true.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
we started a day
All right.
earlier.
Big
We've
games.
got 4
We got
days
4 in
back
a
to back
row.
to back to back. So
Yeah.
tune
Get
in.
ready.
It's gonna be sick.
Yeah, it's going to be big. It's going to be big matches. So everybody tune into Pacific. But thank you very much, Paper Thin and Achilles. We will see you another time. We're going to send you off.
Just remember how efficient this segment was when you get to the rest.
Yeah,
of
have fun.
This show.
Oh,
Good
I'm
luck.
not really looking forward to it. Yeah. To wrangle in this.
Like
Oh,
herding
man.
cats.
All right.
Bye.
See you guys. One second. I'm just gonna switch scenes real quick and then organize the cameras because we have to shift some stuff
Okay.
around.
Yeah, do,
I'm
do
gonna
it up.
close my window. Someone's cutting grass. So.
All right. Man, that just reminded me that I haven't heard a lawnmower in a long time. Living in Korea and like of these apartment complexes, it's just like, yeah, man, lawns are just not a thing. That's so weird. So weird to me.
There we go. And then, all right. There's. I thought you were a picture at first, Vinny. I was like, this is not. I didn't upload this picture.
I'm just
of you.
really good at staying still. That's what it is.
Holy
Oh
shit!
my
How you doing,
gosh.
dude?
I'm good. Is my mic okay?
Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's great.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, it sounds great. Yeah.
Well, I actually look like in a jail cell still. I thought that like it was going to look better this week, but honestly,
What made you think that it was gonna look better this
It's not.
week?
It's not the worst, is it? It's
No,
not
it's
the worst.
fine. It's
Well,
fine.
because I'm not in the same
Actually, yeah.
location.
Oh, okay. The wide frame gives a, you got the light, you got the picture frame, and there's a little bit more going on.
I'm using that for lighting. Look at that. That's a little bit just extra.
Dude, very
That's
cool.
production
Yeah,
value
nice
right
little
there.
key light there.
We're learning. We're learning. Oh man. Is it just the
real
three of us here?
Hello.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Kukuka.
Kukuka had. You can
Ah.
explain, Minnie. You know more than I do.
Well, I was actually with her today, and then she was like, "Oh, I need to go. My landlord. There's something with her landlord, basically. Like,
Okay.
router. Blah 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 blah.
Well, that's
We all
important,
hate landlords, is the TLDR.
Yeah. I
Nice.
don't think anyone would disagree with that, to be honest. I think we're all on board there. Slinky,
Oh,
stay
no.
silent. He's actually
Yeah, my
the landlord.
my one's actually kind of nice. Yeah, our landlord's pretty nice. So.
Fucking Tory over
I,
there.
I don't want to flame them in case they're watching. Who knows?
They're a closet BCT Plat chat fan.
Yeah,
and they're
maybe.
watching. Could
never
be.
know.
All right. Well, it's gonna be. Oh, well then maybe it won't be as rose as well. Less people. Well, I guess we can get. Can we get started, Kurt?
Yeah, we
How
can speed
how looking?
through this. Let's go for a
Ah,
record.
no, it's not gonna happen, is it?
No, Minnie, we're gonna speed through this. You're not stopping us. We're gonna power through.
When we do predictions,
All right,
would you
well-
like me to bring Kukuka back in to show her preds, or
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
do that.
I think that's a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
idea.
No.
Jeez. No, let's do it. Let's do it. We'll still have 4 votes there. All right. Moving on to EMEA for this week. I'm going to preface this by saying when Kurt asked me if I was down to host EMEA, I said yes, and I was confident that I was going to be able to catch up quickly, sift through the VODs. Haven't been able to do a single minute of that. So you guys are going to have to guide
That's
the
fine.
blind here. Yeah, and tell me what happened. But let's talk about the matches that happened this week. EMEA also wrapping up the league play. And now moving forward. And the first one we're going to talk about is Team Heretics. Looking on the up and up. Can we say that?
Yeah, for sure. You're speaking to 2 believers right now, so that's the thing. We
Oh,
were
safe
believing
space.
last week.
We
I think
guaranteed this game.
we did guarantee this game, yeah, and it worked out. I mean, it was a bit of who wants it more as well. It was like a big factor for this one. Foot had already secured the first seed.
Right.
But dude, everything just makes sense when I watch Heretics. And I would say Foot played like insanely loose on this. Yeta J did some madness. Even though he's top fragging, don't let the stats deceive you. He he was doing some mad stuff, man. He was responsible for quite a few round losses, in my opinion. And then if we're just, dude, I feel like I'm non-stop talking about ult usage at the moment, but it is just at a general all-time low, I swear. Like some of the ult decisions I'm seeing of, yeah, we're 4v5 and we're equal, let's use ults. I just don't understand it, and Foot were doing it a lot. They definitely could have won Lotus. They probably should have won Lotus. Rien's had that insane 1v4, but it was a who wants it more, man. It really was. Foot played so loose.
Yeah, I think that it's kind of one of those games that probably benefits both. Like Foot got a loss just before playoffs in a way that's like it didn't really matter that much for them. I am worried if that is the way they're going to play at playoffs, I think, because it wasn't as good as usual, to put it bluntly. But yeah, on the Heretics side, there's like good signs happening. I think that like everything just keeps making sense. Like we keep talking about Koshmaris's Neon, Wu is finding comfort on the Raze Phoenix. Even like this week, Rian's obviously fucking just destroyed on the Fade. And then the big highlight to me was actually Gen.G and the Vice. Like I think that Heretics, inspired by Americas perhaps with some of that Vice kind of Neon counter. And I'm really interested to see in EMEA specifically how that's going to play out, because we don't have many Vices. And the people that did play Vice, it was like NAVI and KC. And frankly, they're just out of groups anyway. So it'd be really interested to see how that plays through for playoffs.
Is Vice in the past? Because they used it a bit in the past, right? It didn't look great.
I don't think it looks as good in the past, but
Okay, yeah. That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. 'Cause
Yeah.
normally you just kind of think of him as like Cypher Comfort, and then he kind of really farms.
Right.
So this is
Yeah.
probably a great sign for
But
them.
I think that because there's so much inspiration that you can get right now from literally just watching America's VODs, and people in EMEA really aren't used to it. Like Vice is picked 3 times the amount it is in Americas than it is in EMEA. And all the setups are looking a lot better over there, I would argue. I just think that it's, you know, Cypher's the weakest it's ever been, unless you're literally doing that stuff every single round. I think it's just a lot harder to get value from once you get into playoffs, I would argue. Like, I think comfort during groups is easy because you're going to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. And then when it gets to those big games against the big teams, you know, teams playing Cypher on Lotus, whatever it is, I just think it's not going to be cutting it as much.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. It's definitely a little, feels a little outdated.
I did see a couple of kill trip kills this week, though. I thought they were like fully dead. I think I saw 3 in one game. It wasn't any of these teams, but yeah. So I don't know if it's just, I mean, the spacing was bad, so maybe it's just that. But I don't know if like maybe people overthought just how dead they are, or if it actually has.
One of the issues I'm having with my analysis in general is that, like, I'm obviously from the framework of thinking about winning tournaments or going deep into tournaments, and like, especially with the teams that are good, like Heretics, we're supposed to expect them to do well. It's almost like every week I'm like, if they played Cypher, I'm gonna be like, yeah, whatever. But then I would hold them to a higher standard, if that makes sense. Like, as soon, like I'm envisioning that game against whoever it is in the playoffs. That game is the most important game. All these group stage games are like, you know, who cares if they're firemen, you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
Which makes me sound like a dick all the time.
Well, yeah, but I think it's because you're saying that you have to be looking at the longer term goal, right? And what you're doing then and building towards that, and you know, does it work? I think that's fair, especially for a team like Team Heretics where they have that history. Like, it's not like a brand new team that you're holding to that standard. Overall for Team Heretics, then now, you know, looking forward, you know, going into playoffs, having that upper bracket. What are you kind of looking for then? Is it really just like Gen.G, comfort on the Vice? Like, would that just give you a lot more comfort about, hey, yeah, they could go to an international, do well?
I think it's if they keep performing like they looked, I would include the, was it 3rd week? Yeah, I would include the last 3 weeks. If they keep looking like that, I think they make it, basically. I think everything looks good. I think the big move is just them going from just like comfort, man, especially Rians.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing to me is, I think I tried to explain this on broadcast, where it's like Koshmaras to me, like I had criticisms over the double duelist for Heretics. I had some question marks about whether they even knew how to play it properly. And I feel like Koshmaras is basically there, and you have to react to his speed and his kind of just intuitions. And that makes Heretics get out of their own rhythm, which is a very specific EMEA rhythm that doesn't match this meta as well. Whereas if you're matching Koshmaras' rhythm and you have to play up to his speed, then he kind of forces you to play better, in my opinion. So that's like, I think my thesis going into playoffs is if they just continue to do that, it's going to be really good. And it was interesting because Gen.G did say in an interview, it's like, we're trying to get him on our page. And I was almost like, no, you want to be on his page right now. Like, that is the way I see it.
Right.
One thing I really like about this guy is he kind of has his own unique way. Like, he does everything his own like style. He has like some weird little Odin rounds that he likes to do as well. But the main thing I watch is when he sends it in and say like they've got a little bit of space, he's very aware of where everyone else is and if he should be going or if he should be like jump, jiggle, peeking to be a distraction, then wait for the rest of the team and then go in. I feel like he has a very good sense of he's not like overheating and everyone's miles away. He is waiting, he is baiting, and he looks like pretty smart, man, from what I'm seeing.
Yeah. Something I'm going to do this week, I'm going to try and do in the next week's bit of propaganda for the EMEA desk, is that like I'm going to try and get Koshmaras' POV a lot more and do a lot more like, let's see how it feels to be a Neon, because we obviously don't get that perspective very much with the replays. So I'm going to be doing some work there. So there's a lot of flaming of the desk recently, but you know, check it out. Let's see how that goes.
When you say you're doing that, are you like following, as in you're like VOD reviewing like one round?
I'm gonna figure out how to do it. I think it's like you play, like at least you play out a clip, and then if there's lots of decisions being made that aren't so obvious, going back and then breaking down every moment in which like, okay, you got to go left or right now, like what you gonna do, kind of thing, you know?
Okay. I thought that we were gonna do what Americas was doing and just leave it on Brock cam for just 3 rounds. If they stuff out live, Holy man, Americas was killing.
I mean, I could ask the observers to just be on Koshmaras the whole game. That would actually probably be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it went well for Americas, so you can try it if you want.
Could work. That sounds like it'd be fun though, especially on a Neon that like is making those conscious decisions live instead of just sending it, right, and hoping
Yeah.
that it works every time. So, okay, well, hopeful times for Heretics. You know, I wasn't quite sure when the sun would come up, but it's been coming up in the last couple of weeks, so that sounds good.
It's been up, mate. It's been
Yeah.
up for a while, Chobro. Yeah, get on board.
Well, listen, hold on. You're trying to like get me on board all these things. Listen, I'll go at my own pace.
This is the one, though. This is the one.
But Siggy, the problem is that everyone hates EMEA, and like it's like
Yeah.
in general, I'm thinking right now, like the amount of crap I watched this week outside of EMEA, I'm starting to actually have to defend EMEA on some level. I'm just like, don't make me go there, and then we can't believe too hard because.
I'm not
You know,
believing too hard. Trust me,
okay,
I'm not
okay,
believing- I'm not
okay,
believing too.
okay.
I'm not
No, it's
believing
just the
too
sun
hard,
is
but-
up. You know, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like the world. It's not world
No,
peace.
no.
It's just it's sunny one day. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm believing.
All
I'm
right,
not being
that's
stung
fair.
again.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, that's fair. All right, well, let's move on to the next match that we have on the docket. Then we're going to be talking about Team Vitality. And I am very curious about what you have to tell me about Team Vitality, although maybe there's not too much from this specific match.
I think there was from this. So I think if we kind of look at the main criticism the Vitality were getting, I would say, like, obviously we listened into the comms, and the comms were like, at least like plan making, it wasn't really there, and there was rounds where it was like do something and stuff like that. But if I felt like we could see the focus of their prac, and I think a lot of it was fighting together, like making sure that they're all on the same page when we're talking on defense, right? So like setups, even though they lost someone like Haven, I'm watching them, there's like two actually like playing together on a site, whereas normally it would just be like one, and they're just taking their own jewels and someone has to go crazy. So I'm at least saw like they're budding up way more in defense. And then on attack, even though I felt like we got some good listen-ins, even though I felt like they were maybe a little too long to react to whatever the plan was, they still stuck with some kind of plan. I do think when I listen in, Sayonara actually makes great plans. I think people should kind of listen to him a little bit more. He seems like very on it with some of his shot calling, but sometimes they don't listen. But you could definitely see that was like where the week's focus of prac was, in my opinion, for these two things. Like defense, grouping up, attack, stick to plans, make plans.
Yeah, Sayonara's, I remember his micro comms in a post plant where he just organized it all, and it was like
It's good.
impressive. The
Yeah.
problem I think is something that, because we had Durka and Chronicle on the desk after, and I was asking them what like the focus was for this week, and Durka was pretty blunt about the idea that he just needs to shut up a lot more. And so like it's about them listening to Yampy more and not giving as many, because you know, like Durka, Chronicle, they're going to have opinions, and it seems like Chronicle's even developed as more of a communicative player than when I coached him. And so there are a lot of people, including Sayonara now, who there's a lot of voices, and I feel like I still think that I would imagine that Yampy needs to be the main voice and be the person who's like controlling a lot of these situations, because it is probably still a little bit chaotic.
Right.
I think the defense is, I'm still not seeing as much of a system as I would want, and as might be just because it's hard to watch Vitality Pacific and on the broadcast and kind of dissect it as much. But one thing I'm going to be looking at closely for next week is that defense system, because I still think it is a bit loose, and you know, they might be buddying up more and the fundamentals might be a bit better, but I feel like there's not like a FNATIC system where it's like structured and protocols still. But
Sure.
and I really
Yeah.
think that this kind of team just needs that. Like, if you have a basic system that is kind of well drilled, like you're gonna get the best out of these players, I feel.
Don't you think it's a little bit on, not to throw players under the bus, but don't you think it's a little bit on Kron and Durka to be like, this is what worked for us in the past, we should add a bit more structure into these instead of it being looser? Because that's what felt weird to me. It's like I felt like when, obviously they both come from two heavy structured teams that had, well, the same team that had a lot of success. It feels weird to go into a different team and just be like, well, we want to play it loose, even though it hasn't worked.
It's actually really interesting, because obviously I think to some degree they're just very good soldiers. Like they're both people who would, you know, raise their voice when they needed to and be like, I don't like this. But that's very curious. I don't know, to be honest with you. I think that they might just be trusting whatever's going on with the leadership and kind of, you know, or they might have not too enjoyed being bossed around all the time before. So yeah, no, I think it's a good point. I think that I think the main focus for me is like Yampy and Pow's system on BBL seemed a bit more rigorous, I think, but I'm not 100% sure. I think what I'm going to do is go back and take a look to see if I'm just creating false narratives. But
Sure.
I would like to see a little bit more structure.
It might have been a
Okay.
little bit of sociable in that team. The more that I look at it as well. Not that I can understand the Turkish when we listen in, but he does seem very vocal.
I think from what I know from behind the scenes, I don't think Sociable was that
Okay.
player on BBL. I think he was just
Sure.
kind of, there doing his job. I don't think he was as involved in that kind of
Okay.
side of things. I think Magnum was a little bit more vocal about things. And I think Magnum would
Right,
actually be a very good player to
right.
look at as that kind of annoying, I want to do the system kind of thing, Love
Yeah.
the guy,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like
That's true.
he's going to be the one
Yeah.
pushing for that kind of thing, I think.
Get him back in
Right.
K-Corp.
Yeah. Maybe his
Bring a
team's
little
doing pretty
system.
well right now, I think.
Yeah.
Like
Team
he's
is
a,
doing well. Yeah, they got
Some
a
teams
superstar over there as well.
yeah, that guy's
Some
sick.
teams definitely need it. Obviously, the other headline was Vitality getting yet another 13-0. So, I mean, they have that going for them. So that's good. Another record. Overall, though, from what you're telling me, how much of that, like, how much do you think that fixes and gives you faith about Vitality now reaching their potential? I know you guys just talked about, like, well, maybe they need a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that, but just like comms being cleaner, them admitting that, is that enough for Vitality fans to get excited?
I think with the time, I personally think with the time, yeah, but until you see it, it's hard to start believing.
I think it's also they played Pacific and Cupid hates to be
Sure.
famous, but at the end of the day, they didn't win a game. So I think there's like good signs, and I think that it's very obvious what some of the problems are. And like when I, walking around, I could hear some of the things being said, and like I can get the sense that they kind of know what's to be done. And I think the fact that, we did fuck up on the broadcast a little bit. We thought they're going to be the 4th seed. They're not the 4th seed. They're actually the 2nd seed, I believe. And so that gives them a lot of wiggle room, I think, to, at least one more game of wiggle room that they otherwise wouldn't have had.
It's insane that they came out of this,
Yeah.
and actually in an all right spot. Like that is
that is
mad.
crazy. How
The
did
group
that
was
happen?
just so back and forth between all the teams.
Yeah, third seed it looks like. So in the upper
Oh, was it
bracket.
3rd seed?
Yeah, third
Yeah,
seed
third
and
Third
seed,
and second
third
to me
seed.
is the same thing.
Yeah,
It
it's
basically
basically
is.
the same thing.
Yeah, basically.
It's just
It
side of the
changes-
bracket.
Changes who
So-
plays, yeah.
Because I thought they were going to be 4th, and just it was going to be truly
Right.
miserable. 'Cause
Right.
in EMEA, there's never been a team that's gone through that lower bracket and done well. So
I feel
Yeah.
like with it being so close to you being out, we've seen teams do this in the past where there's like just maybe it's out of your, well, this essentially was the EG run, right, for champs, where it was out of their hands, and then they had a coach stood in for a team, and then they managed to get to champs because of it. Like when you
Yep.
like fully accept that you're probably out, the second life and just giving it, man, people try so hard, and it can kind of reignite a team. I'm not saying it's going to happen,
Yeah.
but the potential is there.
Right.
It's happened before, and they're already decent players,
yeah,
and they are
Of
focusing
course.
on, in my belief, the right things within the last week. So add another week on that. I don't know. I could
Okay.
see it. It's not out of, like, a run is. If they were starting lower bracket, I have no belief, because they're up there at the top. Maybe.
Like there's a chance. The ingredients
Yeah,
are
there's a
there.
definite
The
chance.
ingredients are there. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, let's see. We'll be finding out soon how much we actually believe in that when we get to the pick'ems. But let's move on to Navi. The headline: Navi beats Karmine Corp in pointless match. Kurt, you didn't have to do.
I mean,
that.
it was. It was a little pointless. It was a little pointless.
I mean, yeah, listen, as someone who didn't watch the match, I'm seeing that it didn't matter, and it was 2 13-9s. This is like as meaningless as it seems in terms of there's not anything that's shouting at me or Minnie.
I'm trying to remember the game.
I can try to refresh you a little bit. A lot of how K-Corp are playing at the moment is just 5-person death balling, and I think when you have player turned IGL, you gotta give them a little bit more help with some of these defaults. It's so hard to like cancel when you have no map control. So it has resulted in Eng obviously stepping down. Which,
Yeah.
in my opinion, any move for K-Corp would have been. I support it. Something had to happen. We had to like blow something up here. So we'll see. Zeish is meant to be head coach, so we'll see if like he gets another piece with him that can help him out. So yeah, big news, but it's just like, dude, something had to happen. This was a long time coming, man. Really.
Yeah, I mean, the talent is like every time they build a roster, I'm kind of low key like this is kind of dark horse. Like there's some nice names
Yeah.
in the mix, But I think he never, like, Eng never found synergy with an IGO, is basically what it comes down to. It never feels like they had a solid leadership in the team. And, like, you know, even with Sadak, who, like, he went through, like, Magnum, Sadak, and Aves. I can't remember if there's anyone else. It's like, he got a mixture of a few different things there. Like, Magnum inexperienced, but has experience with, like, a lot of understanding and very smart. You got Sadak, who is Sadak. I don't really need to say much more. And then Aves is like a very curveball kind of idea, and just with all of them, it just feels like that they were never reaching on paper where they should be at. So
I like that you said curveball. It's very characteristic of Aves.
I mean, on broadcast, I was
yeah.
like, oh yeah, putting Aves on the Phoenix is like pretty good because like Aves is usually right. And then I just remembered he's not been having a fun time on the Phoenix.
Team Flash, Team Flash, Team Flash. Yeah.
But for when he wasn't IGLing, that was like a thing that would happen sometimes, but it wasn't as bad. I feel like. So like it's one of those things where I feel like I feel rough for him, man. Like he is a decent player underneath it all, I believe. I don't think he's, you know, he wasn't bad last year, and then he's on IGL and he's just having a nightmare here.
But all their player turned IGLs had a bad time. Magnum didn't look good. Aves didn't look good. Shados didn't look good. So
oh yeah, Shados. Sorry, I even completely forgot.
Oh
yeah, they had Shados. So I do think that in terms of Eng, I think, well, when I watch Eng, or when I think about Eng teams, again, I played against him like probably the most, I would say, in 2020, 2021. I feel that he's like very micro focused. It's a lot of first of all, like defense setups normally make a lot of sense, and then on attack, it's a lot of like alt combos, good rounds of alts, and just set strats. When it comes to like macro 4-1s, map control and stuff like that, that's where I feel like he kind of lacks. So I feel like an IGL that likes that stuff would work very well with him. So that's at least where like my read of it was. Every time I watched them, it felt like the whole macro side of it. Like I never saw a 4-1, man. It's always 5-person death ball into, oh, should we cancel? No, just hit him because we got the map control. So
yeah,
and like obviously when they had Sadak, they were playing.
Do you not think they could have ran
agent.
just more fast strats?
Yeah, no, I think they should have run more fast strats. That's what I believe he's like good at as well. So I'm kind of surprised they didn't go for that. You gotta lean into the strengths instead of their weaknesses.
Do you have any idea like how would you now, like, I don't want to, you know, talk about players specifically, but like where would you see it? Because I look at this roster, I'm like, I don't know what the obvious moves are at all here. Like even Levin, like he was probably the one that I was looking at as like maybe, and then like this week he's like the only one looking good, you know. So it's rough. Like
they're in a hard spot. They have good individuals. It's just I think you have to just main focus if it is if you get in an IGL, or you main focus like turning Aves into an IGL and just helping him out with setups, man. It has to be more of a macro, bigger understanding, bigger picture of just like, this is how you play this map. Like this is what we should be doing. And then I think having Sagetsu be more of a luck would help out a lot as well. Like he should be good at being able to take timings and call teams back and stuff like that. I don't know. They struggle so much on attack, in my opinion.
Yeah, another team that kind of remains an anomaly. We talked about one earlier in Pacific as well. So that's we'll see where it goes. But obviously they're starting to make changes, so we'll see where they're headed in the future. Is there anything else you want to say about Navi here, or are we good to move on?
I guess it's just we're going to be interested to see them when they're actual roster, because they just went through that weird turbulence with the roster and not being able to get like exit.
Right.
Tell me he gets his visa in time. Have you got any kind of inside info, Minnie?
I think I presume the next tournament for them would be that EWC stuff, and
sure. I mean,
he's from the region, so it's going to be fine for that.
Right.
And
after that, I have no idea.
Stage 2's in 2 months, like surely.
That should be enough time.
Surely.
Yeah,
you figure something out.
Dude, they could be really good with him, and like they could be. They've shown signs of excellence. Obviously, they have like really good. I mean, they got 2 really, really good players. So,
dude.
And I do feel like Clorix have been a good pickup for IGL. I do like him. I just feel like they just need the missing piece, man. They need that visa.
All right. Well, as a Navi secret believer, or secret Navi believer, not a Navi and secret believer.
No, the and secret, dude.
No,
a rough couple of years, man.
Yeah. Secret Navi believer. We'll keep our hopes up. Let's move on to now the other matches. FNATIC finish strong, coming back strong once again in the middle of the year, or I guess kind of the starting the middle of the year. Undefeated here. So takes that first seed from their group. I mean, I think that about really seems to sum up stage 1 for them, but how was this match against BBL?
It was nice for Sivo, I would say. Dude, I think that he might work out better for them almost, because if they go for this heavy Phoenix and Kayak just gets to play Neon, it might actually work out better for them in terms of what they were playing before, and they just go, mate, you might have the best Phoenix in the world right now. At least if we're looking at the stats, I know it's only 7 games or 6 games, whatever it is. At the moment, it's not too many, but he is looking unbelievable in the Phoenix. And if we look at the win rates of these two agents in terms of Phoenix and Neon, it's outrageous at the moment. So if they lent heavy into this, it might actually be looking better than what it was with Vekash, to be honest. So we'll see how long he's in the team for. I imagine it's a little bit. I don't know what's going on over there, but...
Right.
I mean, I have information. I'm just trying to figure out.
Am I allowed to say anything?
Right.
But if they sign
I mean,
him,
don't
I
take
imagine
chances.
it's for a little while.
Yeah, I mean, it sounded like it from an outside perspective that it was like, okay, at least for, you know, like the stage or something, right? The playoffs and things like that. Who knows afterwards? But yeah, I mean, I was happy to hear about, obviously not about the circumstances, but Sivo getting a chance to play on the stage again.
Yeah, I think for me, I think I'd just echo what Sliggy said. Really, like I think with I mean, I think the thing I said on broadcast was like, poor Alpha has to sit there and watch another player taking the duelist spot, and he's just like, how can I be playing duelist? Like I've been here for a while, I've been pretty good. But yeah, ultimately Alpha wants to win, so I think that the combination between them looks pretty good. Obviously, I think that on the flip side, I think that BBL looked a little bit miserable, and so I'm obviously with FNATIC. I'm going to be treating them like as the obvious team to go to London at this point and holding them to that standard. And so when BBL playing like they did, I'm also a little bit like, you know, I don't want to go too hard. Like I think that there's a lot of great things to say about FNATIC. There's lots of beautiful things they're doing. Like everything was making sense. They're one of the few teams in the world that I watch right now, and I'm like, there is intentionality behind everything. And I think that's the thing that I'm thinking about as an analyst right now. It's just like, which teams are playing with true intentionality? And FNATIC are just doing that right now. And that's one of the few teams in EMEA, I would argue, that are looking like everything's just purposeful.
I felt like you were slightly alluding to something that I've been saying on stream, where I don't think they've been proper tested yet.
Yep.
Okay.
I didn't know you were saying that, but I would agree.
Yeah. That's because everyone's talking about FNATIC, and I'm like, I would like to get on board. Like, I would like to get on board. I just can't at the moment, because I think they should have lost to Eternal Fire when they played them, and that's probably the biggest test that they've had at the moment. So
it does feel like they're kind of, obviously they've gone through a lot of shit the past few weeks, and I feel like they started a little bit slow in terms of, it feels like they're always just a little bit slow, and it feels like week by week you can tell that Bosa's doing the VOD review and the coaches are kind of working on stuff. So I do think they are getting stronger and things are looking up for them. But I do agree that they didn't get challenged in a way.
Sure.
They played against a BBL who didn't change up their Haven. I just can't get over how this Haven does not change up, man. I'm looking at Rose struggling over towards A, thinking, how are we here for the fourth week, man?
It was so good on desk. Like round 2, I'm calling to the producer, like, yeah, get Rose low lights of him getting owned on A, and then he goes 0 and 9. I'm just like, every time he's dying, I'm just rubbing my hands together.
Low lights is crazy.
Oh
that
my
is
gosh.
the technical term for it, you know.
Get the low lights ready. This guy is struggling out there.
You are
Minnie's
evil,
just
man.
smiling.
The breach is losing too. Like I'm looking like a fucking genius out here.
The official hate watch is crazy.
I think
insane.
I did some good flame this week. I'll be honest. Like I think there was some decent. We'll keep it going. I think there was.
Okay. I mean,
yeah.
Listen, when you're on a roll, you just keep going with it. You know, you're landing your punches. Interestingly enough, I'm seeing that both these teams still pretty heavy on the Cypher. You think these are these teams that are, or at least FNATIC, I guess in this case, since they won, where you're like, okay, the Cypher's fine, or is that just because it's alpha?
I think going into London, I think there is definitely a narrative that I'm looking at with Americas being the only region to kind of
Right.
embrace that vice, and I'm really interested specifically Americas versus APAC. That like, how does that APAC neon go fast work against Americas, who is purposely trying to counter it? And in EMEA, I just think that we're kind of like in the meta a little bit, but we're not like, we're not
just
quite as
watching from the
advanced on it.
sidelines. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Cypher's good for Boaster specifically because it's we have a lot of low utility comps, and with the camera he's able to do his kind of style and his thing, and I think that it would be harder with device for him to do his thing as easily. There would need to be a lot more
Sure.
theory going into it. But I do ultimately think that the highest ceiling right now is with that vice rather than the Cypher.
Sure. I think I may be a little bit more higher up on the Cypher. I think that some of the styles of play that people are bringing out in EMEA maybe aren't used to defaulting too well with the double duelist, and maybe they play like more ranked where you just take some map control, send it. So I do feel like the trip and camera info is like helping teams. I also think with Haven and Fracture, I'm super on board. Like they played the two maps where the Cypher, in my opinion, is like the best at the moment. I actually don't like. I think at the moment Fracture without the Cypher or without a Killjoy just looks really rough from what I'm watching.
I
Just
just
more so
think-
attack side.
I think the problem is the most teams are not very good.
Yeah,
Like I
I
think
I
I've
agree.
not watched a team when I watch a G2 on Haven with the Vice, I'm on board. When I
Right.
watch any other team play like a V, like if we're watching Vito like with the Martine stuff, like obviously that's not gonna work. Like I can see, so it's like in my head I have a vision for how I would play some of these agents, and I know that I would make it work, and I think that I could convince you maybe, but I would
Sure.
agree that if we're just watching from like co-streamer POV or like Anna's point of view, it's not going so well.
If you were in the team right now, Fracture and Haven.
I mean, I am in the team right now, and but
Sure.
my
yeah.
suggestions for Zeta are going to be different because,
Sure.
I'm not
Sure.
running the show. So
Yeah. Say okay, hypothetical. You're a coach.
Yep.
You're a coach. What Senti are you running on Haven and Fracture? You're telling me Vice on
Vice
both.
probably, yeah.
On both, even Fracture.
On Haven for sure. On Fracture, I would be testing between Vice and maybe Cypher if we really can't make it work.
Sure.
I wouldn't play
Yeah,
Killjoy.
I'd be
Chamber, I
okay
think,
with
is in the
that.
mix still too, but
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, that's always kind of right. It kind of
Okay.
depends on the player as well. So, all right, okay, all right. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, maybe they'll switch it up a little bit as well. But let's move on to another match then. This one was a big one. Eternal Fire eliminating GIANTX from playoffs, not giving them a chance to stick around. Eternal Fire kind of seems to be one of the big headlines from EMEA this stage for sure. Kind of putting up amazing performances and good firefights. What's the takeaway here? Is it just is the EF train going, or is it GX kind of fumbling?
Ooh, I think the
Ooh.
narrative we came into this game was our West Side, GIANTX are doing this thing where like we thought they wouldn't be good on double duelist, and then they start playing double duelist and they're actually really good with it. West Side's for some reason is a Sentinel player doing really good things, and so I think the narrative this week was like if they play double duelist they should be alright, and they were looking alright on split, and then they got to attack side where they just basically don't do very well, and I think that is also the other thing. Is like even though they're playing double duelist, their attack sides have been very weak this stage. I think that some of the ideas were about like I can't remember split specifically, but I know like on Pro, for example, they just don't group up enough. They just kind of walk around the map a little bit too much, and then end up going for like weaker exec like B splits basically, which is not a great strat to finish with in my opinion. So I think in general it was just attack sides were just. It was like we can't attack, and if we don't play double duelist, we're losing. They didn't win a single map playing non-double duelist this stage.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the Waylay as well, I will say on Split, but I pretty much agree with you. Dude, I had a chatter on YouTube that was just like, dude, what do you think about GIANTX is like lacking attack rounds? And I was like, what? I was like, are they really struggling that bad? Like just before the Split game happened, I was like, holy hell, this guy's a genius. Now we need to copy this guy's takes more, man. He's incredible. So yeah, I mean they really did struggle on it.
Just listen to me on the desk, bro. I'm out here trying.
Oh mate, I'm always trying to mute you as much as possible, bro. Yeah, I don't know. It was a mix of both. Eternal Fire, they're one of those teams you don't want to play right now, I'm telling you. Just because I think you're expected to win, but at the same time they do so much, I don't want to say ranked play, but they do so much ranked play. They just have way too much confidence, man. They want to duel you all the time.
How
Like,
do you feel?
they're good at this current meta because you get rewarded for like pushing with bodies and re-clearing with bodies, and they are just waiting to take fights.
So comparing this to how BBL felt at the beginning of the year, like, is that comparable, or is EF looking even like scarier with their own momentum and things like that?
Nah, I don't think it's
No.
comparable.
I think
Okay.
BBL looked stronger. Like going into
Okay.
Santiago,
Yes.
I
yeah,
thought
yeah.
the BBL had a good chance of going deep, and they did pretty well.
Yeah, I
With
mean,
EF, I'm like they're more of a dark horse. Like I think they could still do well, but I don't think
Gotcha.
it's as my expectations are as high. I think I would match what Siggy says. I think that like every single there's not like to me. I guess Favian has been a highlight, but overall,
been
it's just
good.
every single player can play. And I think Favian really helps because he was basically an initiator before, but now is able to flex into that second duelist. I will say that Breeze comp is, yeah, I playing no
Yeah,
servo on Breeze, like
seeing it.
I'm not a fan of, and I think that again we're going into playoffs now. If you're playing like a Team Liquid, FNATIC, Heretics, I would imagine if they watch the VOD, they're going to notice there's a bunch of instances where not having a drone is probably going to punish them.
Did
And
you
they could just play around it.
did you not like any of the Breeze stuff? Because I came out of that being like I looked at it and I was like, Teo, man, really? And then after I was like, Teo,
If they
man,
played
honestly,
Teo
like,
with
I kinda like some of
Sova,
the Teo.
I thought
Yeah,
that
yeah,
like
yeah.
the problem was is that like even I remember the thing in my head was this ult round where they went B with the ult, but then they gave a tiny gap in this back of the site anyway, and I was like, yeah.
But
I don't know.
That's just
Well,
Microsoft
that's,
to clean up, man. You
yeah.
can-
Sure.
But
I would just say with that, like if you swap that Sky for a Sova, I'm like it makes
Sure,
more
sure.
sense
You-
to deal with operators.
okay, I was wondering if you like didn't like the Sky
Hmm.
or whether you didn't like the Teo, because I came out of it being like, man, I kind of like this stuff with the Teo. Like when you let them take a site and then you salvo back a site and then you just spam the line. Like they didn't. I don't think they got any kills with it, but I'm like, oh, it's pretty nice. And then like the stun to take close aim main. I came out of this being like, dude, I like a lot of this Teo stuff they're doing.
I think as a so this is the clip where like there's like
The
that gap at the back of the
Yeah,
site.
this was the second time
Right.
used. They used it before earlier, and they just
Yeah.
stood in the gap. Yeah.
I think to me it's like if this was a map where it was one of their weak maps where they're putting a tail to be like we're a bit crap at this map but we got some cool tech, that would
Sure.
be I would be on board. But the fact that they're kind of picking this map, so to me I hold it to a higher standard than map pool. And if you're playing without a fundamental agent on that map, like I think America's Breeze right now is kind of crap because none of them play Viper, for instance, and I would be like probably shouldn't be picking Breeze if you're not playing Viper. I just have that kind of approach. And again, I've not like dug into the anti-strats and figured out exactly how I would. I just know that if I was going into a game with an anti-strat, I know there's going to be something about the fact they're not playing server that I would be abusing with the operator
Sure.
probably.
Sure, yeah.
I mean,
Okay,
people
that
just
makes
don't take people at the moment don't take any mid control on Breeze. They just sight here, man.
Yeah.
like that is
Yep.
just what we just see
I
side
am-
spams.
I'm waiting for a team to just really rip it apart, but we'll see. All right, well, then let's move on to the last match of the week. Team Liquid versus Gentle Mates. And Team Liquid takes the win. Looking like another...
So I
Ooh.
think what we do for this is I'm gonna do some flaming, and then we do
Okay.
lots of nice things about Team Liquid because every single week apparently we just don't talk about Team Liquid.
Sure.
But I do think there's a good reason we don't. And it's because Team
Okay.
Liquid are pretty decent and they're good. And you know, they're our favorites to maybe get into London, like one of the obvious candidates. But
Sure.
their strength of schedule in the past few weeks has been a bit iffy in terms of like they played Casey, kind of enough said. Team Heretics, who were going through like a weird roster moves thing,
Right.
they
got them
play
at a good
foot
time.
and get kind of owned. And then they
Mhm.
go to Navi, who are going through roster issues. And then they finish with Gentle Mates, who we will now get onto now, and I'll say very mean things about. So I think that overall, like, I do like how Team Liquid are playing, and we can get into some positive stuff in a bit. But yeah, on the Gentle Mates side here, I'm looking forward to broadcast next week because there's some issues with the way they're entering, and I'm not trying to flame Beepo because, like, I know that there's probably, I think there's more than just this individual skill here that is coming into it. But the poor guy is being told, I presume, to entry through Viper Orbs consistently, running through spits, just like dying all the time. And it's like, you can't, like, I don't believe it's just his decision to be doing that over and over again. Like, it seems like there's yeah, let's do it. And then the coaches were like, yeah, we fixed stuff this week, got a new play style. And you ask them what that is, and they're just like, I'm not going to say. And then you watch the game and it's just Beeper just running it down. I'm just like, what am I
I mean,
supposed
they were
to do?
doing
Like,
they were doing something, maybe not necessarily through a Viper, but it sounds very similar to what was happening even at Santiago as well, where he was just kind of being forced to. It felt like he was being forced to run through a gauntlet at
But I
like a
think
very series
it's
of
a-
unfortunate events.
It's a little different when you have like a Yoru that can back it up and you're making space for that. Like
Right.
everyone else's spacing. That's kind of what was impressing me about Heretics, because everyone else's spacing is like a little harder to keep up now in terms of the neon. So you just do have to like think about it more of like, when should I be jiggling? When am I committing? But yeah, dude, I remember this now. You're talking about the amount of times they forced through the Viper smoke at
Yeah, I
middle.
don't-
It's like they waited for it to come up and then they were like, okay, now we go.
like,
Like
for
the
Split,
worst possible times.
I have like 2 pet peeves. Like I would still play, like I would always play Viper and put the orbit middle in this map because of how bad teams are around it. Like how many teams just like throw a Skydog up middle when there's Viper fuel?
it's
They
on,
Viper orb
yeah.
up and it's like, well, you can't go through anymore. And then the new trend seems to be, let's just run through the Viper orb. And you got Nats just sat there like, I'm a pretty good player. I played Viper before. He's just getting 4Ks over and over again. I'm just like, there's not much positive to say about that, and that really needs to be fixed for the next games. And that's before we start talking about this week. They didn't even get to the maps in which my team was on, like Veto, for instance. They had the kind of agents in these maps that I thought that it was, are winnable games for them. So yeah, it's the attack side stuff that I'm really disappointed with.
It is hard to work out like what they're. Like if you look at the last 2 weeks, Mini, they picked Fracture against Heretics, one of like for sure one of the maps you could pick the most holes in, and then Split here as well. Like what is their strong map?
I don't know.
Like I don't think they know either.
And I think that like obviously, a team that we have a bit more high hopes for because they look so good at kickoff, and to me it looked like the coaching staff's doing really well. But I think that now this is the test of the coaching staff. They've hit an actual problem. Like there are really big problems to solve, and I was giving the coaching staff a lot of praise during, their opening kickoff, Santiago or whatever. And I think it's now time to, how good are you basically is the question. Because I don't want to see them fall over at the, because we got those teams in the past like KC, in 2024. Was it KC and who was it that like went to kickoff and then kind of fell off a cliff? I can't remember.
Was it
But
not
I just don't want them to be
Heretics,
that,
I want
Heretics went and they did poorly, but then did well. So yeah,
Later,
maybe it was
yeah.
just the KC. I can't remember.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they have a couple more extra days as well, right? Unfortunately, because they're in the
But
lower bracket. So
lower
That's what I
bracket,
mean.
yeah.
I think they're
Yeah.
just doomed because they're starting in lower bracket.
I think maybe it's an angle where it's like, do your best, but ultimately coming back to stage 2, we need to see a lot of those things fixed.
right. Like you want to see the starting point of that change for stage 2 more than anything, I guess it sounds like, because
Yeah,
the
because
chances
it's gonna
are
be
low.
tough. Like I don't expect them
Yeah.
to go through this bracket like
Yeah.
that.
Okay. All right. Well,
Liquid
we got to talk about
Rise?
Team
Liquid,
Yeah,
yes.
talk about
we
Team
nearly did
Liquid,
it
yes.
We nearly did it again. But I like a lot of they did like a little week where they're experimenting with like slight amount of double initiator. I think that's gone now. I think Camo looks very comfy on Duelist at the moment, the Phoenix especially. So I kind of like it. I think everyone looks comfortable in this team. Mini Boo is one of the better neons. I think he's trying to work on his judge play. I still think it's really lacking, but I see him buying it a little more. But in terms of like spacing, I think he's great, man. But you get the listen-ins as well. It sounds like he's very vocal as well. So I'm high up on Liquid, man. I mean, every time I just think they got great coaching stuff. It makes a lot of sense every time I watch them, and then I can kind of see them experimenting a little bit. Lohan had like an interview where he's saying that they've maybe done more gimmicky things and they're trying to work on more of a baseline fundamental side of things. So, and I think I can kind of see that in some of their games as well. So
Yeah, because it was a
Good
bit more
sense.
gimmicky. Because the way they got to Santiago was basically gimmicking on FNATIC in that final game. I can't remember exactly what they did. I think it was the Neon Waylay last second switch with no practice.
yeah,
And then at Santiago, it was very strange all-in defense rushes that looked a little bit, like one-dimensional. But now it feels a bit more fundamental focused. Like they switched Camo to that Phoenix very early on, and it seems like they had a good read from the start. I think it's just about how high that ceiling really is, because obviously they're a team that, right now the kind of narrative really is that they can go to those global events, but when they get there, it's not going so well. So I expect them to do very well in this playoff bracket. which is again one of the reasons why we kind of just probably skip past them a lot, is because we just expect them to be doing well in the playoffs, and their group stage was not very tested in my opinion. But it's just about how high that ceiling is, and so I think it's going to be down to players like MiniBoo to keep their form when there's a bit more stress on the line, and I think it's down to also how they use Nats, because he was playing Cypher on Lotus, which isn't my favorite, and I talked to him about that on the desk, and I asked him, like, I said I prefer the Vice, and he was like, I prefer the Vice too. And I was like, why are you not playing it then? And he was like, well, you got to ask my coaches about that one. So it's funny that there's like an interesting maybe dynamic going on there where he's being a good boy right now, but we'll see how that goes.
I do. Again, I would use a Vice on Lotus, but I do like his Cypher, man. When I was watching that game as well, the amount of times that he had that deep camera over towards C and he was just popping it at the right time and just seeing multiple people, and then he has that cage like in the middle of the site, normally where you would kind of smoke if you were going to hit, or like the one way, and he was just managing to like rotate in between there. Like I do like his setup.
Yeah, I think it's like, obviously I'm never going to criticize Nats' Cypher. Like it's, if I'm going to put anyone in the world on Cypher, it's going to be him. But when the narrative in the background is we go to global events and we don't get out of groups, I would argue that one of those reasons is going to be that there is a certain amount of skill ceiling in this meta with certain agents that like maybe there's more value, and I could be mean and kind of say that was one of the reasons why maybe.
Sure.
But overall, good team, doing well.
I did want to just add, because you guys talked about it earlier about the Cypher, and like now seeing some people figure out how to use kill trips with Cypher after being changed. I've also noticed that even in Pacific, with more people trying to figure out like, okay, how do I work with this new tripwire and how do I make sure I get kill trips off of it? So I think it could also just be kind of a matter of time where you're still finding maybe very similar value to the past, but I will keep an eye on it. But obviously Vice is kind of on paper just the easier answer. I think that gives you surefire guaranteed floors.
It's like the only util that you have to respect it for sure majority of the time in terms of the forms, and I think just teams are struggling without the Yoru to find and trigger the wall. Basically.
They're not remembering how they used to do it without the Yoru.
The ceiling to the Vice is like, I was gonna do like a segment, like I ended up doing a segment about America's Vice, and I just picked out some decent examples, but like I think there's still layers that can be added to that Vice too. Like if we see some of these Americans teams like adding those, Cypher, people are gonna play it to a higher level because it's agent we played for a long time. With Vice, there's some tech where I feel like, if we get some of these smarter teams kind of playing it a little bit more, I do think the tech by London should be at a place where it's not just, standard wall on choke, easy to bait, standard thorns on choke.
Yeah, exactly.
There was a team, I can't remember what region or what team it was, but some of the stuff they were doing where they would like have the wall behind, and if no one's pushing behind, they would actually save the wall for like site hits.
NRG were doing it on Lotus.
Was it NRG? Yeah.
Again, so you need to be tuning into these segments because I'm trying that, yeah.
Yeah, you're doing them? I might have to turn the volume up for once, yeah. See what you
maybe you'll learn a thing or two, yeah.
We'll test you for this week.
I mean, Vinny, you're doing work out there. We'll try to get more people on board with it. But all right. Well, this week we talked about Team Liquid, so we got that checklist done, and now we've talked about all the matches here at EMEA. So that means we can now look forward to the playoffs. Now, before we are going to do the pick'ems for EMEA here as well, but before we do that, we obviously do have to do quick predictions on the matchups that are set. There's going to be 2, and of course, before we do that, we have to grade everybody on how they did on our favorite match of the week, and it was Heretics versus Foot. I can't believe I'm keeping that up. Oh, and you all got swindled by TMV. Never again.
This one was an easy one. I'll benefit of the doubt for the one before this one. That's criminal from you guys. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Jeez,
I think this was the one that made us look the smartest because we've been guaranteeing a lot recently, and I don't know if you could play with that fire slick.
Oh, you can play with that fire. It's
okay.
Wow.
They give it. It's only fair that we give it back.
That's true.
Are you on America's segment this today?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good luck.
It's gonna be a wild one. Before we get into pick'ems, or excuse me, predictions, I have to do some kooky stuff.
Oh yeah, because we got to bring up.
I have to bring her in and shift you all over. So let me do that.
Ooh.
Hi, Kukuga.
And
then we're pressing
hello.
buttons here.
Oh, you didn't do it, Kurt.
What?
Oh, why?
I had a request.
What was the request?
Something to do with the picture, surely.
A picture? Yeah.
Oh shit, I forgot. Sorry.
It's okay. It's
I don't,
okay.
dude. I got
Hot dog.
food poisoning yesterday. That was a great day.
Oh, did you? I got food poisoning this past week too.
Dude, hell yeah,
That's
we're
crazy.
brothers.
See, that's why you
Yeah,
shouldn't leave your
cross
house.
globe.
We're moving
That is
people
not
over
the
and there's
lesson
Showbro
there.
again.
I haven't had food poisoning for years.
I don't think that's because you didn't leave your house. I think that's because you don't choose to eat
Two of me.
like food, Sliggy.
Oh,
just-
I eat food.
Where's
It's just
No,
I
you
know-
consume nutrients. I know from all I can hear, you don't
Yeah.
consume food.
This is
oh
cool.
man. Oh, this is
Sorry,
cool.
I'm having
Yeah,
trouble. There we go.
This is the people were talking about the twin, and now they
The
got
twin,
it on.
yeah.
Yeah, now they got
Exposed.
the actual footage of it. Cut.
Okay.
You ruined the illusion.
Everything is sorted, and we can do
Sliggy
this.
17.
It took way too long.
Sliggy 17. All good, all good. All right, so now that we've got Kakuka here in spirit, we can go to our predictions. But before we do that, we got to decide which one's going to be EMEA Match of the Week,
Oh,
so the
yeah,
community
you're
can
right.
vote. Yeah,
Which one?
we
Match
got
of the week for these.
Eternal
Minnie's
Fire,
in the broadcast.
Heretics,
He
or
must
Team
know.
Liquid
Ooh.
Vitality.
yeah. Mini, where are we drawing the viewers' attention?
I must
to?
know what the match is. As if like there's a right answer.
Yeah, there
is
is
it
a
just
right
between
answer.
EF, TH, Liquid Vitality?
Yeah,
Yes, just those two.
Oh, they're
which,
bangers.
which is the hardest to predict.
That
I
is
wish
the
they
tough.
should go
hardest to
for.
predict. Oh, we get to the coin.
Oh, what? No,
Dude, it's
we
not
can't
quite
get
fair.
to the
So there's
coin.
gonna be too many.
Surely
coin
this is
flips today.
Heretics Eternal Fire.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Well,
That's the
it's
hardest to
2 to
predict,
1
right?
then. Yeah.
Hardest to predict. I think so. I think we would always like. I think that Liquid's gonna be the one that people are gonna think, but there's just that
Yeah.
weird.
Sure.
Fucking is Chronicle and Derka like.
No,
yeah, let's
sure,
give it.
sure.
Let's
I
give
think
it to
that's
Eternal
fair.
Fire Heretics.
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause
Yeah,
the
I
results,
think narrative-wise,
But it's
that's
like
tougher.
the big Liquid Vitality. Those are big. You know, what I mean,
That
there's
is
a bit
big,
of gravitas behind
Wait,
that.
engagement? Should we go for
Yeah, that's
that?
true.
Yeah.
That's
Go on,
You know
true.
what?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we'll
All right,
switch it.
let's get the
Engagement
clicks.
farming.
All right.
Match
Man,
of
we're
the week
really
for
keeping up with the
Americas
generation.
is Sentinels.
Yeah, we do GE. I mean, we've done GE so much for Pacific this stage, we might as well be intentionally engagement baiting. All right, so we're going to go first with the match that is not the match of the week. This is the boring match of the week. It's going to be Eternal Fire versus Team Heretics. All right. Yeah. Well, for
Three
the
believers.
listeners, yeah, we got 3 of the Heretics believers continuing on. They've already seen the sun come up. And here I am in my Eternal Fire cave. I've been living under a rock.
Pure
and
darkness.
I don't know what's going on. Obviously, I didn't watch the matches this week, but for me, I've just been kind of on the Eternal Fire hype train. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hype them up.
It's not bad. I'm glad. Honestly, I'm glad that you didn't, because it's not a.
I think we are in the minority.
Yes,
Like,
I
we're-
agree as well.
You
Doing
think
that
so?
Heretics kind of belief thing that we love to
Yeah,
do every
think so.
single
Yeah,
year.
where's Josh?
And then the Reddit comments when they lose will be just like these fucking EMEA fraud analysts who don't know anything. Like it's the same every time.
It's
This is
true,
the
it'll be
last
that.
time I'm having faith. Like I refuse to be. I can't trust them anymore.
But what if they do well here and then they disappoint you later?
Then that's
in their
2
year? Would you-
years more of my trust.
It extends it. It's the
Extends.
contract game. It's the
That's good.
contract game where they
Yeah.
just extend the contract. That's crazy. Well, all
I do
right.
think this is a hard one to call though. Like it is. I think because we're a little biased because I think we're pretty caught up on getting on board of Heretics early because we saw some good stuff like 2 weeks ago.
That's a banger
So-
game.
This is a banger game, yeah, because the Eternal Fire could just come out.
Like
here
this
and
one, like
just pop
I'm
everyone.
gonna defend the EMEA a little bit. Like this is a good game of Valorant. Like this is gonna be fun.
This-
Like it won't
yeah.
be like it's not gonna be like top 4 at global event yet, but like it's I watched some again. I watched some crap this week. You guys can't. If there was a bad play with a team that's outside EMEA, you guys are like, oh hey, and then like if it's in EMEA, it's like, haha, EMEA is awful by the way, and it's just like, wait, one sec.
I mean, dude, I've been. It's honestly, it's a bit my fault as well. I've definitely been.
No, I think that I didn't help
Slamming on
either,
EMEA.
but I didn't think that I didn't think
Nobody
it would.
was standing up for EMEA ever. That's the problem.
I
Yeah,
didn't think
they
it would
look-
affect
they
the
look
community
shit,
as much
Trevor.
as this. We went too British with it is the problem.
Yeah,
And
people
then the
don't get it.
non-Brits didn't understand that we were just being British the whole time.
It took me 2 years
Ah.
of being around you guys to like understand. Kakuka says, "Vamos Heretics," and that's all she has to say. Thanks for that.
That was a good impersonation.
Yeah,
Tune in for the deaths for more of me and Kakuka this week.
Yeah, I'll make sure I turn you up just a little extra.
All right. Well, there you go. We got Heretics here as a collective then. And now we can talk about the match of the week. Oh, match of the week. And it's going to be Team Liquid versus Vitality.
Oh, boy.
I mean,
I was
but
maybe
can
gonna.
you-
I think sometimes I'm like, do I do it because
Do you play the
it's
game?
fun? And like I have been putting pressure on Vitality every week, and this would be the moment to do it again.
Say they're still expected to
but
win.
I'm like
this.
the fans hate me for like all the Liquid stuff. Like I
What do you
feel
mean
like
all
I'm
the Liquid
biased
stuff?
against Liquid. Like I feel like I do have a bias against Liquid,
Why?
and ultimately they are a good team. Like I know they're a good team.
Oh, but
It's
you're too
just
hard on
that
them.
You
I'm
just know
annoyed
'cause they
They get
can't
to
win.
global events, and then it's just like whatever, you know.
But they,
Alright.
I think when they get to
They do look
global
better, though.
events, it's normally they just scraped it because of like
Mm.
changes or like they said, gimmicky stuff. This would be the first time where I'm not saying they would win, but they would be expected to go further, and I wouldn't have any like bail to shoot them essentially. Like it would be like, yeah, now it is actually a bit of a concern because they've been together for long enough that they should be getting better results.
I was
at
talking to
internationals.
I was talking to Nats. He like joined us on the desk a little bit. He does just have this like aura of like he's someone that I know would be good to work with. You know, like he's got that vibe. I know it's a bit of a tangent, but he's just very like perceptive.
Yeah,
I
he,
think
no,
is the
he,
word.
he is
You're
good,
sounding
man.
like
Yeah.
Like I've done content in the facility, and like you talk to him, it's like he's good, man. And especially when you just see like his work ethic of just like it's the morning now, I stream for 3 hours, and then I go into this, like, and then I'm doing
that's
prac,
crazy.
and like he's very routine.
She's not here, but Kakuka's favorite streamer is Nats, I believe.
Oh really?
She said
Oh,
every
well,
morning,
there you
like
go.
she gets her coffee, and Nats is there, being nice and calm and quiet, just like owning some Valorant, and that was her like morning
Oh.
routine was just
Yeah,
watching
it's a
Nats
nice
fry.
vibe. Right, he's one of the
Yeah.
best Phantom. Dude, I've been saying this week, man, I want some people to commit more with the Phantom crouch breaks. When I watch Nats, man, he commits and sprays with the Phantom every single time, and it's so nice. He's so good at it. He makes it look way too easy.
I was gonna ask, because EMEA is also gonna have Ascent, right, for playoffs?
Yes.
Yeah,
As
so
far as
does that
I'm
change
aware, is everyone has Ascent.
Should have it by playoffs, right?
Mhm.
So does that change anything here?
Yeah, I think that Liquid were good at Ascent, and I think that Nats is an Ascent beast, and so I do think it probably. I don't know. Is Bind a good map for either? Is the problem? Like I'm gonna have to do
it's
that.
definitely a good map for Liquid. Like,
Yeah,
it's
okay.
one of
for
their
Liquid,
favorites.
surely.
Yeah,
And I think
Yeah.
Vitality don't like it, right?
yeah. I think it might actually be on Vitality side than having a different map. Dude, actually, Vitality might be able to pick that. It might be a pretty good pick for them if they could focus on something new.
But I
For
do
the
think that
Ascent,
Team
yeah.
Liquid got too much of history on Ascent. Like I just know that every time we play Liquid, it's just like Nats' Ascent is just annoying. Like don't want to deal with it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But-
All right. Well,
Yeah.
we guaranteed it. No backing away from it. Team Liquid guaranteed. So that should be an easy one for Match of the Week. So make sure you go to the community tab and all just follow along like lemmings as we watch this banger of a match. This one should be a banger too, for sure, right? Like both
This
these
should be
opening
good.
matches seem exciting. Yeah.
Vitality could definitely have a big turnaround.
All right. Well, there we go. Those are the ones that we can do immediate predictions on. But of course, we have to do a little quick round of pick'ems. And unfortunately, we couldn't read all the way through the bracket with Kakuka, so we won't be able to get her thoughts on this. But we'll be doing it with the three of us, and we'll see how or who we send to Masters London. So we had Heretics and Liquid moving on from the first round. That means going down to the low. Should we do lower round first? Upper semis?
Do upper and then we'll go to lower.
Okay, yeah, let's send two teams to London first. What Heretics? They're
So
back.
I'm saying Heretics here. But
I would say Heretics. I'm on the train.
Wow, okay. Heretics. Well, it's two, no matter what. I guess I probably would have voted Foot, but I guess I just hate the sun. So, all right, FNATIC.
I would say FNATIC.
I mean,
yeah.
this has to be FNATIC, right? Even if Team Liquid is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all in agreement.
It's
All right.
close. I think it's close.
He's a little quiet, yeah.
I go FNATIC.
Yeah.
I think
But
it's
you don't
close.
think it's as you don't think it's as
It's not like
easy.
a
Okay.
guarantee. It's definitely not guaranteed, you know.
All right. So FNATIC and Heretics going to Masters London. Now in the lower round. Ooh.
That's a banger.
Eternal Fire versus
I think
BBL.
Eternal Fire wins.
Oh, I
that.
do too, but that's
I
the
mean,
rematch.
me too. But
That'll be the
Yeah.
rematch.
Dude, it's all three of us. We gotta do it.
Yeah, it is
Dude,
all three of us. But
I
sure.
can't pick BBL with how they
I-
look right now.
I'm
I'd
telling
be
you
mad
that
to.
I think that game in the first time around was what crushed BBL's soul. Like Eternal Fire
Yeah.
were laughing so hard that like we could hear them, and like BBL was just silence. It was just
They were-
you could see in real
Oh.
time BBL's just heart just breaking.
They were
Oh.
bringing that new thing where literally they point and laugh at you, and it, it must just be
Dude.
devastating, man.
Dude, that's
Imagine looking
brutal.
up and they're just pointing, laughing at you. Like normally it's someone celebrating or like, just
Yeah.
or like they're giving it a little bit, but they're actually just pointing and laughing. You're like, Jesus, that is a
That's-
demoralizer.
That's brutal. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would feel bad for BBL if this is how they do get knocked out, like having to play them again and still not being able to figure it out in time.
I think
Like,
it
that would
might
be
help
rough.
them though. I think going out early here and being able to like focus on stage 2 might just actually save them for like
Sure.
a champs
Sure. Okay.
ish, or
All
at least
right,
get into
well.
champs. Let's say.
Yeah, like trying to bring it back. Okay. Well, EF it is. All three of us choosing Eternal Fire against BBL. On the other side of the lower bracket, if we can take a look at the bracket again, we had, who was it? Oh, you were rigging the bracket, Kurt.
Jesus
Caught
Christ.
red-handed.
It's changing it up.
I got Vitality here.
I gotta go Vitality here. I can't go
Vitality,
Gentleman's
right?
after what I've seen. Yeah.
That would be
Okay.
both the BBL mates, the Santiago teams straight, you know.
Yeah, straight down.
They definitely could
Ooh,
bounce back
yeah.
if this happens though.
Sure.
Yeah, right. So,
And then
okay.
Liquid Eternal
Liquid.
Fire.
Liquid.
Oh, I
Oh,
mean- This is close.
Ooh, close. Okay.
I would say Liquid, personally.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm gonna ride the EF train since I've already boarded it, but
Yeah,
That's
I
one
go
one.
Team
Mini
Liquid.
would be nice.
I go Team
liquid. Yeah. All right.
Are we going
Team Liquid.
anti-Turkey?
No, because
I know we
Foot
can't
should
do
beat Vitality from what we've seen.
Oh, okay. From what we've seen.
From what we've seen, yeah. I mean, what else we
But
meant
what
to
about
go
the
off
things
of?
we haven't seen?
Yeah, just
What we hope and dream.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I'll be honest, like if we send 3 teams to London, well, we're going to send 3 teams to London, but like if Vitality was that 3rd seed going to London, I'd be kind of happy about it. Because the ceiling on
will
that team is
they?
still ludicrous.
sure,
I mean, I don't,
the ceiling's
for it.
high, and it would be a cool story, and they'd have a lot of momentum, so you would feel good about them.
Yeah.
And obviously, if they're qualifying, they would have had to have shown something a lot better.
yeah.
So I agree, but I just don't think they're going to do it.
So Foot it is.
I'll go
then.
Foot.
All right. Team Liquid
Yeah.
and Foot. Oh man. Ooh, so who's actually going? Team Liquid or Foot? That's ooh.
Ew, this one's hard, man. I'm gonna let you guys. I'm gonna let you guys
tough.
first. 'Cause I don't wanna go first,
Oh.
yeah.
I mean I know my choice, so I guess I'll go. I'm gonna go with Team Liquid here.
Sure.
So Minnie.
I'm going to put on Siggy then, Foot.
That's so messed up now,
Ooh.
dude. Why would you even do that?
So Sliggy, how much do we believe?
Jeez,
I'm
you're
not-
good in
I'm
the
not too
background.
sure. on this.
Dying in the background.
Let's I should have gone second. I fucked it.
Yeah, you
Um,
did. Yeah, screw it. There's no Kakuka here to
Sure.
bail you out.
Let's go. Let's go with. Honestly, okay. I'm gonna.
I think she would go Foot.
Can I
if
be
I-
a coin? Can I change
be a
myself
coin?
into a coin? Is that a thing?
I want to see you do flips right. If you do flips right now, you could be a coin.
Yeah, to stop flipping
Head
around.
says you landed your head on the floor.
Just go for a backflip, see what happens. Get me out of this situation. Because I do think if because Foot are pretty good at this. Yeah, Cup, turn into the coin.
All right, the Sliggy coin. This is the slug coin right here.
Okay. Sure.
But
It almost just went in the
Okay.
middle. It didn't
No,
start.
yeah,
did.
dude, imagine it. And then you're forced to pick.
all right, well, Foot going to
alright.
Masters London. All right. I mean, yeah, that's a tough one. All right, going back to the upper final, then let's see who's going to the grand finals.
I
Heretics,
say
Fnatic.
Fnatic.
I'll go Fnatic.
Fnatic.
If we
Yeah,
put
same.
Heretics there, I think we get.
I think if Heretics
crucified.
make it, it'll be they get 3rd place. It'll be one of those where like they're so happy that they made it, they'll take the foot off the pedal and they'll just like fizzle out a little.
The foot off
Okay.
the pedal, nice.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah,
And that's why
okay.
foot will beat them here.
Foot will beat Heretics. Yeah, you on board, Minnie?
Yep.
Okay, Foot going up to the grand final, and then
But
I
that
assume
feeling
then-
of like when you qualified, oh, it's the best feeling ever. Like, you don't give an
Yeah.
actual fuck about those next games. You're just like,
oh.
oh, it feels good, man. Not gonna get flamed for another 3 months.
That's true. Yeah, it extends the lifetime quite a bit. And then I assume for grand finals, then we're just giving it to FNATIC at that point.
Yeah, I would give it to
Over
FNATIC.
Foot, especially with double map ban, et cetera, et cetera. All right.
Yeah.
So FNATIC takes the.
There's definitely gonna be something weird that happens though. It's definitely
Oh,
not
for
gonna
sure.
Oh, no, yeah.
For sure, for sure. It won't.
I mean,
it
even
never
this
goes like we
isn't-
say.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it's kind of straightforward. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll find out. There you go. There's Plat Chat's Pick'ems. Make sure you screenshot it so you can flame it whenever you need your little weekly flaming.
I
You
will
were
say
gonna
that
say,
Mitch Man called Foot top 3 start of stage, so shout out to
Oh,
Mitch
really?
for being a Foot fan, we like to say.
Nice. The sub pickup is just so big, man.
Yeah. Yeah, Foot's been looking good. Cool. All right. Well, that's it for EMEA. Don't forget to vote on the match of the week. Make sure you get your votes in, and then we'll see how the playoffs kick off. And I think that's it for all of us. Well, no, Sliggy's staying.
Sliggy's
I'm
staying.
saying, yeah.
I
He's
watched all
trying
of
to-
Americas, by the way, for no reason. I was staying up till 4 a.m. watching
Oh, really?
a lot of crap Valorant.
Wow.
So I hope
you want to take my spot?
Not really, no. But if I would happily during the C9 game, because it wasn't just him whiffing the ISO ults, but like the actual ults themselves. were
Holy.
so-
There was one that
Oh.
was okay because they could trade it out in the 2v4.
Mini,
Yeah.
But
If you want to
Dice
message
Wars
me,
were-
we can have you come in for a quick take if you're watching.
No, you don't need me for that take. I
Okay.
think there's enough. I'll be honest, that there's a Reddit comment that I can't really show or reference too hard, but I was dying with laughter for 30 minutes just looking at it over and over again. I would like
The most
go
vague
back
thing
to
I've
it.
Ever heard.
What's sorry?
Oh, my
It's the most vague thing I've ever heard. Go
You
on.
go to the match thread and you go to that top comment. Don't show it on Plat Chat, but it's a good
I mean,
one.
he's
Oh
going
my
to show it
God.
now. You've done that.
Yeah, now he's just going to open it up.
Josh
Take
wouldn't
the-
show it
take
on
the
stream,
dive.
so I presume it's not Plat Chat friendly.
Oh, okay. All right.
Holy, okay.
But it's a banger.
Well, time to go to Reddit and check it out. All right. Well, thank you so much, Minnie, for joining us. Thank you so much, myself, for joining us as well. And we'll be leaving you, Sliggy, to
and Kukuka
have fun.
Spirit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And, of course, Kukuka Spirit. Thank you so much. And Sliggy, have fun with Americas.
Thank you so much.
You guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.
You guys. All right, let's get these folks in. People are saying, is Finesse coming on? As far as I know, he might be coming on next week, but he's not coming on right now. You're stuck with us. You're stuck with
Stuck with
Shyo, Sliggy, Mimi, and Athxna. Let me get everybody in here. I guess we'll start with the loudest guy first. Shyo's in. Let's get Mimi. What's up, Shyo?
Hello, Shane.
Dude, I'm chilling. How you guys doing?
Doing good,
Everybody's
mate.
in now.
Shane, you hosting this one?
Yeah, I'm hosting this one.
Oh, shit.
Let's go.
Oh, shit.
I got a lot to say about those ice walls, by the way. We were watching that, me and Josh, and it was the most disgusting thing I've seen in my life.
Yeah, I can shoot him some bail for one, but then there's just four more.
2v5 one man.
The one that you missed?
crazy. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I got
that.
that.
Kill 3.
That's me, dude. I got nothing for that one.
Oh, that's crazy. But
Myrna, is
It
your
wasn't
mic on?
great.
I saw the Reddit comment too. That shit is crazy.
Ah!
Oh,
holy.
Jesus.
All right, I had you boosted because I thought your mic was low, so I think your mic's
I'm
fine now.
so sorry.
Okay, you're good. You're good. You're good. I had you at like 600% gain. Sorry, chat. Mimi is booting up her computer, so we'll just have her live come on when her computer is loaded. Let's do this, team. There she is.
Whoa.
Oh God, I forget about
FNS, what are you doing in my room?
that. Hey
Get
guys.
out of here. You
It's
should be on
me.
next week, man. That's crazy.
Fuck.
Am I FNS or is
That's-
that Stickbug FNS? Sorry, I was trying to figure out what's going
Stickbug?
on.
Stick
wait,
bug.
I'm
Stickbug?
like-
Pokemon.
Pseudo Dude,
Pseudo- man.
I got filled in with the lore on this. The lore's kind of crazy because the head's very similar. The build's very similar, and apparently in Pokemon Crystal, he's like in your way, and you have to sprinkle with some water as well. So it's like it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Is that part similar to Finesse?
Wait,
Being in your way and having to sprinkle water on him?
no, but he doesn't. Historically, he doesn't like water or swimming.
Ah.
You guys don't
very
know the
nice.
deep lore? Come on, guys.
Dude, we have to
No,
have
I
Dan
don't
and
know
we have to have an
Pokemon.
Pool champ?
intervention.
No, nothing.
People need to start drinking more water. Dan
Yeah.
stopped drinking water. I think she started
Dan's
getting
on it
drinks
now.
water.
I heard
That's
that Dan's
about
on
it.
Yeah. who
Dryad's
drinks
like
water?
on water now. She's water gang.
Oh, she's on water? We gotta get Finesse
She's
on
not
water.
on
No,
water
she's
gang.
not on water. I was with her all weekend. She didn't drink a sip of water. What are you
She
talking
drinks it in
about?
private. She's working on it in a public setting, but she's steps. It's a step
Dude,
thing.
there was no diet Mountain Dew, and she literally just didn't drink an ounce of liquid all
That's
weekend.
messed
insane.
up.
That's healthy. That's normal. Mountain Dew's good for you.
What is up, America's Plat chat? I just got back from a trip. I was at the Himalayas. I wanted to go goat watching, but there were no goats on the mountain. All I could see is Sliggy's co-streaming his content on all the tablets, man. It's goated. Sliggy, how are you doing?
Thanks, Captain.
Amazing. Very good. When I was walking down this mountain, there were statues everywhere. Statues of Greek gods, but not that Athena. This Athena with crests of FlyQuest, TSM, CLG, the Moist Moguls. People were worshiping her, not because of her power in-game, but also the knowledge outside the game that you saw on broadcast. Athena, how are you doing?
I'm doing a lot better now. Thank
Let's
you.
go. When I wanted to go on the gondola to get off the mountain, the Riddler was there. He's real. And he time traveled me back in time. He said, you have to identify whether you're in 2023 or 2025. And I said, all I know about these years is that there was a esports winning analyst of the year in these years. And I could differentiate, but it was the same person. It was Mimi. Mimi, how are you doing?
Shio, I'm doing so good. But I have one.
That's what
I have
I'm
one
talking
thing to show you.
Okay.
Oh boy.
It's a hostile takeover. I'm
Whoa.
the host now, ShyoWager.
You're the host.
This analogy can't go on any longer.
Please,
Shio,
that
you know
was
what?
such a good
A
last
punishment
step.
for your analogy. You're gonna tell me everything you like about evil geniuses in their last match.
Oh, dear God.
Oh, no.
I like that DG Zen missed Potter.
Aww.
There was a nice
That was cute.
little interview about that.
That's it.
They had a
Questions,
pretty
Your
cool.
Honor?
They had a pretty cool. You know what Digi's in?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
The play on EG.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's.
Sliggy, you got
Guys.
anything? God, we need some help.
Hold up. Let me look at my notes. Good for EG. Yeah, I got nothing.
Okay. How about NRG now? They needed this win. Had an 0-2 start. They kind of just smoked them here. Are we walking away with any impressions other than that, man, EG is not very good right now?
It's just the EG stuff, man. It's so hard to focus on the good when the bad is so like glaringly obvious. Mate, I complain about EMEA pearls, but dude, this is a mad one. They're just giving them A main control all the time. They focus over towards middle, then have no one on the sides. They don't even create pressure on the sides on attack. I don't know. Mad is just walking up A on Pearl, A main, and just no one challenging him, and he's getting into spawn. It's just like, well, there's no one here, guys. They might be going B. Then no one pressures long B, so they're all going through the small choke. It's man, it's hard to watch EG at the moment. It's they're in a bad spot.
There was one good thing with NRG where I feel like last week this like double 80 comp they have was kind of solved overall, and like people were reacting to it much better, like skipping past the disruptive utility. But this week, like it actually felt like they were better on pace, like especially on defense, at like stopping floods and like isolating things. Like Mata was like going backside B on Pro like all the time and just flooding it out for everybody else to fight with as well, like having the timing. It didn't feel like it was there last week. I'm not sure if it's like fake EG pressure that's like easy to dissect, like knife through butter type beat, but it seemed like they had a better guide of the comp overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe are you
Yeah.
hosting this or am I hosting this?
Please give me
the-
insight
me
on
the-
energy. I don't care about EG at all. There can't
You
be
don't care
too many
about
people
EG?
that do. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
At least not at this
let's
point. They
talk-
haven't won.
It's right here. Let's talk a little bit more about NRG because they have one more match of the season coming up. It's Sentinels after this, and I guess I kind of want to focus what we're talking about with them on what has changed since the first 2 weeks of competition. They obviously lost 2-0 to Crew. They lost 2-0 to FURIA right out of the gate. What do we kind of credit that early underperformances to? And then what do we think we're seeing like change between then and now? Is it just that they're playing weaker opponents, or do you think this is an NRG that is actually hitting closer to that form they had in Santiago in Paris?
I mean, I think the big thing is they're trying to play double duelist now as well. Like,
Yeah.
they're actually giving Kiko a lot more duelist roles on certain maps. So I think that's just a big one that helps. I think they just kind of addressed that they were maybe got away with quite a lot at the beginning of the year, and that they need to. Dude, everyone that goes against the double duelist at the moment is eventually pivoting and kind of just running duelist slowly on more and more maps. So I think that's like the biggest takeaway. I would say like form as well is a big one, especially Ethan's form right now. Ethan's form is incredible.
He's been crazy.
Yeah, he's been so good. So I think that's like a big part of that. And it's just the double pivot of that and the fact that everyone's form is looking a lot better, really. But he's like the main standout to me, Ethan, at the moment. It's crazy how many rounds he's winning. His aim is looking like really on point.
Yeah, he's been so crispy, and I think his util usage it's always been really fucking good. But I think for most recently, what I've noticed, especially against technically these worst teams, is that he's actually been doing such a good job, and NRG as a team as a whole, for doing a lot of those delays with just util without having to force those fights and forcing the other team to push through backside because they literally just can't get spiked down. And I think for me, before, they used to like localize a lot of that util at the beginning of the rounds to take space, but when they're playing these worst teams, they don't really need to take space because they're just getting it for free almost every single time. Like you said earlier, Slee, like Mata just walking up A main. And on their defensive side, like it was just so easy for them to read what EG was doing that they could just leave Kiko on an island essentially, and they had just four players running around together, rotating really quick and being able to fast flood. And I think for them, it just pretty much worked out. Like they had that really cool setup, the trap play towards long B, I think it was, and they just did the Tejo Miles on jump up, the missile, sorry, on jump up. So EG couldn't even take control of long B. They just absolutely demolished it. They got their frags and instantly all of them were just rotating. So I thought that was pretty cool. But I do think it's kind of criminal that Ethan can get away with just being in spawn half the time and just rotating wherever he needed to.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, if we're bringing up positives for energy, I think another thing for me that I liked in this series was the composition they brought into Fracture. I'm pretty against keeping the Waylay on most maps at this point, but I actually think she works really well on Fracture against teams like EG, who you know are going to play Double Initiator, who you know are going to play Breach, because she's just so good at like feigning fights into extremities, baiting out all that utility, because I mean, let's be honest. EG, we're playing like you pulled that VOD up, and you could be thinking, okay, this is 2023 with the composition. It was very similar to the way so many different iterations of the team have wanted to play Fracture. But there were so many rounds where Mata is just like going into A main. They dump like 3 pieces of util on him, and then he's just whatever. I'm gonna refract away. And all the while that's happening, Kiko is just farming orbs like crazy on the attack side. That just wasn't getting contested. I'm interested to see if that Fracture does get more play from them against better teams and how that would go. But I thought it was a good pick into this one.
I think you picked up on a good point there as well. Like the orb stuff, they're very good at snowballing at the moment.
Yeah.
Like we're kind of just talking about like fundamentals where if it's like Valorant based, where they're kind of just focusing on orbs so that the calling's like a little easier. They've been very good at just making sure they have good ult setups or just good ult strats, something that a lot of teams are honestly struggling at a lot. And I think it just having that focus of the Phoenix kind of works for them as well, especially on this map. They min-max very well. They are probably one of the better teams at snowballing. And then I would say listen in, them and G2 are probably the most two impressive teams I have, like from the listen in. It's just very, very clean on the comms.
Yeah,
I also want to
very cool.
mention really quick on the other side of the aisle, EG, now that we've seen them against like so many different teams, the GOATs, the ones that kind of fell off as well, Sentinels kind of rising up, they looked the best during like that FURIA match. I'm wondering, where do you go with EG from here? Like, is it a complete rebuild? Is there anything left in the roster you want to keep? Like, what is the situation, do you guys think? Maybe I'll ask you the question, like, what would you do with EG right now?
I honestly think if I'm the organization, I'm like blowing it up. I think I would probably at this point be considering considering like for the most part, maybe you keep Digis in, but there's probably also a piece you could get that's better. I think it's a matter of like how much they would actually want to invest into a team going ahead to stage 2, and if they can get those pieces. But I'd like to see them taking more risks on just like finding some up and coming talent and putting them in. I actually did like that they brought Bowen this year, but I just feel like he hasn't really been able to find his full potential yet. I think the team needs
You're not
big
keeping
changes.
Supa? He's like one of him and Dijon are like the only two reasons why they win rounds a lot of the time.
Yeah, but I think
His lurk
that
timings are
there
good.
might be something better out there. I mean, Superman is he's the median voter, Myrna. He is there. He's never the reason they lose a game. He's occasionally the reason they win a game. He's consistently good, but he's like, I don't know. He's rarely more. Like he's just solid. He's
You don't like his 3K with Buckies every time they hit a site and he just happens to have a Bucky close by? Mimi.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Sluggy, when it comes to like this final game, if you're like 0-4 in a week, like is it worth it to experiment with some type of change, or is it just kind of like a vacation week, see if there is something to save?
I would experiment if there's just like to be honest, if we're looking at all the setups and stuff, it's like very outdated. I kind of talked about this a lot for last year as well, where it feels like they play a Sentinel does this, a Sentinel goes here, depending, and like you don't change it up depending on the Sentinel. So I would probably let someone in control of all the setups and stuff. So whether that's like moving Potter to assistant coach and putting another coach in, or whether it's like giving Com maybe more say on the actual setups, I think that I would just try that for like a week, and just be like, do these setups, they need modernizing, basically. It feels just like the Initiator does this with the Smokes and the Duelist. The Senti has to play here, but at the moment, I don't think it flies like that. We're in such a different meta to how it's been in the past. So I would for sure experiment. I don't think you need to change people for it, at least for this week.
For stage 2, I think. But
for stage 2, dude, I'm in for it. I think any change would be good at the moment, because I think fundamentally they don't have good understanding of maps. So whether it's Com, whether it's Potter, some kind of change there of who's in charge. That's where I'd be looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just got to change. Something's got to change, basically. And I think because they're spending money on FNS co-streaming, they definitely are trying to prove to Riot that they should be in partnership or franchising or whatever it is for next year.
That's the tech. I was wondering, like, what was the attachment?
You signed the
FNS
biggest
and
streamer 6 months before the decisions get made. It's
yeah,
tech.
it is definitely tech. So I would imagine something changes, and they're like, look at us, we're trying to make improvements. But the improvements, it has to be drastic because they're playing like an outdated team for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I will say
want to talk about. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Oh, you go ahead.
No, I was
I'm gonna go this way. You're gonna go ahead, and I'm gonna go to the left. So what are you gonna say?
I was gonna move on. If you got something about EG, man,
I was gonna move on too, but I have a really cool way to move on. Like that's relevant. You know, so we're talking about mountains before. On top of some mountains, there's volcanoes. There's volcanoes. There was a volcano at the top of NA at the moment in terms of who's first seed in Group Alpha. MIBR, LEVIATAN, MIBR were the ones to skirt ahead. I want to talk about this next matchup. How did things look between these two teams? I think it was a really fun match to watch. A 2-mapper though, wish it went to 3. Thoughts on, I'd say in the beginning, let's switch it up. MIBR, again, Mimi, I'll start with you. The best things from watching, like, you know, these guys embracing the double duelist identity with Zekin.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the best part of it for me is honestly just how many individual moments that we got out of Zekin in this game. I know it's like a very obvious thing to say, but I feel like even when he's on the smokes, he has rounds that he's winning, that he's taking over. But here, it is just so tough to deal with the 1-2 punch. I think especially this Breeze, the amount of space he was creating, the amount of kind of chaos he was creating while still finding individual success and pathing that with Osbots, I think that they had really good coordination when they were going for the dives. They're playing into a meta where it is really chaotic right now on Breeze. Pretty much everyone in Americas is playing some variant of the double smokes with Harbor. And so there's constantly like 8 million different pieces of utility in this site. So if your pathing is double duelists, I think it's really easy to like make a mistake and end up in a weird angle where you can't actually get traded from the other player in. And I felt like for most of this game, both on their retakes on the defense, it looked really good, and later on their attacking side, they were doing a really good job of like staying on the same page when they did go for those kind of dives. And in the rounds where they didn't, I mean, it also frees up Osboss to just be able to play the Osboss style when they're not just going for hard hits, which is great.
I think for me, at first, the week before this, I didn't like the way that MIBR was playing Breeze, and I didn't like the way that they had the duelists fully separated on their defensive side the whole time. But this week, it actually was really good. Like you said, Zekin was taking a lot of those fights and taking a lot of timings in A main, but I actually really liked how they were clearly communicating across the map and choosing times at which to be aggressive. Like they weren't just both like full pushing the whole time. Like Oswas with the op was really good. He was taking elbow when Zekin was just playing a little bit more back, and they'd set up small traps instead of just playing full aggressive into A main. And it actually worked out really well. I really liked it. It was like a really sick ping-ponging thing that they did on defense. I think the first few rounds they were just a little bit slow, but once they got a hang on to it, like it was really nice.
It changed after I think they did a timeout right early because they were essentially just sitting back and just getting wrecked, and they did a timeout, and then every single time they were just like making plans and doing stuff. And I don't know, I've listened to some of the comms. Sometimes it's second, sometimes it will be Verno as well. But like the mid rounding and just making sure that, okay, we lost this or we've been static for too long. Like we got a Sky, you have to prove why you're picking a Sky over Sova. I didn't really see it for like the beginning of the half, and then after that timeout, I was like, okay, this makes a lot of sense, man. We're just everywhere now. Like we're re-clearing info, we're pushing over towards short, we're doubling up. Like the Sky makes sense when you do this stuff. But before, when you watch it and they're just static, it doesn't make any sense. So I felt like the big change for me here, not that I felt it was too much of an issue before, but like the mid-rounding just felt so good, man. Like the mid-rounding and the ideas were just, everyone's on the same page. When this team does something on you and you get kind of exect on, whether you're on attack or defense, and it's just multiple people doing the same thing, the aim is so good that you're best case getting one. So it's really nice to see, man.
I do want to, Shio, turn it back on you now and ask, because for LEVIATAN, pretty much I think I'm not sure if it was a guarantee last week on Plat chat, but the sentiment seemed to be that this was a pretty favorable match for Lev, at least. MIBR was coming off of getting upset by C9. I don't think they played particularly great in that match, and Lev was looking fantastic, undefeated up to that point. What was the biggest thing that you felt like got exposed in the way that Lev has been playing in this match?
I think for Lev is just about consistency and a bit of their like explosiveness. I feel like there's some weeks where like things are very good for them and like the types of scalings they have on sites, like specifically on Breeze, sometimes on B and A, like Spikes and Neon and Blows, Sato have a really good way of hitting a site. But other times, like if MIBR have like a good read on it, if there's like stumbling and stoppage in the way, the adaptation is just not there against some of the better teams. I feel like when they're facing teams that are like below the 50%, like they're supposed to win against, they do a really good job. But against MIBR, when they're not looking as shaky as they were against C9, they kind of just exploited like who's not fire hot on the day. I feel like Neon was a step above everyone in some of these matches, but overall the cohesion sometimes can be gaps in like how these guys find trades or how they scale on a site. They lose numbers, and then there's never like a good pocket strat ready to go to help the team win like a man disadvantage situation. So I feel like a lot of other teams end up in a place where they can kind of climb back from being down. A lot of the times too for these guys, it's like streaks of wins. It never goes back and forth like between rounds. Like they have lots of momentum, a timeout's called, and they really slow down. And the best plays from them come from mostly like people that are either anchored or finding like pockets of their own gameplay to really strive on. It's hard, I think, for the entire team to link together to really play off of each other. I feel like Sen did a really good job of the opposite of that, where like everybody's in a situation where they can thrive. But for Lev, it's like we're really focusing on like Neon or Sato to take over around, Spike to do something amazing. The whole team's not in a situation to really prosper from all of it sometimes, and that's what kind of separates them from MIBR. And it's like 3 or 4 round games at the end of the day, right? Like these 13-10s, it could have gone any way on some of these like 1v2s. That's just what it is, in consistency over time.
Yeah, I think when you look at the Haven, if you give them a pistol, I think it's like maybe at least an overtime on this one. I came out of this not feeling too bad about Lev. I felt like it was maybe one of the first times they had Spike get shut down quite heavily and maybe not get as much space as he normally does. So I don't know if that's like a first time kind of thing. And maybe some of the set strats become like a little readable, or maybe just they had like slight tells into how they like to play with some of these rounds. But I came out of this not feeling bad about Lev, to be honest with you. I actually feel pretty high up on them still. It just felt like MIBR were really clicking after that first timeout on Breeze. Everything just felt so different just from then onwards.
Do you guys think it's like a buff or a nerf for the team to have Neon playing like so many different roles overall? A buff? Because I feel like that's where like
Absolutely.
sometimes like they can get lost in like the process of who needs to be where or how to like really adapt to a round. Like I know he's amazing though, but
I think that's actually a really valid question, because originally when I saw this, I didn't really like the Omen on Breeze, like Sato on the Omen. I thought that I would have much rather seen him on like I would have much better seen an Astra. And I think I was like, well, why don't we just put Sato and Duelist? Like, why are we switching up the roles? But Neon was so fucking good at Jet, and I think that removing it is removing a really big win condition, because this guy's just absolutely insane with the op. Plus, how are you going to incorporate the op into that roster without ruining the roles? You know what I mean? Like, you can't get a chamber on that map. Maybe like you could put him on an Astra and try to get him to op, but it's just not as viable, especially with how good he is and his mobility. Like, so many of these rounds were insane. That knives round that Kurt just showed earlier was also just fucking insane. Like, this guy mechanically just deserves to be able to play whatever he wants. And I think for me, as long as he gets an operator in his hands at some point on the defensive side, I don't think we should worry kind of what role he's playing. I would have much rather seen an Astra, and I don't think Sato would have fit that playstyle. I think the Omen just fits him a lot better, because he's obviously super aggressive and usually the duelist player. So I would have maybe liked to see like Sato on Harbor instead, just like using his wall and then being aggressive backside, kind of like a little Mata thing, or John QT when he just sends
know,
like,
but,
I feel like
like
playing
pushes.
Harbor has less agency than playing the Omen in my opinion. Like, you're
Well,
kind of,
I
like,
would have
waiting
seen. I
for
would have
retake
wanted
and then fighting with a bunch of
an
Utah.
Astra instead, like
Oh, I
Astra
see,
Harbor.
I
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
Okay.
Dude, Astra, Astra's
She's
just
so
hard to
OP.
play. Yeah, no, but it has to take the right pass, and
Yeah.
for sure, it's so hard to just
Yeah.
pick up.
But you have
and-
King on your team, who's so good at Astra. Just
But it's
put
funny. I feel
Sato
like
on Harbor.
every player on this team wants agency and wants to be able to make plays. Like,
that's
there's
what
no one
I'm
on
saying.
this
They're
team
all
that
M1s. It's
Yeah.
4 M1s on the team and King. Like, what are we doing right now?
I'm
It's
looking
wild.
back. Well, no, bro, King is the same guy. Like,
King also, yeah, he's a bit of an M1er. Yeah, makes sense.
he's sacrificing a little bit more for the team, but yeah, I mean, I think all of these guys want to be in positions where they can not have to play something like the Astro. So I kind of get it. I do want to add though, we'll talk about Crew in a little bit, but for both them and for Lev, I think taking losses this week is really big. I would have been super worried about either of these teams that had kind of just found their form in stage 1 for Crew, just shown up to go into playoffs completely undefeated. I think it was the I don't remember. I think it was the Crew coach who said in the post game interview that he thought it was a blessing that they lost the map 1 of their series. And
Yeah.
I agree. I think if you're completely undefeated and you haven't had anyone show you what you need to learn, it can lead to that first loss in playoffs kind of causing younger teams to crumble. So I'm actually happy that both of them lost this week and can kind of reflect on what went wrong and look even stronger for week 5 and then playoffs.
Nah, just never lose.
No.
Just never lose.
Just
bro.
never lose.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
I mean, I guess
think
that
what they
makes
should
sense.
do, like, get a VR headset and just like play the POVs of another team that's lost and embrace the loss like haptically, and like don't actually lose on record. And it's probably a better way to go if you really want to
Yeah.
experience loss.
They're
there's-
like
there's
injecting the
POVs out there.
pheromones of what it feels like to lose into their system to learn from it.
Yeah.
It's not
Like,
about
just
the
put on the
feeling for
EG
me.
goggles for like just watching EG VOD. You'll experience loss and then come back to reality. Don't lose in your games. It's chilling.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, 100 Thieves had to have the goggles on for a long time, but the win over Crew this week, that's a crazy segue.
Yeah.
The win over Crew this week was a big one. This was to me a game that was just so strange because we came in with this like Giga Stomp map 1 for 100 Thieves after I think that this map veto did not go super well for Crew. They've gotten to play the Lotus first map every single time that they've played a match thus far. Finally, someone bans it. And then I would have liked to see them maybe float the Fracture, but with them and their opponents having banned it, I think they felt scared that there was some pocket pick there, felt like they needed to get rid of it. So you end up going into Bind, the historic best map for 100 Thieves, where you haven't even seen them before. You get absolutely smoked. And then, well, they do get that close win on Haven. It was kind of a running out of steam at the end on Split as well that cooked this series.
I came out of this. I don't know if everyone else is on the same page. Maybe not on this, but I still feel pretty fine about Crew with this one. I can understand being a 3-0 team, looking at Bind, knowing it's going out of the map pool in terms of playoffs. You're already secure for playoffs why would you even play bind at this point? Like, sure, you might lose a map to someone else, but when you get to playoffs, you're at least going to get the other 6 maps good. Maybe you are cracking Ascent. I don't know how far ahead you're kind of thinking, but I think that that's a kind of an okay map to lose.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would look at like the Haven, and then I would be like, oh, they definitely got a little outclassed, but it was like a little snowbally with the double pistol as well. So I do think they got a little exploited for sure. They've had a much easier time having the Lotus, and it is like a concern when you don't get to pick the map that you're always winning, and then you have to play these other maps. But in terms of bind, I wouldn't even consider bind. Like, I think it's such an easy brush off for crew because I don't think they were cracking it with how they looked. And also less just, I will say, I got to give props to 100 Thieves, man. They ran my favorite default. There was like a time in bind where everyone was playing no Viper, and then hookah control is like really important. And then you can just insert one over towards hookah. This might even be the round where they insert one over towards back of hookah, then you make pressure over towards B, and you can, or you make pressure over towards long and you get the rotate, and you can just hold this line with the rotate. Les always duels out here. He's always dueling over towards hookah. He never really pops the ball unless like you're trying to XX. So this was like a really cool game plan. Again, I think this is one of the most underrated defaults you can ever do with the insert back of hookah here. This line, it's so easy to hit this shot, whether they're rotating in or rotating out as well. So this works both for if you're pressuring long and if you're pressuring over towards A, because obviously you can take the timing and then take the TP. But they were doing this after the timeout, and oh man, I just love this default. It's one that I've actually been asking for like a year and a half to see this default from teams. So I was just super happy to saw it from 100 Thieves. They look very comfy on this map. But I do think it was just a prep diff. I don't think crew played it much at all.
No, it didn't look like they were particularly practiced on this map. The ladder maps in this series, though, I feel like even though crew ended up losing that split, what I was so impressed by on the Haven was Les. He's been really on point to me with the way he is playing the active weak side. Crew like playing like a ton of 4-1s on both sides of the map because they like being so active on defense and fighting up with that strong side, and because on the attack side they love just kind of clumping with their duelists, taking early space, getting that orb for their Phoenix, that kind of thing. So I feel like it's more than even most other teams where Les is just like constantly alone as the one player on the far side of the map. But I don't think there's anyone that is getting quite as much value as him in that position. He'll be solo anchor against like 2 or 3 players, and he'll consistently be getting 2 kills on that exec, or just living. There was a lot of rounds where he's like solo C on defensive Haven, and he's buying like 15, 20 seconds before people can come in. It was insane to me how much value he was getting. And then you swap to the attack side, and off of any pressure on the map, he's so confident to just realize, hey, this is going to be Cryo alone on this side. I'm just going to fucking swing him, and I know I'm going to win.
Yeah, I feel like it gets exploited a little bit, though, if like teams save more util for like deep backside positions, because he's playing like some of these positions that like is from other teams' protocols might get cleared. Like I feel like NRG do a really good job of like just making sure backsides are covered in terms of C. 100 Thieves like used a lot of util and like, you know, slides or flashes to be able to take front space a lot. Then they like raw peek or aren't really considering what's happening towards the back. I feel like off of VOD review, it's not replicable as much. And I feel like some of the stuff they do on Lotus, like where Les is linked up with like Sadak or like is patient on like these crossfires, is something that's a little bit less exploitable. But some of his ults, yeah, they were really sick. I'm just like wondering if he's going to be able to do it again. Like,
I think his attack side stuff is more consistent. And I mean, he's been playing Haven on the attack side kind of in that similar way for years, of like just being really confident to like take risks where if he dies, it kind of ends up looking like a bad play. But I think he has a really high success rate on that, and I've seen that be more consistent, even if maybe this the pure success he had in this game on defense will be more of a one-off.
This was a bit scrappy from like a team that we've seen so far be like basically perfect in how they take their fights and games, like crew. Like it's even though they've been like closer maps, I feel like on both sides sometimes running into like, you know, or having a 4-man setup and like losing a site, or like just the refighting on refighting as well, like, you know, going for having B tapped down to like repositioning again towards C and things. Like both teams were doing it, like having really good space but then opting for like the best option with like 30 seconds left, which I know is like an option on Haven a lot, but both 100 Thieves and crew were going for it 24/7. I just felt like 100 Thieves either kind of rose to the call, or crew was kind of entranced by the way they were playing, where both were playing pretty similarly, and it was really scrappy between both of them. We haven't really seen that from crew as much. They're kind of very decisive in how they win rounds, no?
Yeah, I can get on board with that. I came away from this just thinking it was like a pretty high level game, to be honest. I
Yeah.
felt like both teams are really good. My main takeaway for 100 Thieves is the coaching staff always seem to have such a good game plan on like one map that they're pretty much good to take like these strong teams to a third map at every time, and then you can kind of squeeze it out as well. So I like watching 100 Thieves at the moment just because it's all like it's such a visibly obvious game plan on attack, and it's always so smart.
Mm-hmm.
I think since kickoff for me, 100 Thieves' game plans in general have been really good, but I really liked like their split, like the first iteration with the Timatino Waylay, where they were like full sending him into mid to like then refract and just completely fake that mid to B stuff. And then to now where they're playing the stage and they're using their delay util like really fucking well. I think Athxna has a really good idea of timings on his walls and his slows and stuff. And I really like that they're actually comboing a lot of util to delay for so fucking long. It just feels like when I'm watching this, there's this, for me, Bind and Split for 100 Thieves are maps that I love to watch from them. The first Bind game that we've seen from them, absolutely phenomenal. I think they did a great job. And then this split just shows when you compare like 100 Thieves with Sen with their play styles on this map, because they have the same comp, it is so insanely different how smart Athxna is with his util versus when you're looking at like John QT, who just tends to just sort of put down his wall at odd times, not necessarily like off contact or anything, and just kind of sits in mid and just holds, versus the fast flood ability that everyone can just do because Athxna is just so fucking good at like delaying the choke points and rotating onto site so quick. They have so much understanding of how to rotate through that mid area, clearing it really quickly first, or just blocking it instantly, being able to fast flood through heaven. I think Timatino also on the race did a phenomenal job. I feel like that might have been one of his best games that I've seen on his raise. His util was just so good, and I think him and Athxna did a good job with just like comboing a lot of the slows and the nades together. My throat is dying.
Listen,
Sorry.
ShyoWager analysis on Split,
Okay.
which is really cool. I've seen teams who are facing like god tier neons spec into this after they win pistol. 5 specters. I think this is like the 3rd time I've seen it on Split, which is really cool. Where like no matter where the neon slides in from anywhere, you can just catch the spray a little bit, slow her down. A lot of teams are also playing like with 2-man setups, and she gets deleted. I think in this game it was like Dante running into B on the anti-eco, and there was a specter to receive him. I'm not sure where else it happened, but I think on APAC and like another America's game and a China game I was watching as well, a lot of teams are just going for 5 specters on the anti-eco, which is really cool because 1 Bucky or like a specter force and like the neon's into you, it's gonna be tough. So
Yeah,
that was
that
cool to
bullet
watch.
tag is so impactful.
Yeah, there was a really cool, you're talking about the Sage stuff, like a Sage boost in A main where like you're able to see over anybody coming into
that was
elbow.
nice.
Oh
was
yeah,
really
the round
cool.
where he TP'd up top. I don't even think he got a pick that round, but then like
He
2 rounds
should've,
later,
though.
he should have.
but
Yeah,
even-
he had 2 opportunities.
Yeah.
But 2
But the
rounds later,
cool
they
thing-
then did a fast A hit where he like boosted the raise to double satchel in to get a much faster timing than you expect from that rocket, and he
Yeah.
did get a pick on the entry. That was really cool.
Even if Omen doesn't get a kill, what they got to do with that is like they 100% knew there were 2 people on site, so they easily moved over to like the other side of the map. And also like in different rounds you can exploit that as well and crunch, knowing that like nobody's going to be in a specific spot. So it's like really sick, just having that option. Even if you get a kill, if you don't, it's really cool from the Thieves
Yeah,
boys.
I thought they were just going to take heaven with that, right? When they saw 2 on site, but then I think they went back mid. But yeah, I mean, again, it's just the coaching stuff, man. Pistol into good idea on the bonus. They,
Pistol was crazy though. Their attack pistol, like
dude.
I think it was what they jumped in the spawn.
It was
and
so
there
nice.
cool-
The two person fake with the timing over towards heaven, where they got a 3-person window in 5 seconds.
Yeah,
I managed to walk 3 past and then got into spawn and started walling. Dude, it was so sick.
that was
Yeah.
such a crazy round too, because it so nearly went wrong where they ended up like walled off from the spike. But even those last 2 players made such a good decision in the way that they pathed together to fight and recover that round. I think that previous 100 Thieves, I feel like the thing we would often criticize them for was like, man, these set ideas, this prep is so good, but when like shit hits the fan, they kind of fumble in the chaotic rounds. And I feel like this 100 Thieves, especially on Split, did a really good job of like a plan has failed. We're in like a 2-on-3 retake or like a kind of strange position in the late rounds of just being really quick to react with that plan and come up together. Here's that round we're talking about. And this is definitely one where they had to kind of pivot a little in it after they catch just crazy timing.
Dude, it's so good. The fake over towards B, they saw they over rotate and they want to fight decks. They want to get the Viper Molly in. So then they take the timing over towards spawner. They just got manic when they ward themselves in. It was so cool.
Then MW casually wins the 1-on-2 as this fight is happening on the other side of the map.
Some BBL Abyss type shit. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They got some cool ideas. I mean, dude, in terms of, because we've got a shit format at the moment, but make it like this win really makes sure that week 5 is like super interesting.
Yeah.
So
let me ask this question then. I want all of you guys to say yes or no when I say go. 100 Thieves, top 4 team, if they play like this series every single time. 3, 2, 1.
No.
No.
You waited for everyone else's response.
No, I was thinking. I was looking at the list of teams, brother. I just landed from a red-eye flight. I can't think in 3 seconds.
That's on me.
And my answer is no.
Okay.
I think that because if your question is if they're playing like this series, I'm kind of then rating that as like if every team is like playing at like not necessarily like 100% their peak, but close to it. I still think the like heights I've seen from teams like Crew, like Lev are up there. NRG as well, MIBR. Like I think those are the names I'm looking at. I feel like 100 Thieves and G2 I feel kind of similar about right now, where like I'm seeing some really good stuff from them. They're still kind of in like the middle section of their groups, but if they can hit that peak for G2, the form that we know they can return to for 100 Thieves, the kind of stuff we were seeing this game, especially on like map 1, map 3 this series, then I think that yeah, they could definitely be in the running for it. But I don't feel confident saying yes.
The horrible reality for them is even if they do get to playoffs, they lose bind, and I think they have only looked good in 3 maps in my opinion. Pearl, bind, split. I think they're the 3 maps that I've liked from them. So you take away one of them, you got 2 maps. You gotta show me something else. So I think when they get to playoffs, they're
Don't worry, they're gonna have some freak shit ready on Ascent.
Yeah,
I do think it's gonna be like kind of viable though because of Athxna and the double duelist like enabling. Like I think his Neon was really good when he did play it. I actually think he had it was Pearl, right, where he was playing the double duelist. I think he did a really good job on being really quick and Timotino just kind of following up and just being able to play together. And I think that they do have the ability to work up to having a bigger map pool, and they have the flexibility, of course, to have all these different rules. But for me, I just wonder like how long it's going to take, because obviously they've had half a year now, and 3 maps is probably not the most that they could have done.
Timotino was a god on Ascent though, no? Like when they were on Ascension and TSM, I know they got dumpstered by
these guys will run a Sage on Abyss, a Sage on Ascent for sure.
Oh my god, you think so?
Yeah, MBS loves Sage, and the only person that loves Sage on Abyss more is Doom Bros. It's both of the coaches have just like historically loved Sage on this map, so they for sure play it.
The Sage
Seven was running
real.
it with the last core, but yeah, I think Athxna can easily hop on it.
Yeah. I mean, the next game that 100 Thieves play kind of becomes big for them. They play against FURIA. They lose that. They're at 2-3, and then things get kind of weird in this group. But if they can win that, and the rest of the games go to expectation, then that's looking like 100 Thieves going into playoffs pretty comfortably. We should talk about FURIA's last game though, because they were coming off this big loss to Crew after getting kind of destroyed on their Lotus, not being able to come back on that Haven. Game against Sentinels, they also drop a map here on Breeze, but close out the rest of the series really dominantly. With that blip in mind of them having a 10-2 defense half on the Breeze here, how are we feeling about FURIA stocks right now? They obviously were the #1 seed coming out of kickoff. Are they living up to that expectations of looking like a beast going into playoffs, or do we still think they're more towards kind of the middle here?
I can go towards the top more. I feel like the maps that they lose, I normally feel it's like the other team doing good stuff. Like the first time they came against this was the ISO on Breeze, right, where they essentially just spammed sites. Yeah, it's just like the first time they come up against it. It's just something so new that they're not used to it. So I don't know, every time I watch FURIA when they lose, I still don't feel that bad about them. I feel like FURIA, Crew, and Lev, I actually, even with their losses, I still actually feel right about them. So, I don't know, man. They look good still. I think their comms are nice. Their comms when you listen in, it's not like hectic. It's not maybe G2 or NRG standard, but it's so calm. It's so nice to listen to.
Yeah, EU's voice is really nice. Like I'm every time I hear EU's comm, not really nice.
Never
Every
like
time I,
vocal,
dude,
His
Yes.
communications are excellent.
his
would be a way to say it.
communications are wonderful, and every time I hear their comms, I'm always pleasantly surprised of how much he's calming with so little words as well. Like he's not flooding at all. He's like, and he's just so calm every single time. You can tell he kind of brings that to the team too.
He's such a great player, man.
Yeah.
He really is. I really like this team. I really do. Like at the beginning, like when they had the insane run at kickoff, I wasn't fully on board, but the more I watch them and the more I kind of see them, I actually think that this meta maybe suits them a little more as well, with Alan being able to go on the Neon. He's a really good Neon. Yeah, man, I do like this team a lot. I feel like if you ask me, is this a top 4 team, I'm more likely to say yeah, for sure. Like probably around the 4th slot, it would be roughly where I put them. Like third, fourth.
I think Nerve and Alum stood out the most to me in these matches. Nerve was like getting like the extra and one so many different times where he shouldn't have, and then Alum's just doing some cheat code stuff. There was that one round on, I think it was the comms round on Haven, where like he's inside like playing within the Killjoy ult. Like I think it might have been theirs too, but getting like picks on all sides. They also like antied the KJ ult a couple of times too with some spam, which was really cool. So like the whole team is looking lit. Yeah. But Sentinels, on the other hand, would we say they're a top 4 team potentially?
No, they
No.
They need more.
No.
This breeze was cool though. Do you know why this
Breeze
breeze
was
was cool? Because we had the side by side of Kaplan, his approach to Breeze at the beginning of the year being like a methodical mid take, where they had like Skydog over towards mid every single time. They're like, we have to take mid control. And then we got new coach Fury, which is just like, fuck mid. We just rush sites every single time. We didn't even see mid once. It was such a cool like side by side comparison of just like such a different style with Ewalker's coach. So I just think they need a little bit of time. I'm not like down on Send That More. It's just the fact I feel like other teams look a little better in the meta and they have had more time.
Yeah, when they have their strats like on around, they look so cool. Like you were mentioning the breeze stuff from mid doors, they had like a retake where like Furia play in a way where they love to take past pyramids and play right outside yellow. Sen play like in this bunkered way of taking the site. They understand the difference for Furia though. I think it was like 11-6. They throw like a harbor wall on one of the sides to block it off, and then ult on the other side completely. So they have a guaranteed like retake. It's really cool.
Token on A from door.
A from door, yeah. Like it was really nice to like slice the cake to just have like one side to be able to deal with, and everybody else is like, it's not your birthday on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, no, it was so. Apparently, there's a tier 2 Brazilian team that like did it first time, like when they were playing Harbor, and apparently everyone just like copied it from them. It's so nice. You get like the whole site, and then you can slowly take the space as the ult goes in. Yeah, I remember watching this round, being like, damn, that's so nice.
I was watching like some Uncharted playthroughs, and there was like this mission where like you're climbing a clock tower. And like the whole point of it, like you have to just take one gear down, the whole clock fell. And while I was watching this game, like it seemed like for Sentinels, when the machine is active, like when every person has their spot and it hasn't.
Sorry, I just needed a drink.
When the machine is going, like when these guys like have scaled onto a site, lost the people they're supposed to lose, it's like impenetrable. But Kurt just showed around where like Alam's sliding over the side, beaming people with overdrive. When like an extraordinary thing happens and they lose a player, the whole clock stops working. They can't tell the time, and like it's tough for them on a site when they go up against some crazy explosive aggression. So I think that's the one thing they have to work on, is like when people really have a drop on them and cheat away, like past the wall, get a smoke spam or something, how do they adapt? Because when that stuff doesn't happen, it's like really good. But
you lost me so much that you could have said anything after that's what they need to work on. It would have been like, yeah, sure.
It makes sense, right? If a clock misses one gear, the whole thing does not tell time.
Sure. Sure.
Like in
yeah.
a mission of Uncharted where you're climbing a clock tower and the gears are falling and stuff. Yeah.
Wait, can you explain that to me one more time? What
No,
was the mission?
please.
No,
I
please
think I
don't.
said it twice. Mimi's gonna kill me. I feel like Mimi's
Please
been
don't.
sent here from like the analogy overlords to like make sure I don't get out of control.
Yeah,
It's
I work
crazy.
in big analogy, and I'm here to shut you down from
I'm
what's
not even
happening
going
here.
crazy with it. Like I had an intro and like I'm talking about clock towers. It's not that complicated.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, nothing makes me think clock towers like sun. The interesting thing now is that with the way the rest of this group goes, there is a chance that the fourth slot for playoffs is going to just be decided by that Sen versus 100 Thieves game that they already got. Because Sen is going into playing against Energy, a match that they're not, I don't think, really favored to be able to win there. I mean, maybe there's a chance
Are
to
you
be
sure
upset,
about
but I
that?
wouldn't expect it. We'll
Are
talk
you
about
sure
that.
about that?
We'll talk about that in more depth. And for 100 Thieves, they're going against FURIA, and to me, that feels like a pretty close game. And if they were to end up losing to FURIA, then this just goes down. If they end up beating FURIA, then that would just go to the head-to-head, and that's Sen missing out here. But there's also that chance if 100 Thieves then lose the FURIA game, where Sen is actually making it, and they have this chance to have kind of completely turned around their season. So I think this week 5 for at least this group Omega is going to end up being really, really interesting, because so much is still up in the air for how playoffs is going to go.
Yeah, it turned out pretty good for week 5.
A team that we're so excited to talk about, though, is Loud, guys, because they actually got a win over Cloud9. This was another just ridiculous series. They win 13-1 on Lotus. Loud, I mean, the coughing baby gets incinerated in this game, and then Cloud9 turn around, win split, go 13-11 to then lose on Breeze to their rookie player not being able to close out after they lose kind of 2 1v2 rounds back to back at the very end of the game. What the fuck happened this game? I casted it and like
No, I literally
what the
blacked
fuck
out.
happened this game.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot C9.
God help me.
A small amount of bail, at least for the first map, because I felt like they had never practiced with Jack, and I feel like when you have a limited amount of time, you have to spend, like, say you have 4 days, you're gonna spend like 2 days maybe on like your map that you know is gonna be able to be a map pick, and
I
then
asked them
maybe the
going
other
in-
2 days, roughly you split it up. You try.
They
Get, like,
said
3
they had been
other maps.
practicing since Tuesday, so they had a total of like 5 days to practice with the team. So not
yeah,
not
that's
a
a
ton,
decision
not a
they
ton.
made. That's a decision they made. I can't.
Well, but is it? But Penny said he's leaving.
Make him stay, play the game.
Make
Give
him
money.
stay. Just chain him down. Come on, mate. Get in there. You beat MIBR. You know we signed all those other contracts, but
No,
on.
you're not wrong. But it's like it's so like there's always an excuse, man. There's always an excuse with this team. Something's happening. Like even when they admit loss, it's like because of this. I'm just tired of watching this team lose. Like that's all it is. Like I don't know. I want more from C9, like, or at least lose with some grace, because like the loss we saw today, split, I was like, okay, happy-ish with, but the stuff on Breeze, like, okay, now that we're here, we can skip the Breeze and maybe come back. That
Whoa.
2v5 in the ISO ults, can we just talk about it, because it's on my mind.
no, the ISO ults were crazy.
What was it? It wasn't even like
did
was
Did he
win
win
a
a
single
single
one?
one?
No, he lost every single one against like multiple players, shielded, I think, almost every time. And then the last one was a panicked ult that like hit nothing. There was no reason to use it.
Oh my god, and the player Liv comes out backside and fucking kills everyone. That
Yeah, and
round
then
was
Talon took
ridiculous.
3K to win the clutch. Like if they just waited 3 seconds, we'd be fine. But like, yeah. And then the biggest thing that was discovered, by the way, on the other side, not to rant, but Erda has discovered close range gameplay. This guy, if he's within 4 meters of you, does not lose. Like
No,
up,
it is
down,
mad.
bobbing, full spraying, 2K. If I see Erda in a smoke, I'm like, my house betted on him. My children that are not born betted on
The
him.
round mid where there's 2 players
Yeah,
in
in
the
the
smoke bottom mid,
smoke.
and I was watching the game, and he just like he just is KO with 2 flashes and simply sprints in, kills them both, and then flashes out instead of actually brawl. It was ridiculous, and he was doing that shit constantly.
Yeah. Also, if someone can find me a clip
Oh
of
my
any
God.
KO flashing back sight and getting a kill in this situation, please link it to me. Every region I've seen so far where they're holding and like the guys on the ladder are like a rom-com, will they, won't they, for like 2 hours, the KO will always flash on the defensive retake early. lose a 1v3 against the whole team that can hear it coming. They're professional players. They're not gonna get flash.
But I know what you're talking about because I remember watching someone that like left clicked the flash when doing it. Like that was crazy. Yeah.
I'm like, hold, bro, hold on the phone. Be a tax representative of a country and put these people on hold. Just don't answer the phone. Just chill. Motherfuckers will always flash.
As much as I shoot them bay off the Lotus, like the breeze was crazy, and it was all around alts as well because they want double pistol here, so it looks like really bad. But like even if we ignored the ISO alts, which were borderline criminal, apart from the one where it was like a 2v4 and then he ulted one and then they traded him out because they took the space, that one was fine. But like the Viper ult, every time they Viper ult, everyone was too scared to play outside of the Viper ult, and then they would just all huddle inside, and then everyone just gathered around, and it's like, well, what are you gonna do now? Like pushing out of the Viper ult. So yeah, dude, Viper ult with the ISO ult, they lost so many of these rounds. These rounds should be so hard to lose.
Like, I know that, again, sorry, Mimi, you're going to have to hold me down. The James Bond game is coming out, like, in a few weeks in May. Luke wanted to play it today. This guy is solo anchoring Harbor on A site. A, how is that possible? B, dun 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 dun. He's like in front site, sees a guy, doesn't shoot him, wraps back site, solves the fucking hitman plan.
You're talking about. Yeah, that
but this is happening round after round. Like C9 are like, I wonder if he's here this time. It must have been the wind. And just keep fucking letting him just own rounds 1v4, man. Dude. It's insane.
The thing that was pissing me off for C9 in the second part of this attack side is when like in all of their A execs they were throwing like that super close wall, and every time Loud is also throwing a close wall and just getting into weird positions and they're losing the brawl, and it takes I think them losing like 2 or 3 rounds of that. Amy finally calls a timeout and is just like, guys, what if we just fucking split the site and we throw the deep wall instead and we fight backside? And guess what? They dominate every one of these players that is just randomly sitting backside because they don't have 80 smokes to play in. I just
My favorite part was Loud coming out, re-clearing every single time. They're retaking A and not clearing the box except for the last round where they clear that box, backside, get the kill. The spike is planted outside of the Viper's pit. Like everything, just the stars aligned for Loud from C9. So it was pretty funny, but I also blacked out for majority of that game. So
yeah. The Lotus answered a few questions as well. Now I'm remembering, it's all coming back to me. A lack of adaptation again from C9. Like the amount of times Celsius got hit on Lotus defensively.
Lotus
dude, he was getting fucking cyberbullied. Like I was ready to call the fucking bully hunters in, sub someone out, get a new guy in this lobby to put a fucking stop to what was happening to Celsius, because I think there's a harassment case there for the amount of times he died solo C.
Like sometimes, like what was it? Vic that was there. Like Vic's sitting backside for the first time, waiting to see what's going down. Celsius dies. I guess they don't hear it, or he doesn't. He's still looking left. He dies right. Like
no, but that's Celsius his fault for pushing forward, right? There was a gap in the smoke at the top, and he's watching his like left, and then Celsius just pushes through. Dude, I'm telling you, they had no practice on this map.
But it happened even when there were 4 players on C. There were 4 C9 players on C, and everyone was looking a different direction, and everyone died. Like every single time. Not a single trade came out. It was really bad. I don't know.
Yeah, and the thing is too, like, I've really not been impressed with Verdi this season from Loud on the Neon. I feel like a lot of the time the way that he's pathing, he's just kind of ending up isolated and then like just taking low impact deaths where it's like I don't even feel like he's creating a huge amount of space. And the things that he was getting over them in this game were like on those C hits that we're talking about. It was like 3 or 4 different rounds where they hit A, and he's just doing the pathing where instead of going back site, you run around the side towards water, and then you wrap back site, and there's thorns that they're running back into. And it was so consistent that Vic and Celsius were just getting caught off guard by him doing this same play and getting punished there. It was really bothering me.
Yeah. The newest thing too from them, like within all these problems that you're talking about, was Jack. I thought that his debut though, from like how he was playing on YFP before, he was a little bit more enabled to do what he wanted to do. I wish they treated him a bit more like Demon 1, because I think he has that talent from when he was subbing in that one day of being able to be put in more positions where he can just frag. He clutched out a little bit nicely as well. The other biggest factor that's leaving, I think, after this week, rumored, is Vic, who did the classic I'm gonna have my best performance of the entire stage before I go. His split was demonic. It was very nice, winning some 1v2s. But like, if he's gone, I mean, it's sadness. I feel like I forget what I was saying on the co-stream, but maybe EG can pick up like a ragtag bunch of like C9 individuals. No, the cope was C9 need to drop Vic and drop Penny to pick them back up in stage 2 so they have the Nepo buff. They haven't gone through the plus minus yet. So once these guys get the plus minus, C9 qual the champions and get top 5.
Sorry, don't mind me. My headache just got really bad all of a sudden.
No way. That's a cook, no? That has to be a cook.
Well, how does that have to be a cook?
That has to be a cook. They all have to push my on the same level bandwagon.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
that's more like a
man.
lunch lady, not a
He
cook.
cooks too. Shout out the lunch ladies. Excuse me, cooking for like all the children in school. Maybe what's the next matchup? What's the next matchup?
What's the next matchup?
Wait, hold on.
Well, it's gonna. Yes, Myrna.
I want to talk about Jack because
Okay.
I feel like we haven't talked about him.
30
I
seconds.
think he did a pretty good job. I
He did
actually
15
really like
afterwards.
Jack. I think the way that he was setting up Oxy for success was very nice. Like, he was using prowlers, especially on split. He was using a lot of the prowlers and enabling Oxy to get kills through smoke, especially with his judge, because the prowler was just like tagging people left and right before Oxy even saw anyone. And I really felt like he kept up the pace and kept up the tempo with Oxy, which for C9, we haven't really had anyone who's able to do that other than Penny on Raze the last time that he played. But it was really nice to see. And I think his util usage was very smart, very calculated. I think there was only a few rounds where he ended the game with his C's still on him, like last man standing C's, but his eyes were really good. And just in general, I was very, very surprised with how he played, and I think he did a great debut. Like, he was fragging hard too. Good job, Jack.
When he carries around, should we say LeBron Jack or LeJack James? What is a better off the tongue? Because that was my
Well, let's talk
deliberation.
about one of the best matches from this weekend. G2 played against Envy. Sliggy, I know you were so excited to get to watch this game, and I think it really delivered. We got to see 10 whole rounds won by Envy across the course of this one. This is one of those games you look at and you just think, this is why I'm doing it every day.
Dude, I if I hadn't have seen Envy, like if I hadn't seen last week, I would have been pretty up for this game. And then they just looked so rough, man. The pistols into the ecos are just so devastating. It really, really was. And then it just looked like that was it done, to be honest. And then, dude, even Leaf was essentially giving them rounds on Haven. Like, Leaf was actually inting for like the first 6 rounds on Haven, and then he just went nuclear on Lotus as well. So I don't know, man. As soon as that eco round happened on Haven, it just felt done. Like, it really felt done. It was
the second round of the entire match.
Yeah. Did you not feel it?
Yeah.
If I could feel it.
Can I expose something with Kurt?
Started.
Sure.
What?
Yeah, the funniest thing for me is I like to look at the run of show, and like there were some teams that haven't played yet, and it was just, you know, like C9 loud, blah blah blah. At the very bottom, it already said G2 beats Envy in final match of the day, and they hadn't even played yet. It's just so funny. It's just getting ahead of it.
Yeah, I
Oh my
pre-fired
God.
that one.
Yeah.
I pre-fired the team secret one as well, but that didn't actually happen.
That didn't pan out.
Oh snap! Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what
the
is
comms? The comms are really good on Haven though. Like there was a comms check
That
in
is
with
so
G2,
good.
and like
from
they
G2?
were like,
Okay, yes,
yeah,
I agree.
They were all like,
Do you not like the MV one?
No, talk about G2's comms, please, Sean.
Yeah,
Please,
yeah,
please.
G2's comms. It was sick that like they identify something and then there's never a spam about it afterwards. Like they just send somebody to take care of it. Like I forget who was there, like Bat Gong, like operating within A-Link and stuff, but everybody just kind of had their job pointed out to them. They do their thing. If something new arose, like people would focus on it, but it was very calm comms, like very delegated based types of situations across the board from all the players. And like I just think compared to all the comms we've seen throughout the weekend, I was like, wow, I feel calm in this environment. Everywhere else, it's like I'm in a Overwatch / League of Legends team fight. Vayne, pick the Rhine, no shield. Like it's crazy, man. Well, over here, it's like 2A link, heard, I'm on it. All right, cool. play post, swing, 1, 2, 3. Like it's so clear. It's crazy.
What did
Yeah,
you think of the
it was
envy
nice.
comms?
I honestly, I must have blacked out. I don't. Can somebody mimic them? What were the envy comms?
I think you just did, didn't
You
you?
just did.
Oh, I did. That's on me. That's why I must have just. Yeah. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little chaotic. I do want to ask a little bigger picture about Envy because obviously G2 stomped them. Good for them. They're looking solid. But for Envy, the one win that they got this stage was against C9. Other than that, it has looked grim. Their kickoff was pretty grim. Same question as we talked about earlier. If you're at the helm of this team and you're looking towards the future, where it's very unlikely that there's much left for you to play for here in stage 1, what are you doing?
Minus Poppin, minus Exter, plus Vic, plus Penny. Put Rossi on initiator. Bada bing, bada boom.
You're keeping Rossi?
I'll keep
Why
Rossi.
is he the one you save?
Side gelling, right?
Poppin's had a chance before with the IGLing. I feel like we just keep the IGL at the helm. Like, I feel like it's been a struggle in roles for the team more so than bad calls. And so you get people who are good role players. You put a guy who I think has played initiator before back on that role as well, where he just can focus on calming from that spot. And you rock with the team. I think there's a lot of talent when you have those 5.
If you do this, the whole original team that qualified is gone.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That's the destiny, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I would just rebuild around Kesnet and Demon 1, honestly. I think those are the pieces with the highest potential, the highest value players to have, and I would just do a complete rebuild, new system around them.
Yeah, you could also get another IGL
Agreed.
instead of Rossi too. I 100% keep the 2 though. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. G2 though, I think we can talk more about them when we get ahead to our pick'ems for playoffs, and we can move on from discussing this amazing match. Let's check in with how you very intelligent viewers at home are doing. Last week's match of the week was LEVIATAN versus MIBR. We definitely got that right. And so did you guys, right? No. No. At least they were a little smarter. 45% of them went for MIBR, but that was not enough to sway the majority. So, Timmy, I'm sorry you couldn't do it. We had a bonus match of the week as well. That was FURIA versus Sen. And you guys did pretty well on this one. 64% going for FURIA. Great job, Timmys. You got that one correct. And with all that said and done, we can take a look at your report card. And
Jesus.
oh, Mom's not going to be happy. That's a
Oh.
D-. Only the bonus match of the week from Americas was correct this time.
I give you some tech.
Nice.
If you just cut out the minus and put it in the middle of the D, looks like you got a B, and Mom will not be upset. You can just move on with your day. So
Like you
Boom.
trim the paper. You
Yeah,
think
yeah.
she's not gonna notice that?
just like be very shaky when you hand it to her. Like I just ran home from school. Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. That'll work. Make sure you check the community tab coming up this week so you can vote on the match of the week and maybe get a better report card in the future. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel so you get that notification pop up. Let's talk about the final week of group play in VCT Americas and do our own predictions. We're going to start off with Crew
quick.
versus Evil Geniuses.
Real quick,
Oh, real
Mimi,
quick.
I didn't pick a match of the week. Which one should be match of the week before we start here?
Let me take a little look
We got
at
Crew,
this
match of the
one.
week.
Furia, 100
Take a
Thieves,
gander.
G2, Cloud9,
I would say
NV.
maybe Furia 100 Thieves because that is some of the bigger stakes. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's probably
I'm
the hardest one to call.
Yeah,
It's either that or Sen on NRG, I would say.
yeah. I like the sound of Fury 100 Thieves. I mean, if you're doing another bonus one, you could do a bonus energy Sen for a little cloud action and a little world
Let's do
champion
it.
action.
Good job,
All right, there we
team.
go. Well, those will be the 2 matches a week. Fury 100 Thieves, Sen, NRG. Make sure you get the votes in for there. Let's predict the other matches, though. And start back up with Crew EG.
I mean,
This one might surprise you. It's a guarantee for Crew. We've talked a lot about both of these teams. Does anyone have anything else to add before we move on?
Did you guys know that bumboclat is a bad word?
Yeah, you didn't say it right.
I did. Well,
Moving on,
sorry.
our match of the
I
week
said
is
it
Fury
on stream. It
versus
was really
100
bad.
Thieves. Let's take a look at the predictions for this one. This has big stakes, 400 Thieves playoff chances. And we'll split down the middle.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Myself and Shy go for
Okay.
100 Thieves. Sliggy and Myrna go for Furia. Sliggy, I'll start with you. Give the case for the Panther.
I mean, I just think they look better. That's pretty much where I'm at. I'm still up there. I mean, when we asked if they were top 4, we said no for 100 Thieves. We said, well, at least I said yes for.
You said yes.
FURIA. So I'm not gonna put 100 Thieves if I'm thinking FURIA better. As simple as that. 100 Thieves will take a map though, for sure.
Giant
Agree.
counterpoint.
Counterpoint.
Match of the week, no thoughts.
Everybody's like lackadaisical approach to Binds leaving will bite them in the foot, and 100 Thieves will have a map up on everyone if it gets picked. Not sure if Furia's banning it.
True.
And I feel like that's advantage. This is the start of the Thieves' path to London. It's happening. And
What do they then do when the map goes out?
Ascent is good for them. They have a good stage player. Timotino is insane on Ascent. Past the finals. Even then, he didn't look too bad. The rankers were crazy, but
You know, FURIA.
I do have bad news for you. They first banned Bind. They've done it three out of 4 matches.
Secret 100 Thieves strategies that will be discussed later.
Yeah,
I just feel like there's an upset potential. That's all it is. Like
I didn't
I'll
look
rock
at the
with it.
map veto for this before I voted 100 Thieves, and yeah, I do think the bind being gone is a big facet for them. I think the things that made me initially want to go 100 Thieves at more of like a vibe level, I suppose. A lot of what we talked about, I think the game planning is really, really good from them. I like a lot of these kind of more unique compositions they're playing. And I think it's kind of tough to play against because they are so unusual against the field. I think a lot of their players are in really impeccable form right now, especially coming off of that last game. I was really impressed with Bang, especially. He was taking over in that match, and I felt like they just looked the most kind of tuned in with how they were playing together that I've seen in a bit for this 100 Thieves squad. So I was just feeling quite confident in them, but I think FURIA also coming off a win, not having that bind in the pool, I do get predding them, but I'm not going to switch. I think keeping this one a 50-50. I'd say it's like a 55-45 for FURIA in my mind.
Yeah, I think FURIA has proven time and time again how consistent they are. And for me, the struggles that they have had is generally against the faster tempo kind of wildcard teams that can just win a lot of their ones. And I think when I'm looking at this versus 100 Thieves is a lot more structured. And I think their comps are definitely creative, but not to the point where FURIA can't adapt really quick. And FURIA has always been a really, really, really fast adapting team. So for me, I thought I'd rather stick to consistency than creativity, I guess.
Makes sense.
Yeah. It'll be a pretty exciting match to watch next week. Another one that I think could end up being interesting in a different timeline, maybe not in our timeline, is G2 versus Cloud9. G2 coming off a win. Cloud9 coming off a pretty big loss. It's a guarantee for G2. Give me a percentage on this one, guys. Is this a ball is law type of
90-10.
situation?
No, it has to be after what happened to MIBR. It has to be ball as well.
I think it's a bit higher. Slightly
bit
higher
higher.
than Note's playing. I think it might be 35 or 40 if they have Note in the business. I think having Note and Jack on the same team, straight up in firepower, is a higher chance of what C9 would have normally in general with whatever roster they have now. I'm not sure if they're making another roster switch for week 5, but if Note is playing, I think he is the best controller in tier 2 right now. Plays Athxna, has spent this entire split learning and playing more of the dualisty controllers on stage, like Brim and Omen. So I feel like it'll be a big buff to C9's firepower. I still think G2 win, but it's a higher percentage than 30 for C9.
Sure.
If he's there.
Okay.
Cool.
I respect that. I think that's pretty fair. Cloud9, technically they're still in the running for playoffs, but they'd have to win this match and have some really weird tiebreaker stuff happen for that to come down. And with having lost that last match, looks pretty grim. Another team that's in quite a grim position, and I think will be a pretty short discussion, is Envy. They're playing against MIBR this week. And shocker, it's a Plat Jack guarantee. All 4 of us going the way of MIBR. I just don't really see any world where Envy is bouncing back to even make this competitive after how rough these last 2 weeks were.
Are they for sure out, or is there still belief there?
There's like a 5% chance or something that they can still make playoffs.
Sure. Yeah, but
moon has to be on a
chance
7-degree angle.
Yeah, and they'll play proper. I mean, they should probably still lose this.
So
I mean, if there is any team, you'd probably pred MIBR because they always have that. Yeah, this week of scrims was bad. You know, our left foot hurt. Like,
technically, MV still make it in half of the scenarios.
Half?
But that's not. Remember, that's not probability per se, because it's like, I mean, I don't know enough about.
You heard it here
statistics to
first.
say this properly.
50% chance Envy makes it to
50%
playoffs.
I like those odds.
It doesn't
Mimi
reflect
said
the
that.
likelihood of the way these matches actually go. It just means there's that amount of permutations, and they make it in half the permutations.
Sure.
We don't fucking live in half of the permutations, so let me tell you. MIBR is winning this game, and Envy ain't going to playoffs. Let's move on and talk about Loud versus Lev. With Loud getting the win last week, this could be a bit more interesting. Is anyone willing to take the jump? The answer is yes.
Oh,
ShyoWager, the sole Loud voter. Show your work.
yeah, we're back in stage 2. I think Erda coming in just is the thing that this team needs to take on teams like LEVIATAN. I feel like they are, you know, that fish in the aquarium tank that just sits on the side and sucks the wall for whatever it does. Like, that's what they were with Bati
Are you
before.
talking about a snail?
What? No,
No,
the suckerfish.
the like cleaner
Yeah.
guy. He like
Cleaner
cleans
guys.
the tank as you
They were
go.
cleaning
Oh.
up the algae in the pool, but now they can swim, man. I feel like that Erda close range tech, the Luke Show Darker combination, like they
close
finally get to
range
develop
tech.
things now week to week. Like I'm waiting for the rest of the team to come alive, honestly. But I think Erda's IGLing, the presence he has on the team. If you watch like some of the post game stuff as well on the couch, like the guy seems like a breath of fresh air for the team and a really good, cool player to follow along with as well. Like just in story and if you're his teammates, I feel like in this matchup, it'll be more competitive than we think week 1 Loud was. And I feel like this team can now get better and better every week. We finally get to see them develop. I feel like in this week after wins and losses. So it'll be really, really cool. Yeah.
Sure. I like
On the
that.
desk, we asked, like before one of the interviews, we talked to Erde before it was live, and we asked him like, well, were you guys scrimming or were you just still playing with Bati while you were not here? And they were actually scrimming with him still, like practicing with him the whole time that he wasn't here.
Oh, okay.
So for me, I think that Erde definitely is fragging out, but I just look at Lev, man. Like, they're all so fucking insane fragging power wise. Like, I'm expecting Luke Show to kind of just make a dent in it. But I don't see Loud being structured enough yet to be able to punish Lev right now.
I just feel like Lev will like Sata will want to frag, but the resources are going over to like spike that game or that map. You know, like it's too many cooks in the kitchen. It might be a problem. Yeah.
Okay. Our bonus match of the week is Sentinels playing against NRG, another game with pretty big implications. Looking ahead to the playoffs in a group with 3 teams at 2-2. And it's
Hey.
1-1.
Wow.
Okay.
You
I
both
didn't
went
expect 2 Sen voters here. I would have seen it from you, Shio, but
Yeah.
Whoa. I'll let you give the pitch.
What does that mean? Dude, don't group me with him. No, I think Sen, for me, I'm not convinced by NRG. Like, I'm really not. I feel
And you're
like
convinced by Sen?
Hold on. Let me make my point, man. Don't interrupt me.
Sorry.
Jeez. So
Sorry.
I think sorry, bro. Sorry, little bro. For NRG, I'm not convinced. I think that their comps are good for post plant and delay. But the second that you deny them from getting into those choke points in the first place, it's kind of over for them. If they lose 1 or 2 numbers, if they lose the Tejo at the beginning of the round, it's really hard for them to come back into the round just comps wise. And we've seen them do really well against these kind of worse teams, I'd say. And even then, they've lost a lot of rounds that they shouldn't have lost. Like, they've taken a little bit longer to adapt than we've seen them before, like when they're in their prime. And I think for me, I'm really not convinced. Like they did a lot of these 4-1 gambles where Kiko's alone and then everyone else is just running around and doing something together. And for me, if Sen just kind of gets a whiff of that and just speeds up the other way, I don't think Kiko has enough delay or has that firepower to be able to stop them. I'm thinking of this specifically from like if Sen were a team that's flooding Kiko's site, it's kind of over for him. Whereas Kiko did a really good job holding against like EG, for example. So yeah,
All right.
I don't think Kiko's done an insane performance this stage. That's kind of where I'm sitting at.
I
It's
think
been
the
a-
mission is
Been a
stop
little map
mod.
dependent.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can get
the
on board with
mission
that.
Stop Mata. They can download cruise situations for it. They've downloaded the school bunker comp. I also need them, and I feel like they can upload some of the clutch stuff they had in kickoff with John QT. If they can download at the same time, become an internet connection, which is my prediction here, NRG can get thwarted down. If they can stop stuff and be structured, but at the same time, you know, if they lacked it this last week, be more adaptive in clutches and man down situations, fix the clock as it is, as the round keeps going on, I think that Sen can really get a dent here into NRG. Steal, I think even a 2-0 from this team is my pred. So, I know, crazy.
A 2-0? Okay, it'd be at least
Put me
a
in the grave
2-1.
if it doesn't work. I'll be on the side of the guarantee for 2 weeks. I'll be on a cooldown if it doesn't work. But if it does, it's about more chaos.
I mean, I like that someone's going for it. I just think it is just an experience diff, surely. It's such a big game. It's like if you lose this, you're out of groups. Probably. That's
I think
Something
the clutch.
you'd like to say.
What does the dog think? Is there
What
like
does the
something you can
dog
set
think?
up?
Here, Cleo,
She's
what do you
really
think?
worried about your pred. It's terrible.
Yeah, she's
She's
actually
terrible.
telling me
Yeah.
to shut up and to stop.
And to
Average
bring
fan,
red
yeah.
energy instead.
Thank you. Oh,
Mm.
okay.
Oh, okay. That's smart
NRG
smart
or
work from the
Sen?
dog. She
All right,
doesn't
Jimmy,
even
don't get
know.
distracted.
She doesn't even know what a video game is. There's one final segment to do this week. It's the most important segment. It's Wyatt's Weekly Award.
Money. Durka and Doma are the best duelist duo at Iceland.
What?
I don't think that was a weekly award clip, Kurt. But what do we? Okay, let's
That's
judge
good.
his take. Do we think? Who did he say? Doma
Durka
and
and Doma.
Durka and
Durka?
Durka.
do we
at
think
the
they're the best
time-
duels at Iceland?
Dude, Tens, bro. Tens was there. Would have been Tens and Sick at the time.
That's so true. Someone who wasn't at Masters Reykjavik 2021, but has been at events going back a long way, who was Northception way back in the day, is of course MIBR, and he just hit a pretty big accolade in Pacific. He becomes the first player in that region to hit 3,000 career kills, a pretty incredible achievement from him, capping off a career where he has already done a hell of a lot here in Valorant, and we're adding on to the accolades and giving him the Wyatt's Weekly Award this week.
Nice.
Congrats to MIBR.
Does skirmish
Nah, yeah.
count in your kills?
No,
No.
Should it?
no.
No.
Can I give
This
a
is not a
side
match.
award out? I want to
You
do a
may,
side
yeah.
award. What happened in Americas for the first 2 days? You guys had one observer, and then the third day, either the observer leveled up or you got a new observer. So I either want to award it to the guy that leveled up or the person that replaced the other person. Because I couldn't watch those first 2 days. So-
Weren't they having prod problems? It must have been a production problem because
there was production problems. There was
Yeah.
production problems at one point. That was on Pearl. But nah, man, you can't be doing
I don't
that.
know what happens. I just work here. But yeah, shout out to the observers for doing well for that third day and locking in. All right, well that wraps up Plat Chat Valorant episode. Scrolls up.
They had me do it.
263. That's a hell of a lot of episodes. We'll be back next week. That's going to be the start of playoffs for everyone else and the end of week 5 for Americas, previewing playoffs there as well. We're getting pretty close to London, so make sure you stay subscribed to the channel. If you want to ask a member question and be maybe featured on the next episode, you can do that as well. Thank you guys all for coming on, and we'll see you next week.